fucking legs.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of this.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Biden said this. Biden was like, "Oh yeah, I remember you used to live when I think he was talking about. I think his exact words were like the NAACP, but not the NAA part. He's like, he wanted little black girls to rub their hands up and down his hairy legs in the pool with the water. Is there some shit like what he said? Like I think those were his exact words. It was a real quote that I should be more to dementia than anything else. I'm just saying, I don't know how coherent he was at the time when he said it. So, like, I think it mostly
he was not even coherent the first 6 months after he was president.
Illegible, illiterate.
Listen, hey, have you heard of this cool thing, Hunter, called accents? I know that, like, you don't speak the same as a high. Hold on, you don't speak. Hold on, do you say aluminium or like aluminium, like the little British
aluminium?
Okay, yes, cool. So then shut the fuck up, people with accents, you uppity fuck. It's crazy. It's crazy how y'all gonna sit here and talk about, it's not a original accent. We're so much more educated than you dumbasses, and then you're gonna sit here and be like, my accent's not the same as the British Oxford people, but I know more than you. Like, you sound like a jackass.
Hunter does sound exactly like that, Gibbs. Just so we're clear.
Yeah, I know. A 1-to-1 ratio. 1 ratio. I agree.
Anybody that watches the Communist News Network is uneducated. Period.
Shit, I watch the CNN sometimes. Damn it.
CNN's full of communists.
So I won't say.
Wait, isn't everyone in here a communist? I thought that was the whole point of this panel.
I thought we were doing pro-communist.
We're communists and we hand wash fascism, baby. Let's get it.
That's me. The latter is me. The former is not. Okay.
You're just a ball washing bastard from fucking California.
Ball washers.
Ball washers.
The ball washers of fascism, boys. We got the ball washers of fascism. Say, listen, when Hitler gets in charge again, we know who can be washing the balls, baby.
Listen. Hey, hunt thy tree.
Yeah.
Without
hold on. Is this going to be a productive question, or is this going to be?
It absolutely is.
Absolutely not.
Without using your computer, define the word fascism. Dumb fuck.
Okay, I would say that any sort of category.
What is the definition of fascism?
I would say an authoritarian right-wing, a right-wing figurehead who is interested in authoritarianism.
Well,
that's going to be off the cuff.
Just saying.
This is why.
I do know. Wait, hold on. Can I keep going? Because I do know Umberto Eco gave 14 tenets of fascism, and he mostly exemplified it by like a couple different frameworks. Mostly, it's like it's a tendency to like the big if strong policy. I don't know if you've ever heard this. It's like the idea that you're weak but also strong. I don't know. There's a lot of different features that you can associate with the
Admiral
concept
Gibbs.
of fascism. I would say largely authoritarianism on the
Please
right.
Look up the Webster's
Dictionary. I got this. No, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do this shit. Don't do that shit. It's stupid. Like, hold on. No, stop. All right. This is the problem.
Gibbs hates sources, man.
No, I don't hate sources, but this is really reductive. I'm like, okay, I'm going to pull up the Black's Law Dictionary of Fascism. No, this is really reductive. Here's the problem.
I like this definition. What's wrong?
Okay, that's fine. We can run with it in a second. This is the problem. If we look at fascism historically, it's just like many different things, right? It's kind of evolved over time. If we're talking about 1940s fascism, that's inherently left-wing. If we talk about modern fascism, yes, it is. If we talk, yes, it is. It absolutely is. It absolutely is. It's 100% is. Listen, yeah, it's 100%. It absolutely is. You can keep interrupting me. I didn't interrupt you. I'm just going to keep going. Like, you're not going to get me to stop. I don't know why you're just trying to do that. That's cool. Yeah, you can try. You've never been able to do that once, ever. That's why I owe you every panel we're on. But yeah, okay. Listen, you've never watched one. I'm going to finish.
Continue.
Yeah, it's inherently left wing. If you go look at it, they had things just like the Nazis. They had peace through joy. They had workers' comp, all sorts of different things that were inherently left. They used instead, and this is actually going to help my case even more. They instead of doing traditional, the way that like Hunter wants to define fascism, I'm sure, is where they had the government actually directly control a lot of these industries. What they did was default have it run through the party. So if you were a member of the Nazi Party, you didn't get to own a business, which is the fascism by default, right? So okay, here's the thing: Trump, we can argue, actually did something something fascist when he put these companies and he nationalized them. I would even argue that is somewhat fascist, and it's left wing. It's okay. And here's the problem, though. When I say something like, I don't know, communism, I'll even do this every once in a while, but like I'll sit here and point to, like, I don't know, North Korea, which is actually what, Juche, right? Which is a version of communism that's vastly different than Lenin's version of communism. Or if we look at China's version of communism, it's a hybrid form where they have some capitalist traits. And so when we get real reductive and use these things like fascism, and we want to spew the kind of dumbassery that like Alex Churchill said, no, it's not, I'm going to end your career, and then just ignore history. Yeah, of course it doesn't mean shit. That's fine. But go ahead. In my career now, I'm ready. I'm waiting.
Loki, I agree with most of what Gibbs said there.
Okay,
Thank you.
I will say the Nazis being left wing is pretty reductive too.
Let me.
Wait, you think you can be racist and left wing?
Okay, so anyway,
No,
as I was saying, okay, when it comes down to it,
that's
Nazism is
Got him.
100%
Got him.
right-wing authoritarianism, absolutely
Hunter.
100%. Every single expert, every single person that's an expert, especially with the Holocaust Museum, when you go to Germany,
Wrong.
they talk about how it's a right. No, it's not wrong.
They're all
when you go,
wrong.
when
I
you
can
go-
prove sources wrong.
No, bullshit. Okay. Anyway, when you go to places like Dachau, which I've actually been to, I doubt Gibbs has ever been there, but they actually talk about the rise of a right-wing extremist party. As a matter of fact, when Hitler actually rose to power, he adopted the name National Socialist to gain support from the Workers' Party. When he gained support from the Workers' Party, guess what ended up happening? They kicked out all the leftists, they kicked out all the socialists, they kicked out all the communists, and guess where they put them? They put them in places like Dachau. It's 100% right-wing authoritarianism. That's what it's labeled as. Just because it has.
Hey, so what happened with
Actually,
Stalin?
I'm not done
Yeah,
yet.
did Stalin do the same thing?
No, hold on.
Yeah, he
Hold on.
did.
I'm not done yet. Okay. The National Socialism, just because it says socialism, does not necessarily make it left wing. Just like you said, North Korea, it's now also known as the DPRK, Democratic People's Republic of Korea. It is not a Democratic People's Republic. It is an authoritarian regime. Now we can but nothing. Okay. Now, when it comes down to Stalin, was Stalin an authoritarian? He 100% was. And here's the thing: you can't say communism, Nazism is the same. Not saying you say that, but people try to say they are similar
What are you
ideologies,
arguing
but
with
they're
that?
not. As a matter of fact, Nazis hunted communists. That's why, when the Nazis
Stalin
tried to
hunted
invade
communists. He killed communists too. The
I
white
know he
red
killed
army,
communists too.
civil
I'm trying
war.
to
Like, what are you talking about, bro?
I'm trying to
Democratic
educate
People's
you.
Republic
No,
is
I'm trying
code
to
for
educate you
communism.
because you
That's
don't know
word.
shit about
All right, I
history.
do know
Yeah,
that.
that's
But
history.
if I find, hold on. This is how easy you are to beat. This is how easy you are to beat. This is how easy you are to. That's cool. Have you ever been in Fromunda? Have you ever been in Fromunda? Like, bro, like, what are your points of point here? No, hold on. Here's the thing. If I find one source that says, hold on. If I find one source, you said every source and every historian agrees. If I find one source, you're wrong. This is what his problem is. No, I can't. Here's the problem. If I provide one source, your whole argument falls apart. That's the problem. I'm going to find one source, and you're going to be wrong. Because if I find multiple historians, then you just have no credibility.
I'm just gonna give you an order. Okay, Admiral Gibbs, we're gonna let you get your point out. We're gonna get to our friend Hunter. Spin City, I need your camera on. If you can do that for me, please, I very much appreciate it.
Still trying to look
My-
at that on.
I'm going to be very honest. I'm on my phone right this second because my brother is changing a monitor, and but as soon as I switch
Okay.
over, I'll be more than happy.
Sure. Okay, no worries, friend. Okay,
Drop
so
the
let's
source.
go. Admiral Gibbs, Hunter.
Lactoid has a clarification as well.
Yeah,
regarding-
here's the thing. This is real simple, and I'm going to provide the source in a second. I'm going to turn it over to Hunter. But this was his claim. No historians, no credible historians say that Nazis are socialists. So when I find here in about 10 seconds, I go find this paper I wrote with about 50 sources, and I'm going to post just one source because that's all you're going to get. Because every historian says it, I'm just going to disprove everything Alex said just because he said this all-encompassing statement and doesn't know how to debate. It's very simple. If you say every source says this, and I find one, then you're wrong. It's that simple. This is why you don't do stupid shit like saying everybody agrees. I've been to Dachau. Cool. You've also been to Bofadis, and nobody gives a shit, bro. What's your point? Like, bro, just because you went somewhere, just because you've been there doesn't make you an authority, bro. Like, cool. I've been to Nigeria. Does that make me an expert on Nigerian politics? No, bro, it doesn't. I'm not a jackass that makes stupid claims like that. But you clearly are. He's so educated. I've been to Dachau, bro. You've been to Blow Me, bro. That's where you've been. You fucking like, god damn, bro. Now go ahead.
Sometimes with Gibbs spits.
Lactoid.
Lactoid, by the way, good job on that debate.
Thank you.
on the Ukraine debate on the Wix thing.
Yeah, no, it went pretty well. Hold on, So I'm up next. I can clarify what happened.
Yeah,
here?
go ahead.
Okay, so the actual history here is that the National Socialist Party in Germany did start out as at least economically, a left-wing party. It was always anti-Semitic, but in terms of economic policy, it actually did advocate for a lot of left-wing policies. The economics minister was a guy named Gottfried Feder, who was the guy who actually got Hitler into the party to begin with, and he was basically a straight up socialist on almost every economic platform, but he also just hated Jews, and a big reason for that is because Jews at the time and even now were associated with capitalism, right? They are the owners, they own shit, they're part of the capitalist problem. It is true that Hitler found the corporate the Junkers and the other kind of industrialists to be better allies, wealthier allies than the socialist kind of communist founders of the party. And so there was a shift in loyalty that Hitler made because he was of his own kind of desire for power and the fact he was a demagogue. But at the beginning, truly, like the name doesn't, like they didn't invent the name because they were trying to fool people. The name was, at least the beginning, intentionally. It was earnest, right? They were like,
So would you say
we're socialists. We just hate Jews too, basically.
Lactoid, yeah.
Mm.
Would you say it's fair to say that?
Can I counter this? There are plenty of socialists who hate Jews. Okay, there's
fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
it's not a
That's true.
it's not a
That's
but
true.
statement.
That's a good point.
Would you say, yeah. No,
Was an
that's right.
also
Anti-Semitism exists everywhere. That's true.
Yeah. Also, it took me 30 seconds. I posted 2 sources with reputable economic and historians that say that Alex Kirsch is a dumbass, and that took me all 30 seconds. So get right, Scrum. You said all of them said it, and I found 2 in 30 seconds. Woo, Scrum.
Here's the funny part. Here's the funny part. That's not actually what I said. That's not what I said, though, Gibbs. I said
Okay.
5 sources. That probably counter yours, but that's okay. That's
5
okay.
sources, but you said all of them. I can go back. We got the clip.
Get wrecked, bitch. Get fucking wrecked.
Yeah, you did get wrecked.
So
The basic is
ask-
dick, bitch.
I just want to ask Lactoid a question. Lactoid, would you say it's fair to say that there was a transition? So there was a pre-existing, from as you describe it, right?
Yeah.
It was a pre-existing Nazi party, right? National Socialist Party, right?
Mhm.
And then they brought in Hitler, and then Hitler changed the character of that party. So at the end,
Well,
they
then
weren't
Hitler brought in
actually
who?
pushing socialism. It was-
No, but then who did Hitler bring in? He brought in Goebbels, didn't he? He brought in Dr. Joseph Goebbels, maybe one of the biggest socialists of all time. And so Goebbels, all the way up until the day he died, said
about
that they
that.
were socialists. Why don't you?
Here's what I was saying. At the beginning, the Nazi Party attempted to have some kind of ideological consistency with Gottfried Feder, with the other founders at the beginning that ran the party. They brought Hitler in, and Hitler he kind of morphed the party into being less ideological and more of just a cult of personality around him. Right, he would select whichever allies he thought would be best. Sometimes, it would be the socialists at the beginning, and then he was like, "Well, these industrialists are wealthier and they can fund my shit more, so I'm just going to betray whoever I want to betray in order to gain more power." So it really at the end was a movement without a clear ideology, and that's one of the one of the
but you could look at their hold on, Lactoid. If you go and look at what their policies are, some of them like the 25-point plan. Let's just take out the race stuff because even Hunter will agree you can be racist and be on whatever side. But let's look at take out the race stuff. Yeah, even.
You're gonna find, but that's what I'm saying. You're gonna find some left-wing proposals. You're also gonna find some right-wing proposals. Hitler,
but it's gonna be mainly left.
Well, Hitler himself, he just picked whatever happened to benefit him.
Was the Work Through Joy program leftist?
Like Gibbs.
Or was it right wing? Would you say it's leftist
Am I
or
wrong?
right wing? Is controlling
Gibbs.
businesses through the party like a left wing style thing or a right wing style thing?
Can I-
Like when we look at the
Wait.
This is a great
He would
point.
do left wing or right wing. It
he
wouldn't
would.
matter. He would do right wing policy if it benefited him. If he would do left wing policy if it benefited him, just as long as he got his.
Except when you have key members like Bormann and when you have Goebbels who were who were the last left alive proclaiming the run of socialism.
Goebbels especially was essentially just a mouthpiece for
I have
Hitler.
to go out and switch over to my computer. I'll be right back.
Sure.
So a great example, what you just brought up, where increasing state control over companies, that absolutely did happen. But in tandem with that, there was shifting resources from being state-owned ostensibly into being owned by these industrialists who happened to be personally loyal to Hitler. Right, so you're right. There was the I guess, right-wing policy of privatization, but it was state-oriented in that it was shifting resources to people, industrialists, that were primarily loyal to him so that he could maintain greater control. He did this, in fact, you look at the way he managed people, too. He was famous for this in that he would often give subordinates conflicting orders. He would give subordinates, like, goals that would, where in order for one to succeed, the other one would have to fail, to encourage them to, fight each other constantly.
Let me just read some economic policies. You tell me left-wing or right-wing on that tax rate. All right, you tell me if these, hold on. You tell me if these are left-wing or right-wing
pure
policies.
opportunists, really.
All right, capitalism is an unfair system of exploitation. All right, that's number one.
I'm sure
How about
he said that.
if yeah, it is okay. If they're okay, how about the foremost duty of a popular government is to substitute government control of business for the management of capitalists and entrepreneurs? Does that sound like a right-wing statement or a left-wing statement?
You're going to find absolutely going to find left-wing statements.
How about this? How about here's the economic policy: price ceilings, minimum wage rates. We have whether directly enforced by the administration or indirectly given free hands to trade unions. How about is that a economic form that's a left or right leaning?
Honestly, it seems more populist.
It sounds like a
Those
90s
specific
Democrat
policies.
policy, actually. If you
Well,
He also
What?
like subjugated a lot of several unions to the German Nazi workers.
Nazi party, yeah, and then
Yeah.
they basically did what, fascism through their control, right? Through the party instead of directly government, which I just said indirect control, right?
No, I understand, but like when you look at what those unions actually did, those unions were more receptive to what Hitler's personal wants were, depending on the industry, as opposed to what unions. I'm not a fan of unions, but as opposed to what unions are supposed to do,
So
which is represent.
How about emancipating the masses from capital?
Workers
And
in those
implementing
unions
staff
actually saw decreased pay.
Well, yeah,
through
because
that
they had
time
less.
period.
Yeah, because they had well, hold on, they got rid of capital, right? Because they were implementing socialism, and you are going to have decreased pay because they're going to provide more services for you.
I'd like to just
Like,
say
I think there's a strong argument that like Hitler wasn't this fucking like obvious like right-wing populist conservative guy. I think he truly is an example of somebody like a demagogue who is able to and a cult of personality who is able to be super wishy-washy and is able to make the power structure about him. I mean, the Enabling Acts very specifically make his word law, right? It is like no matter what the politician said, if he said it, that carried the force of law that overrode any other statute. That's how powerful the Enabling Acts were, and all of it was aimed towards giving him ultimate power.
yeah, I'm gonna say that it often feels very weird. Like we clump together a lot of political positions into left and right buckets, but that's kind of like a feature of the 21st century. I don't really know if that's accurate to say that like international politics, especially 100 years ago, really operated in that way. But I also want to say, really, who cares? Like, what if Hitler has the same economic policy than I do? I disagree. I don't disagree with Hitler because of his economic policy. I disagree with him because he shoved Jews into camps.
But if he didn't do that, you would be okay with what he was doing,
not
right?
like him. I'd
Like
say.
I will
if he
say,
didn't do it, if he didn't do a genocide, like
Yeah,
that's
if he
a big
didn't-
thing. If he didn't do a genocide,
Hey,
what are your
he's not a
thoughts
bad
on
guy,
it?
minus the
If he only
genocide,
built
bro.
the Autobahn, it wouldn't have been a big deal, okay? But then he did the whole.
Even
Socialism is
invading
worse
other
than the
countries isn't so
genocide.
bad. It's just the
Because
genocide that's bad.
socialism
Sure,
is
again,
worse
I didn't
than the
say that it was
genocide. The
that was a
left
good
policy
thing,
is
but I
worse
mean,
than the
that's a
genocide.
big fucking part of it. Like, yeah, he didn't do a
totally.
genocide.
But I just want to be clear. Like, I'm also really against him invading the Sudetenland. Like, I also think that that's pretty fucking
and
egregious.
I'm against.
But like when
him
it
doing
comes
it,
to
I'm against
unions,
fucking
like
America
whether or not
doing it.
What
whether
about
or not Hitler
France?
was for or against unions, I don't know if I really care.
Hold
don't
on.
know.
What about France? I think it was pretty base he invaded France. France just doesn't need to exist anymore, right, guys? We can agree on that.
God, you are
All right,
so
so
un-American. It
let's-
pisses me
Let's
off.
reach across the aisle on that one.
No, France should exist. As a Quebecer, it's mandatory for me to say it.
Like genuinely, one of the coolest things we've literally ever done as a country is like storm Normandy with the fucking.
Oh, it was cool.
Red, white, and blue.
It's because the French couldn't
And you're
handle the
like,
shit on their own.
I don't
I'm
like
just
it
saying.
actually.
Yeah, we had to do it for them because they're a bunch of baby back
Pathetic.
bitches. You're right.
Yeah, but you think we shouldn't have done it? If
No, we
that
should have
happened
done
today,
it.
you'd be like,
We should have kept it. We
let
should
'em
no, we
fucking
should have
figure
kept
it out on their
it.
own.
It should have been France. Should have been another part of the U.S.
You're
So
un-American.
wait, you want to invade France
Gibbs,
with
I mean
the
you're
opposing
un-American. I
side?
really think you do.
You want to be on the Allies side.
Listen, we wouldn't be on the Allies. We would just
Let's
keep
draw
them
some
killed.
similarities, Corey. So, picking whatever policy benefits him personally,
Yeah,
wants to
true.
invade France.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying there wouldn't be no genocides here if I was in charge. I'm just
I
saying.
believe you, I
we
believe
can
you.
support you.
It would just
Yeah, there might be some genocides over there though, but not.
Oh, no.
You just call them wars. You
Yeah,
just
that's
bomb other
exactly. It's
countries.
called branding. Branding.
He's like,
He's
he's
just
like,
at war with the civilians. I don't
look.
see what the issue is.
when we invaded their country, they threw a rock at us. So like,
They shouldn't have
really,
done that.
this is a war.
This is the Israeli argument. Yes, correct.
Yeah, that's what that
I don't
sounds like.
disagree.
It's kind of based.
Yeah.
Well,
Except by
I
rock,
disagree
there's
to
like an
some-
ET at
to
the end
some
of it
degree.
on that one. Rocket. That's...
That was a good one. That was a good one, Lactoid.
I mean, it's as best as Lactoid could do any which way. and
That's why I said it was a
appreciate
good one,
that.
Lactoid. Give it his flowers.
Okay. Why don't we
Have you noticed how
get-
peaceful it is since that other guy left?
Not very.
I feel like we've all been taking our
He's
turns.
still trying to
though.
figure out how to turn on his camera. I'm sure any moment he's gonna figure it out.
No, he's got a pretty good little green screen.
Apparently,
setup.
he is actually working on that. But
Is Spin City
yeah.
a Gibbs guy?
Yeah, listen.
Yeah,
I,
he's-
I don't know. I don't know if he's a
Sure.
Gibbs guy. I just he said I'm looking
Hey,
for more
no
panels.
one's
I want to
a
argue
Gibbs
with
guy.
lefties. I was
As
like,
in you
best
brought him
friend.
on.
This
It's,
guy
it's
sounds
your
fun.
stamp of approval there, baby.
hold on. I don't know about stamps approval. I even told you that's private to the Gibbs. I was like, I am making no claims. I'm making no claims. I even said he might explode a fireball. It would be fun to watch.
I got DMs from Gibbs saying, "On my honor as a man." Right?
Yeah, on my honor. That's word for word. Listen, I've never even said that to God. I'm not trying to say that to Brian. Let me tell you that.
Oh, Prime is above God for sure.
Here I
Nice.
am, anyway.
Well, considering there is no
Um,
God, it's pretty easy to do that, honestly. So
Hey, Prime, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you know how you've been encouraging Lactoid to join like the Justice Department for
There's an
forever?
opening I hear for the top.
Would you encourage?
And
Would
to
you
be clear-
encourage
to be
me?
clear, hold on, just to caveat
Okay,
that. To be
totally.
clear, I had encouraged him to look into the Justice Department, but time his application
That's right.
the
To
end
right
of
now.
the Trump
Now's the time.
administration, right? So that he can slide in,
So that I can serve
before the
under
next
JD
administration.
Vance. Yeah.
Right, but you would like him. You would essentially you would recognize that he's probably doing more harm than good in the Justice Department, regardless of when he slips in. Yeah.
Oh, somebody try
yeah.
to slip into something, if you know what I'm
I
saying.
mean, I
Hold on.
guess,
No,
From
Lactoid
Prime's
is a-
perspective,
Lactoid is a good-
Lactoid, stop squinting.
yeah.
What are you talking about? Look.
From Prime's perspective, he's like,
Even-
it's so.
What?
I just
Okay,
have-
from Prime's perspective,
Mhm.
even from Prime's perspective, I think he might list me as a net good. Because what am I
Really?
going to do?
Is that true?
I'm not going to be raiding
Okay.
grow houses.
Prime, could you answer that? That's a
Hold
genuine
on,
question.
So I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
Nice.
Well, it depends. No, it depends on his actions, obviously, right? Okay.
But what do you
if I
anticipate?
if I was Lactoid, right? What I would, and I had like law degree, right? Even though it was drawn with crayons, law degree, nonetheless. And then I would go to the Justice Department. I go to him right now, right? And then I would undermine every fucking case they put in front of me, right?
But that's not him.
All of them. All
That's
of
not
them. Right?
Lactoid.
Hey,
And then I would
Lactoid,
get
you
myself
should go
fired.
to the
Lactoid's going
Justice
for
Department
blood.
because if I
And
were
then I would
you,
get myself fired, and then I would go on every talk show that
No,
I
that's
could
what you would
and talk
do.
about how I was like let go for doing the good thing, for having too much of a conscience, actually, right?
okay.
Lactoid,
And then
what
I
do you
went
think
to a
Lactoid
really
would
that
do?
into a
really good
larger
trajectory
career.
for
That's
your
What a
career.
fucking what a
about
non-answer to
national
what I
fame.
asked. I'm
Oh, I'm
asking, what
sorry.
do you think a Lactoid would do?
Just
What
pander to all
Lactoid
the
would-
liberals, Lactoid.
Look, I'm just going to be doing my job. Okay.
What do you think Lactoid would do?
Can't blame
Prime?
me.
Do you think he would do
If
more harm than
Lactoid's going
good?
to do his job, then if he went in right now, they'll be doing more harm than good. Yes.
Okay, and you don't mind because he's a friend of yours, correct?
Yeah.
No, I do mind. That's why I'm saying.
Okay,
hey,
sorry.
you should.
Hey,
You should.
bros
That's why I'm
before
saying.
politics.
you
You
keep-
time it
you-
so as little of
Rolls off the
his
tongue.
time can
You
be
keep
spent-
encouraging him to go to the Justice Department, even though you know that he's not going to do that thing that you're saying.
Guys, there are way too many
No,
Nazi flags and
no,
salutes in the chat right
I'm
now. Can
saying
we?
it's fine. I understand that. That's why. Hold on. That's the second part of my argument. That part's
Okay.
the part you keep ignoring. That part.
Okay,
Like,
sorry.
The reason why I'm saying that is for two reasons. One, right? I believe that Lactoid won't behave the way I do. He has different values than me, right?
Right.
And so like I want him to spend as little time under Trump. Well, Trump will ask him, well, demand of him to do the most awful, heinous things, right?
Right, but
so I want him, and then secondly, right? Yes, I want to help my friend, so I would like for him to get into that. If that will help him, if not, then don't worry. I don't care.
Okay, I guess my question is: Would you encourage me to go join the IDF?
Would I encourage? When would be?
You are Jewish,
in the IDF.
Yeah, I could.
What benefit would
I could
bring?
so. Huh?
There would
None.
be no.
Well, I mean, maybe
So, like,
I could make more money
under
than I am
Benjamin
now.
Netanyahu or whoever his replacement
Maybe.
is. It's
I
going to
don't
be
know.
as
If you go in as a
fascist
double
and
spy,
genocidal as
I'm down
ever.
if you want to go
No,
in as a
it's
spy.
not.
No. No, but
You're
I'm
going
just
as a
curious.
spy for me.
Sorry, do you
Unless-
understand the hypothetical? It
Oh.
feels weird that it's like. Go
I
ahead,
know
sorry.
I get your
understand the
hypothetical,
hypothetical.
Okay,
right?
okay.
Unless, hon, I would encourage you to join the IDF if I thought you were going to sabotage the
Well,
IDF.
no,
You were
of
going
course,
to
but you don't think that
actively-
about Lactoid sabotaging the Justice Department. That's
yes,
insane.
I know that. That's
But he
why
has
again you
hopes.
keep ignoring the second part of my advice is that he goes in just at the end of the Trump administration into the next administration.
But okay,
My problem isn't with the DOJ in general. He can be a part of the DOJ. My
Sure.
problem was the Trump's DOJ. I'm saying right now.
But you
under
recognize
the
he would
Trump
do more
DOJ
harm than
hold on,
good,
listen.
right? Okay.
Under
sorry.
the Trump, oh my God, under the Trump DOJ,
Okay.
right? Like fascism, like straight up fascism, straight up the brutality of brown people. It's just like all the DOJ is up to. That's their job right now, right? And because it's so brutal and so disgusting, that's why there's so many openings because people are quitting. They don't want to be a part of it, right?
Right.
Or they're getting fired, right?
Totally.
So I'm saying because I think Lactoid will do his job, right? I would want him to come in at the very end. And then for hopefully the next DOJ, that they'll have him doing regular things. I don't know. He could like prosecute like drug dealers or some shit, like drug lords.
Oh,
That'd be pretty cool.
sorry. You keep sorry. I think that I understand the miscommunication. You
Okay.
keep saying the next administration. Lactoid says JD Vance, and I don't think I heard the pushback. You're assuming that the next administration will be a Democrat.
No, I'm assuming the next administration will be better.
Valid.
But
Okay.
it may not be. It may not necessarily.
That's
be,
fair.
Republican.
I think that's a fair assumption. I don't know if you could get worse than this, but I don't want to say that.
Oh, no.
Knock on wood.
Ah.
Knock on wood.
You can
Yeah.
you can get worse than this, man.
No, I know you can't. Sorry, we're talking
Yeah.
about. I know you could get worse than this.
And
I'm just saying.
Alex
like,
and Gibbs are at war.
Yeah, I
in
just
America-
think it's funny when we have real time going backwards. Whenever someone says
It's
something
always
stupid
funny
like
when somebody
"oh,"
says that the Nazis are right wing, and I
yeah,
completely
whenever
disagree with them
listen, when they
every
say
time.
arguing in the
He can't
Discord
have
all
brother,
historians,
he's
all
wrong.
messages
He
can
all
can't-
historians.
he can't
Hey,
handle the fact
it's
that he got
okay.
owned.
It's
He's
okay.
wrong.
You said
He's
all.
wrong.
You said all, and I dropped like
He's
4
wrong.
sources.
No,
Hey,
dude,
guys,
you dropped
I'm
one
smart enough to be
source.
able to
You dropped-
pick my
you
word
dropped a
choices.
source.
I dropped
Let's
3
talk about one of
sources.
your
I
sources.
dropped.
definitely a
I dropped
One
8
of your
sources. I dropped
was
3
Wall
sources.
Builders.
I dropped
Wall
3
Builders was one of your
sources.
sources.
Hey, I listened, and they quoted actual historians. They quoted substantial historians. You said all. We have it on tape. You said all. I can't help you so stupid that you picked the wrong. No.
Alex, respond, Gibbs. Please.
Okay,
no,
go
it's-
ahead. Well, he
no,
started
he's-
this.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I started. Yeah,
You're the one who said all, bro. You said all.
Okay,
Don't.
anyway,
Okay,
as
if
I
you
was
set
saying,
forth
as
a
I was
claim.
saying, as
Okay,
I
I'm
was
gonna
saying,
respond after you.
No,
I'll
no,
go
no,
ahead.
Gibby,
I'm gonna respond after.
Gibby's pride is more important than admitting when he's wrong because he always gets fucking wrecked and he can't fucking handle it. He loves. No. At this point, you're not just wrong. You're just committed now to being wrong. So that's okay.
Oh, he's
That's
committed.
okay. Yep.
He's
Just committed.
committed.
Fine. But you see, one of his sources was
counter
wall
points
build.
when you need him.
Yep. Anyway, one
Well,
of his
he's not
sources
crying
was-
and rage quitting because he can't
no.
handle the whoopings.
No, I'm fine here. So anyway, wall builders.
You're
is
not
one of
doing
his
fine. You might
sources.
need to call him up.
No, I'm doing okay right now. I'm doing a lot better. I seem to get inside your fucking head. I should be.
You're not mad at all. I mean, you're the one.
No, I'm
Listen,
doing
bro.
fine.
Go ahead, finish,
sweetheart. Okay, sweetheart. It's okay. Fine. You know, it's
Brought the
cool. So
whiteboard out.
anyway,
We brought the whiteboard
anyway,
out.
encyclopedia. I utilize an actual source that's done by real people and whatnot, not just a bunch of wannabes and
Technology
shit like
right
that.
here with Gibbs.
But anyway, as I was saying, the Holocaust explained, like the Holocaust Museum even agrees with me. And Mr. Gibbs over here just can't admit when he's wrong. So yes, okay, go ahead,
The
Gibby.
Holocaust.
Oh,
agrees
Hey,
with
yeah,
you.
hey, listen. It says
Holocaust-
all. You
yeah.
said all.
To be fair,
All right, guys. I got a question. Where's Spin City to ask for the Webster's definition of the word all means. Because guess what?
I got you.
I'm not the dumbass that picked the word all or every source says this.
Absolute
I'm not
power
that
is a bad way to
stupid.
go.
When you say all or every, you're a bad
When you
debater,
say
bro.
the Nazis are
I let you
left-wing,
finish.
you're
I let you
100%
finish.
wrong.
I let you finish.
No,
I
you
let you
didn't.
finish.
No,
Oh
you
yeah.
didn't.
Okay.
No, you didn't.
Okay.
No, you
Go ahead
didn't.
and finish now.
No,
Go ahead and
no,
finish.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, okay. So all you
So
said
anyway, that's what I
all.
was saying.
You said okay. So you said all. And listen, Papa, if you're so stupid to use a word that all
Gibbs is
encompasses,
putting that degree to work right now. He's
if you use a word that says
professorizing.
all encompasses everybody, then you have to have 100% accuracy. And guess what? You were so stupid to use that, and then you said I only provided one source. I provided
Here's the
three,
world's
and they
smallest
all
I have a
quoted.
more
I
important
have the.
question.
I mean, my point is this, Alex. If you're gonna do debate and you're gonna do it at a high level, don't use words that say things like all or every. As Corey will admit, as many times we had Grid come on the show and say wild claims like, "Oh, there's 140 million people that are illegal immigrants in New York City," right? That's the kind of claim you're making. You're saying every historian is saying this. When we can go look at historians, even historians at the time will say, "Oh, it was inherently left wing compared to whatever day." We could go into all this in depth, but guess what? You weren't smart enough to do that. Instead, you went and used something like the word "all" and got wrecked. And so when all I had to do, my burden of proof was provide one reputable source or one reputable historian that said otherwise, and I did more than that. So get wrecked, scrub. Learn to debate. Maybe take notes from Hunter because he's about 1,000 times better than you, and he's like joking
Hunter
half the
getting his
time.
props.
Like it's fucking crazy because you are literally the worst debater ever, and you take home your wins thinking you won. And I'm glad that you feel like you won, but everybody here has rewind on the VOD. And when you say something like all, and then I drop multiple sources, it's an own. Get wrecked, scrub. Get wrecked.
Are
Thank
they
you, God.
It's funny. It's always funny how committed he is to being fucking wrong. But it's funny. It's adorable though. I admire your courage. It's okay. So
yeah,
nice.
That's right. They don't even know when they're wrong because hey, every
you gotta know,
I'm wrong every time.
That.
I'm wrong every time, boys. I'm wrong every time. I listen. I go outside. The sky is blue. Gibbs is wrong every time.
Call him fat or something. I mean, come on, you got to clap back.
Oh man, he can't even do that. He can call me
ripping on you for like 5 minutes.
Everybody's used that.
I can keep going.
Everybody's used that insult. It doesn't fucking work anymore. Like once you hear it once or twice, yeah. But when you hear it about 1,000 times, it kind of gets old. Just like his fucking arguments. All the
Plus, I'm doing enough cocaine now that I'll get skinny soon, and it'll be all right.
Go for it. Have at it, buddy.
You admit that on stream?
He's been admitting his coke usage on stream.
True, I guess. Yeah.
As the panel's lawyer, Lactoid approves. Right?
Yeah. We're talking about in GTA 6.
Wait, Gibbs.
It's technically not illegal to admit to cocaine usage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right here.
Fucking
Yeah,
red.
no other side, yeah.
Wall building.
Now, those are-
It might lead to an investigation.
Those are.
That is
It's like a
illegal.
trophy.
Actually,
Like
like
thing.
that.
I got like other stuff in there. I got another box full of shit. And I haven't put it in. Hold on, I never claimed to be stolen. Listen, this is a bad joke. I literally have claimed many times I was never in the military. I got this is a school, a name for when I was like in middle school. It was a Star Wars reference to Grand Admiral Thrawn. It wasn't long enough. It was. I mean. Okay.
Oh wait! You're not making the argument that Admiral Gibbs is stolen valor by claiming to be an admiral, are you?
Yeah, I'm not even old enough to be an admiral, bro.
It's not that serious. I just said it just to get under his skin. So
I mean, listen. If you want to go check my fucking voting records of 2014, I probably voted Democrat because I wasn't old enough to vote then.
So wait, were you not old enough to vote, or did you vote Democrat?
Well, that's the joke. You guys cheat.
It's a dumb joke. He once again another fucking voter fraud joke. So
actually, it was like 2008 since I think that's when the 360 dropped, but I'm not sure.
the what?
Okay.
I don't
Anyway,
even know when the
let's have
360
fun.
dropped.
Anyway, I don't take it personal. Gibbs. It's
All
okay.
right,
I have fun. I have
Hey,
fun arguing
Gibbs.
with Gibbs. I actually have
Gibbs.
fun arguing with Gibbs. I'm not gonna
Here's
lie.
the
so.
thing. I'm always against you. You know I'm always against you. I don't think there's a single time where there's been a split in the panel and I've been on your side.
The capitalism.
You fucking wrecked Alex right there. That was fucking good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It had nothing to do with him getting a compliment, I'm sure.
People underestimate Gibbs's roast game. He is like actually pretty good.
I come from the roast shows. That's what I came from before I did debate. So yeah, I feel like.
So let's get started.
Wait, we're missing somebody who
We're missing
I'm
a couple
sensing
people.
might make this
Doobie-
very entertaining.
Yeah, Doobie
Yeah, I
says
know.
he's running behind, so he's got something going on. So
Thank God.
Yeah.
the Doobs, yeah.
I love when Doobie's
My-
here. It's the best.
Yeah,
I can't
my
fucking
homie
handle
Doobie.
the frog. It really does. It is annoying.
Did you see
why
the?
he uses
Did you
it,
see
it
they're beating the
works.
Nephilim
It
on the
works.
dark side of the moon right now?
Psychological
No,
game.
we live. Dude, like Doobie had my
Yeah.
back in that last debate I did on Friday. Okay, he was throwing in some fire super chats, and it was money. So Wick was reading them. It was in the middle of the debate.
What what debate did you guys do?
Oh, Ukraine, Russia, and he
Yet another
Lactoid
Ukraine,
owned.
Russia.
Lactoid.
I can't
walked.
lose. I can't lose on this subject. All of them.
You
every
are
time.
really
Who'd you
fucking
debate with?
researched on this for some reason.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah. No, I debated Kalinda. You know who Kalinda is?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm aware of her.
Kalinda is a loner box mod, and then before her, I
Oh,
debated
well,
Loner
that's not
Box.
much.
Wait a minute, hold on. The brown
debated
hair girl with
Loaderbox
the
on Russia and
glasses.
Ukraine?
Yeah.
Loner Box,
I-
Dylan Burns.
Oh,
She was
Training
mad
Anna,
annoying.
Those are the peeps to
Yeah.
debate.
Those are the
Yeah.
strongest of the Ukrainian defenders, really.
Whoa!
I call them the Ukraine brains. That's
I also like
dealt with
Ukraine.
That Kalinda chick, she's some Zionist shill too.
She's a bit
Um,
annoying, man. She's fucking
She's
annoying.
extremely.
Am I a
believe-
Zionist
I believe
shield
she's
prime?
doing.
I'm curious.
I don't know your
kind of.
stance on
Okay.
Israel. I don't think we've really talked about it.
Okay, fair.
Wait,
I'm
do,
not-
do,
I'm
do,
not
you,
super
do, you, do you
pro-Israel
support
at all.
on arms embargo on Israel?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, all right, cool. Then you're not a Zionist show. We're good.
Okay.
hold on. When you say arms embargo, like,
no
am I a
arms,
Zionist?
no money.
If am I a Zionist? Because this is my position.
Yeah.
I don't want to give them free shit, but if they're going to pay top dollar,
I mean, if
What-
you're gonna
what-
sell shit, you can sell shit. This is America.
Yeah,
You
let's
can't
sell it to
really-
both sides.
I'm not-
That's what
I'm
we
not
should
really
do.
gonna-
Wait,
Let's
hold
go to
on.
both sides.
As long as we're making money, what the?
So, like,
why is
wait,
it
well,
like,
wait.
This
is why- this is why his-
because Hunter, because in that argument, it's not about support to Israel. It's about support to any country who will pay you. And I mean,
Sure.
Well, so wait,
at the end of the
Lactoid,
day,
that
we
makes-
are assassins.
That makes Lactoid. Hold on, that
We
makes
are just the
Lactoid's
highest
Ukraine
paid
position
assassins
bad.
in the
then.
world.
this is
Hold
my
on, that
main
makes-
problem with Ukraine. We gave all that shit
Oh.
for free. 200
No,
billion.
we
Are you
did it.
fucking
We
kidding
gave
me?
the 2 them on the land lease. We're getting paid back slowly.
We're
It's
not
our
getting
people.
paid shit.
When
we're
they-
all
when
gonna
they
lose
all
that
this
shit.
money back.
We're all, listen, cool. They can have our they have our T-50 tanks from like 19 whatever. Like it'll
Those
be all
cost
right.
Money. What do you
From
think they have
19
them? Those
whatever,
cost
we've been
money.
giving them
Yeah,
shit, bro. We've been giving them some fucking Abrams and stuff.
Yeah, the one we're replacing the Abrams already. We got a new mainline battle tank coming out.
Doesn't mean
So
we
the
can't
money
sell
lost
that
doesn't
shit.
matter?
Yeah,
Oh, and-
we're
and
using it. And
attack
we're using it as an R&D.
Patriots and
write-off.
Patriots.
An R&D write-off.
We use
Defend the
Patriots
line
now.
against Putin.
We're replacing the Patriot system too.
You don't want to
It's
have
okay.
this debate.
I don't.
Yeah,
I'm not
we're
nearly as
making
well-read
we're
as
making a lot of money.
Aid Israel, I say fly my plane. So
How about we sell both sides except to Russia? They don't get no weapons.
I'm
We can
not
sell
well
Ukraine,
researched on this
We can
area,
sell
but I am
Hamas.
pretty
We can sell the
pro-Russia.
Hezbollah. I hear they need a new
Some of the
backer.
Kurds, and they're not giving us some back. So I mean, we're just giving out guns.
Well,
to
the
them.
Kurds
So,
should get
fuck you.
more. We should give more money to the Kurds, and by more
No.
money, I mean more
They're-
guns. and
Why?
we
They're
buy it
not.
from
They're
them.
not. They're not. They're just keeping the money.
Well, then we're just going to keep their oil fields.
Hey, Lactoid,
Oh,
quick
no,
question
no,
on
no.
Ukraine.
They got oil.
What's up? What's up, Prime Guy? What's up?
The
Sure.
Kurds?
Just a quick question. In
Yeah,
terms
up
of
in
the,
northern Iraq, they have oil.
The deaths,
It's
right?
Iraq's
I think
oil.
you
It's
told
Iraq's
me,
oil.
before.
After we're done with them.
They're quipping. They're quipping right now. I'm trying to pay attention to what you're saying, but they're
Sorry.
quipping. Go ahead.
Sure, no problem. In terms of the deaths, I think you've told me before. There's been several million deaths, unfortunately. In the Ukraine.
Not several million.
Sorry.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot. I mean, I forget. It's been a little while since I've looked at the most recent estimates. But I mean, it's currently, in terms of casualties, the highest casualty conflict that I'm aware of right now. Gibbs might check me on this when it comes to the conflict in Africa that I'm just uneducated on. But
He's the expert on that.
Yeah, he is.
I do like my African conflicts. They're
sure.
pretty interesting.
But I mean, it is
it
like
a million
it's
plus?
if you factor in like all injuries as well, I think it's
Just
like
deaths.
just
deaths.
deaths. It's not going to be over 1 million deaths. No,
Okay. All right.
which conflict are you talking about?
Ukraine, Russia, Ukraine.
Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, the Great African War, the second one's got an estimated like 5.4 million deaths. I don't know if it's just like I think.
Part of the problem is both sides are wildly underestimating their own casualties. In order for morale purposes, Ukraine is coming out with with these statements of like, yeah, the Russians are losing 36,000 soldiers per month, and we're losing like 1,000. We're not losing anybody. That's complete horseshit. The Russians have just stopped publishing numbers going back to like 2023. They just stopped publishing it completely. So I mean, both sides are just not being transparent at all.
And what about like civilian deaths? Like, well, okay, so yeah, we will.
Yeah,
first
no,
you
civilian.
answer
So
that.
civilian deaths. This is actually, this is a point that got brought up during the debate. The civilian deaths, in terms of war, because civilians war is terrible. Civilians die during war, and that's always really bad. But this war actually has one of the lowest civilian to military casualty ratios of almost any conflict, especially in
Really?
modern times. Yeah. So it's about 13 soldiers per 1 civilian right there, which is way better than Iraq, way better than Iran. Iraq, us in Iraq, better than when Iran and Iraq fought each other, better than almost. I think there was like 1 or 2 conflicts that I think like Rwanda was worse, but that like for very
Gibbs?
specific reasons.
Can we fact check that?
I don't know about Rwanda. I know the Great Congo War, which involved Rwanda.
Lactoid
It's
said
like 3 to
all
5.4
sources
million.
agree with them, right?
All sources. Every one of them.
And that's going off of like Western estimates. And just to put this in perspective,
trust those.
because I know your politics, just to make it stick. I mean, this is by several orders. Like, I mean, I think right now in Israel it's 3 civilians for every 1 militant. So it's totally the other way around.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
Just to be fair to that argument, like, wouldn't that be the equivalent of like if I don't know, the Ukrainian government claimed everybody was a fucking combatant? Isn't that kind of what's happening? I think they even admit that. Doesn't Hamas admit that they do that?
Yeah, Hamas usually dresses up in civilian clothes.
I don't know. That's not what I'm talking about. Hold on. I'm talking about literally. Their literal claim. No, their literal claim. Oh God, is that they claim civilian deaths as combat deaths.
So the numbers that I've seen, and this actually some of this actually comes from Israel. I'm pretty sure it's 20,000. Israel claims 20,000 militants, and there's like roughly 80,000 civilian deaths. Now we don't know with some of the like the famine shit. We don't
Let's
know
ask
what
Ollie.
the overall end result's going to be. But
Oh no, not that one, please.
Ollie, what are your thoughts there, Ollie? Or can a Muslim be gay? I asked you with the
I
power
don't
of
know. My
Christ.
man has rainbow penises in his photo
Wait.
Rolodex, so I don't know. If
do I
I'm the
gotta
one
like
you
cut
should be
my stream
asking.
short? Or I gotta restart my stream?
No, you're fine. It's not DOS.
Yeah, you're fine. It's okay.
Okay.
It was just a tip. So don't worry
Okay.
about
So,
it.
but I guess does that answer your question? Does that answer your question broadly? Because I'm not giving you a straight number, but like just in terms of the ratios, that answer like where you're trying to go with the civilian deaths?
Yeah, I was just I was just trying to understand where it all stood.
Well, I think it was like whenever Pierce Morgan's brought some people on, when they ask him about like the civilian deaths, like they know how many Hamas people they've killed, but they can never answer how many civilians they killed because they just don't know. So it's kind of a little wishy-washy
It's
there.
estimates. Yeah.
It is estimates, but the thing is, like, they were so certain about how many, like, I can't remember which guy it was that Pierce Morgan brought on, but he's like, oh, yeah, we are for certain know is like 20,000 Hamas. How many civilians? Well, I don't know. So how can you know Hamas, how many Hamas you killed, but you don't know how many civilians you killed?
That's because Hamas is claiming everybody's Hamas.
It's estimates, but I mean there are some bases for the estimates, right? Like when you look at death rolls, when you I mean there are agencies that are trying to do this. It's not perfect. But it likely is somewhere in the range of 2.5 to 3 civilians per militant killed over there. And then I think in Iraq it was like 5 civilians for every militant killed somewhere. Or no, that doesn't sound right. I forget what the actual exact ratio was, but yeah, this war in particular in Ukraine is very much a conventional war between two, conventional militaries. The big thing here is, at least from the Ukraine side, over 3/4. It's between 70. The Ukrainians claim about 75%. Other estimates claim closer to 90% of all their soldiers are conscripts. So it's overwhelmingly people kind of dragged to the front line.
And to Ukraine's credit, they're doing a good job of like attacking all the logistics supply trains, because that's really hurting Russia, because everybody knows that like if you attack the logistics, you're gonna hurt the military that you're fighting against. Like that's like one of the most key things right there. It's like using terrain and attacking the logistics. That's what usually wins wars too. So
to give credit to that, actually, see, I could build bridges. They actually, everybody thought during Iran, with the Iran war, Russia was going to be the big benefactor because the oil prices are going to go up. They sell a lot of oil. And then Ukraine fucking hit multiple of their oil facilities. They've not been able to take advantage of the turmoil in oil prices. So, yeah, the logistics aspect of that is pretty clutch. See, we can all build bridges. We can all
build
hold
bridges
hands and sing Kumbaya. You know who can't build bridges? The Taliban. That's why they're getting their ass beat by Pakistan. It's crazy stuff. All over water now. Crazy.
Okay. Sure. Yeah, I just wanted to explore that because I didn't know what the like where that was at right now. In terms of the like the deaths, like comparing that to another conflict, like it's very hard to tell, like because of everything that's happening there. But like Sudan is like comparable, like for like a similar amount of time. There's been an incredible amount of deaths, especially civilian deaths. They've like just slaughtered. They've like cleared out towns. They've just slaughtered them, and buried individuals. And both sides have been guilty of these like horrible war crimes. The Sudanese National Army and the RSF, Rapid Support Forces, and like we've seen like the satellite imagery, right? Of like the mass graves, of like the pools of blood. We know like just from interviews with people like escaping these towns, like trying to leave. They'll like keep the men and the boys back, and they'll let some of the women back through, oftentimes with raping them, and then they'll head over, and yeah, their loved ones just don't ever show up. So it's awful, and the world does not discuss it enough. I don't bring it up here because I don't think anyone else like really knows much about it, which is fine. But like I mean, so like to have a panel about it, but yeah, it's just an unfortunate situation. No one's talking about that. Admiral Gibbs, $2, says they're meeting the Nephilim at the moon right now.
Yeah.
Right now.
Right now, boys. Did you know this? Y'all know they're at the meeting them the Artemis program on the dark side talking to the Nephilim.
What's the Nephilim?
Well,
Should I ask? I don't know if I want to ask.
You don't want to know. It's okay. It's basically the giants that were made because the angels had sex with humans, and they're like the demigods from the Bible. Shit? Yeah, and so now they're like the aliens, is what the argument is, or some shit. And so all the conspiracy theorists are saying the Artemis
Are you talking
program.
about the Anunnaki?
No, the Anunnaki are tied to the Nephilim. There's different conspiracy theories depending on how, but like apparently right now the Artemis program is a cover.
I mean, I mean, it is kind of crazy that no one is talking about the fact that we're going around the moon. It is.
No, the people
what
are
the?
talking.
We're
absolutely
talking.
I don't
about
see
You're welcome.
anyone talking about
You're
it.
welcome
I don't see
on it.
anyone talking about it.
Well, maybe
Must
not
be
in
a
your
single
circle.
person.
What the hell?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll just say I was at my university and there was like we had a video of Artemis and it was a stadium full of like I want to say like 300 people were just all watching Artemis just go.
I'm not gonna lie. What you shouldn't do the story where you lead up with stadium and then 300 people.
Valid. Sorry, it was a.
That could have been a courtyard.
It was. It
that
was
could
like
that could have been just in the quad.
Stadium, 300 people.
Hey, don't talk about my quad. All right.
I don't know what that mean.
Because stadiums are usually fit like
valid.
Minimum like
Tens of
20,
thousands of
30,000
people.
people.
You're right.
Oh, okay.
I buried my lead.
Right, sure.
Yeah.
Like
All
a
right,
soccer
let's,
stadium
get
with
started,
200 people,
guys.
that's a dead soccer stadium.
Oh, okay. Hold on. You said you went to your university. So what
Yes,
were you
university.
indoctrinated with now?
I have a degree in philosophy, and I'm getting my degree in mathematics.
And liberal
that
studies.
doctrine of mathematics, that
Oh,
ideology
He is
fucking
with the
it
numbers.
left-
lefty indoctrination, baby. Math and philosophy.
Yep.
Fuck.
No, it's specifically he's getting his degree in liberal math.
I think
He
I'm going to
knows
get my
his
master's in
numbers.
English.
Yeah,
He has-
one
he
plus
knows
one
his numbers and
equals
his letters.
0. There's his mathematics. 1 plus
Because
1
wait,
is
wait,
0.
Hunter. 1 times 1. What does it equal?
1 times 1 equals 1.
No.
Oh shit!
I'm
Wait,
a
hold
1
on.
times 1 equals 2.
You know how you said
guy.
1 plus 1 equals 0 in modular
I
arithmetic?
thought it meant 11.
Like specifically
one
when
and
we're
one.
talking about
There's
parity.
the
Yeah, see,
indoctrination
clearly you're not well versed on
and
Kind of
teriology.
axioms
Okay?
in which you
Look into
Aaron Howard
teriology.
knows what's up.
you can
One
adjust
times
the
one is
piano
two.
axioms.
Forest.
1 times 1 is
There
2.
you go.
Is that the fuck? Is that Leonard? What's his name? Fuck.
Terrence
Howard?
Howard?
Terrence Howard.
Terrence
that's
Howard.
it.
Yeah,
I've seen-
Terrence. Yeah.
I've made a bunch of videos on his dude. He's deranged. That guy's an idiot.
1
He's
by
like
1.
Or the
Listen,
He
smartest
one
avoided
by
the
one
liberal
is-
indoctrination.
Or the
is what
smartest person
happened.
alive.
True.
Yeah, one or the other. No one
No,
can
but
tell.
yeah, I
Gibbs,
think
we can
think-
now say the right 3, the indoctrinated citizen, 0.
The royal win. The royal we is
I've
going
been,
hard.
I've
that
been
one.
slam
I
dunked
am-
in the
I am-
marketplace.
So
by
Gibbs,
Gibbs.
this is your guy.
Okay.
We just you know now
We
now-
can
now-
say.
Indoctrinated. You
points.
were indoctrinated.
So let's.
So
let's
I've been
get started,
indoctrinated
guys.
because I understand mathematics. Is that the? That's
No,
the
it's
thing?
liberal. It's because you learn liberal math specifically.
Liberal.
Yeah,
math.
Can I ask
Like-
can I ask Ben City a question real quick?
You can-
Other than dunking on these libs, which they totally deserve it, by the way. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But like,
Well,
what,
hey,
what
you
would
took
you
on a more.
generally?
Hey, I'm over here,
Based.
lactoid.
What would you generally describe your politics as?
owning the libs.
That's all it is.
Is
I
that
think
all
you
it
just
means?
like
He's
wrote
looking
a
at you.
brain there.
I would not disagree with that. Owning the libs. That's why you have
That
lost 3
So then,
times.
like, my
Pathetic.
question-
No, what he's
I
asking you
wanna
what your
know where
politics
I fall
are.
where I fall in on this. Left-leaning politics.
you-
but
no, hold on,
unvaccinated,
hold on.
I didn't go to college.
We need your
Where do
answer
I
from
lean
earlier,
there?
Ollie. Can Muslims be gay? Tell Jesus.
Yeah, they can. I don't think you guys understand what being gay is, or like what the sin of gay is. I don't think you guys understand that, but we can talk
Are
about
you
that
the
another
expert?
time.
There's a ton of
Yeah.
Mormon. I grew up Mormon, and there
Take
were a
that
ton
shit
of
off.
Mormons.
Okay, wait,
that were
I'm-
just
I'm
like,
actually
they're
going to-
gay, but they don't. Sorry,
Yeah,
go
so
ahead.
so this whole thing, like, one, the sin is acting on your
Right.
gay impulsions, right? You can be horny. Being horny isn't a sin. It's having the premarital sex. And I think all of this ends up leading down to premarital sex under God. Gays, that there is no marriage under like religion for the gays. So why would they be able to have sex, so on and so forth? I think it's a dumb thing.
Yeah, I
To
wanna be
focused on
educated.
gays, I don't know.
Well,
I think
You
being
want to
focused
be
on gays is a little bit
educated? Wait
weird.
a minute. Why do you
Yeah.
need the indoctrination of a university to educate yourself?
True.
Because
Well, yeah,
otherwise,
have
I'm
a degree,
learning
you don't
from
have a
morons
job.
like you.
Wait. Let the libtardia up there
I'd like
answer
to
the
answer.
question.
Yeah,
I'd like
like
to answer.
please do.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
I'm
Lactoid
learning
lib
from
I am a
party
well-known
parts like you.
socialist. I know I'm a well-known
True.
socialist.
Now he
I,
wants
I,
to-
I, I
Very
think
true, very
dude,
true.
I think universities they can teach you things that are useful in your everyday life.
And what might that be?
He's
you
a
know.
lawyer. He's a
lawyer. He has a
can't
degree in
practice
I
law.
without
don't
it.
care, I don't care
Clearly,
what
I'm pretty
the
sure
fuck
it's
he
illegal.
does. I don't care what the fuck he does. I can read any legal definition online.
Can you practice
True.
law?
Yeah,
And that's all Lactoid does.
He
Lactoid,
practice
got
law.
you there.
That's all that's really
Here's
needed.
the
That's
fucking dictionary. It's
This is
just-
based.
Wait,
I
what
can
does what does arraignment mean again? And you're like, well,
I
here's what it means. And
am
the judge's
adept
like,
with
"Thank you."
Google, so
That's why I have
like
the
to
lawyers
think
in the
that I
room.
am just
Thank you.
as legally
Law
adept
Dictionary.
as,
Thank you.
Lactoid.
Yeah.
I can
It's
buy
me and
any.
my AI will
listen,
verse the world.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
If you want the answer, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
I can buy any legal encyclopedia, any type of
God.
law
That is
book, law
thing.
degree.
They are
You
for
can
sale.
buy a
And
fucking
teach
law
himself.
degree.
And teach
Okay,
himself.
I can be a self-taught lawyer and win
Spin City.
the
Spin City.
same
Where'd you
amount of
learn how to
cases.
read?
No,
I
he can buy
I
a
actually,
dictionary and
I
learn
actually
to
learned
read.
from Foghorn
Right.
Leghorn. Foghorn Leghorn taught me how to read.
Okay, hold on.
Say,
So,
libs
so
just
you can
lie.
buy any.
Listen,
You can buy any
school up
legal.
until high
I'm
school is
trying
not
to follow. I'm trying to follow.
indoctrination.
Here. So you can buy
Yeah,
any
let me
legal. You can buy any legal dictionary, and you can learn how to practice law from reading it. Is that what I'm gathering?
Absolutely, and it has been proven that you do not have to go to an indoctrination camp
Oh.
To be a
to
lawyer.
pass the bar exam.
True.
Hey, Spin, can I make this even worse for you? Because I technically lied to you. I'm actually not getting my degree in mathematics. I'm getting my degree in math
Ooh.
education. Because
Math
I want to be a
education.
math
You are going-
teacher.
So
Math
you
indoctrination.
To
You
contribute
want to
back into the
indoctrinate-
indoctrination, to be a part of it by being a teacher.
So
I
you
can
want to
indoctrinate you.
And what kind of math?
Yes.
Gay
You-
math.
Gay math.
what I-
I'm
yeah.
teaching them gay math. I want to teach them 1 + 1. You'd think 1 + 1. 1 + 1 is actually 2 penises.
Yeah,
And 2
they're touching.
penises are good. And that's
and
why
it,
2 is
and it
good.
looks by
And
your
2 is the good
by your
one.
lip structure, you have had many that have crossed your lips.
100%,
Moving
dude.
on. Moving on.
Yeah. you're
Wait,
next,
wait,
bro.
wait, wait,
To-
wait. You just
to
observed
the
another
actual
man's lips and
intelligent
know that
conversation.
enough dick has gone through them, but he's
He's
the
an
gay one?
expert, dude.
You're
He's
the
been on
expert in
Grindr
male
enough.
lips. and
So,
it's-
Lactoid,
And wherever he learned that, he did not learn it from a university.
didn't learn it from
I
school.
did
Learn it
not.
from life experience, baby.
So-
That's the only way you can
so
learn this shit.
Definitely
Lactoid,
in the
Yeah,
encyclopedia.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
I can buy any book to learn about the law. The
Amazon.
law
Yes.
in itself is theory,
Oh.
True.
right?
Yeah, it's
Law
So
in
there's
just
theory,
itself.
really.
it's like
on
evolution.
the four corners of the book.
Uh-huh.
And Lactoid, that should say something about my knowledge.
It's
Okay.
it's extensive.
I think
Okay.
it's a lie. I think it
The-
does.
Name
So how
one.
many law books? Hold on, out of curiosity, how many law books have you purchased?
Could you name them?
I did not purchase them.
Oh,
Wait a
But he
minute.
could.
I didn't purchase them.
But he
could.
can purchase
could.
it.
good.
He's-
I
Hold on.
can.
But you
He
just
has
said your
Amazon.
but you hold on. You just said that your knowledge right now is extensive.
It is.
On what?
Based
Did
on
I
what? You
need
didn't buy the
to-
books
did
yet.
Did I need to buy a book
No,
to
what-
get
what
on
are you-
to get
what are
on
you
the
knowledgeable
computer
about?
and do the same thing?
What are you knowledgeable about?
You don't need to buy a book.
What have you read
You can buy
about?
the books anymore.
That's-
You
Maybe
don't have the-
philosophy. Maybe we
That's
can go
the
toe to toe.
It's me and Chat GBT versus the world, baby.
Maybe mathematics. Maybe I could quiz
Okay.
you on some math because you've read
Okay.
books. You're educated.
I can look at a document and I can disseminate that document.
Shit.
Wait,
Do you know
disseminate?
any?
He can just look at. He doesn't have to read it. Just look at it, and he
Wait,
can
what do you mean by
disseminate that
disseminate? What do you mean by
Okay,
disseminate?
if I am making a motion to a court, does it
Okay.
take a lawyer to make that motion to a court?
Wait, can
Technically
books
not.
indoctrinate you?
You can represent yourself.
Can you read?
I
the
would
wrong
advise
book?
against this though
Would
for anybody.
be considered pro se.
Wait, Spin
could be-
City.
yes,
What
you
happens
could
if
be
you read
considered
the
pro
wrong
se,
book
yeah.
and then you retain the wrong
He's
information?
fucking
and then
memorized two
then you
terms.
start-
and
then
he's
you,
like, look,
what
I've
happens?
learned what a law school can give me.
No, he's right.
How
You
do
know,
you not
he
kill
has
yourself
said
every day
nothing.
knowing?
No, stop. He has said nothing but true things thus far. You can buy
but they're
books.
nothing.
No,
I
you can
fucking
buy
know that
books.
You can represent.
You can
yourself.
represent yourself, and it's called pro
Okay.
se.
Hayes, will you please
You know
mute
what?
that libtard for a
I
second?
just-
I will. I will love
Hey,
to mute that.
guys,
I think this
I
guy
know
is this
it's
guy.
not-
I just want to say, I kind of picture me
got it.
getting learned in school right here, guys.
Martha, hold on, Martha
No,
is
wait.
speaking. All right, know your role. Okay, so
Now,
go
wait.
ahead.
Now wait,
Go
I
ahead, Spin
can,
City.
I
There's
can
more
make
people than anyone.
I'm trying to be educated right now. Go ahead. Go ahead.
you don't have to be
You're being
educated
indoctrinated,
because I
Lactoid. You're
think-
being educated.
I think
You mean
Lactoid's
indoctrinated?
education
Go ahead.
may or may not be as extensive as mine is,
Uh-huh.
but I was self-taught.
Okay.
I was not indoctrinated by any college, or I do not have this big fucking plaque that, you know,
Okay.
most
Yeah.
ball washing bastards.
But you
have.
can order one. You
Yeah.
can order a plaque.
Bastard.
You can just order a plaque off
And
Amazon
you know what?
too. You know.
I'm out earning you 10-1 every day.
Yeah.
That's what's awesome about it. Every single
Here-
person with college
here's-
degrees.
Damn,
are
these
out
plaques, they
earning you.
got me. The ball
Oh
washing.
no! Hold on. We don't know. This guy might make serious dough.
Sure, but on
Dumb
average.
money.
Oh come on. Anyway, so you're all great points, right? You don't really need to go to school. You can just learn everything on your own.
But is it absolutely in the preponderance of possibility that I could pass the bar exam without going to school?
Through the
That's
preponderance,
crazy.
probably not.
It would-
Fuck, dude. You gotta listen to yourself sometimes.
answer the question, libtard.
Answer that very
You're the one
serious
that's
question.
disputing it.
Fucking
Yeah.
question,
Hey,
Lactoid.
is it within the
Stop avoiding
preponderance of
question.
possibility?
Huh. Okay, I'll say it again. Is it
Go ahead.
possible that I can walk in and pass the bar exam?
Well, the guy on
Right
Suits
now?
did
Is
it.
it-
The guy
Wait,
on
no,
Suits
it
you
didn't
or
even go to
someone who
school.
hasn't learned in a law?
without knowing what I know, could a man walk in and take the bar exam?
Why
Yes
don't you try
or
it?
no?
They could
They can
take it in some states. Yeah. Like you could take the California.
in California, because Kim
Okay.
Kardashian famously did it.
And failed
All-
multiple times.
I believe you.
Yeah.
They also have one of the
Mind
hardest
you,
bars.
Kim
They have one of the
Kardashian, with
hardest
all
bar
her
exams.
money,
though.
resources, and time, still failed the bar without going to school. Just saying.
No, for sure.
Okay, but she
I
did.
just
Hold
wanted-
on.
I
She's
can
not
also
Spin
tell-
City News.
It
Okay,
doesn't-
she didn't buy the books.
That is-
Man, hey,
that is
City.
a- that is a
That's
good
the thing.
point.
Kim
Have
Kardashian
you
doesn't
actually-
know how to disseminate information. That's the
So,
issue.
Spin, have you actually tried taking the bar?
She did have a preponderance
No.
of a chance
Why not?
as well.
Do you want to take the bar?
I'd love to take the bar.
Well, go
might
for
take
it.
It's in California.
Go
You can
for it.
take it right now. Maybe not right now. I don't know how it works.
I could take it in the free state of Florida where I live, and I probably would pass.
The free state.
Let's see it, man.
Lactoid, can you
You
ask
know
him
what?
one
Honestly,
law question, please?
I would like to see this.
Lactoid, do you want to
actually.
take that bet?
do not
Do you want to
need-
take that bet?
it is a
Uh,
it is a
What?
it
How
is
much-
a
how much
I
money
want
you
to hear. I
put
want
on
to hear him out. I want to hear him out. This guy's great. I want to go ahead.
it is not, there is no fact that says that you have to go to a college to have an education to pass the bar exam.
That is true.
Actually, I'm not sure that's true in Florida. Let me check it out. It could be. It could
It-
be. Every state's different. So let me just check right here.
You do
Yeah,
not
honestly, go
have
for
to
it.
have a formal education to become the president of the United States.
That's true. That's true.
That's also true.
Oh wait. Hold on. I just looked it up. In order to take the bar exam, you have to have a JD from a law school.
You should have read those books.
Turns out Florida's not as free as you think it is. You know what the real free
Florida?
state is?
These
California,
Your
bitch.
You should have read those books.
California,
Have the
California,
rules,
bar?
regulations.
the real
What is this
California
fucking
sucks.
communist?
Listen, I'm as progressive as they come, and
There-
California
there
fucking
are-
sucks. I'm
there
sorry.
are-
New scum
few
wins
states-
That's right.
again.
Florida might as well
California
be Russia.
sucks.
There are a few states in the United States where you do not have to have
Like
a
New Scums.
bar
not your free
Besides
Florida though. Your
California,
Florida's
free
not free.
Florida.
There are
what?
probably a few. There are probably a few. Yeah.
In
I don't know. I don't
There
know.
are
if they
a
all
few.
do.
In apparently you can't.
You have to have a bar or a license to practice law.
Who are you?
Wait.
ranting
Yes,
to?
you do. You can defend other people without Lactoid. That
Yes,
can't
you
be true.
can. Yes,
You
you
know,
can.
that's-
What state,
makes you
what state
require-
can I move to right
Okay,
now? and
so
get
here are the
without a
states.
without
Here,
the
here,
bar?
here
I'll
are
do it
all
tomorrow.
the brilliant conservative states that allow this: California, Vermont, Virginia, and Washington.
So you stand corrected. You just lost again.
Wait, Lactoid.
I lost.
can go to Vermont.
I lost again. Yeah.
Wait, Lactoid,
Not
I can
you.
go to Vermont right
Oh,
now
that
without
makes
this
sense.
law, without a
The
bar.
Muslim.
No.
No,
You
no,
can
no.
go to.
The-
You
yo,
can,
Did you refer to
Chill.
me as the Muslim?
you can.
Can
You
you
can. No. Hold on.
King of the Muslims now.
You can go to
He's the
Vermont.
Shah,
Sir,
bro.
you
He's
refer
the
to
Shah.
me as king, or you don't refer
No,
to
no.
me as
You
Lactoid?
have to take the bar exam. You have to take the bar
I don't
exam
think you've
in
noticed he's not a
Vermont.
fan of Muslims, so
You just don't. You
you'll
just
find
don't.
that out, though.
You don't need a law. You don't have to go to law school to sit for the bar exam
But-
in Vermont.
But I have to take the bar.
Yeah, you have to.
Like,
yeah.
there's
Yeah.
no state where I can practice
bar.
without taking the bar. Just not because that's. I think.
Yes,
I think
there
there is.
are
No
there
fucking
are
state
some
bar.
states that
Yes,
you, just,
I mean,
you can.
there
Isn't
is.
Louisiana one of them?
Oh, sorry, hold on.
Is it a
Okay,
different test?
Lacto, tell us
Yeah.
about that. There are states where
I think
go ahead.
so. In Oregon, I think they're moving
Oregon.
towards this, and then also Wisconsin. You don't
Wait, what do you
need
mean
to
moving
actually take
towards
the
it?
bar.
What?
And
You
you can
do
just
not.
go be a lawyer.
No,
Yes.
you can't just go. There's
We're
a bunch
moving
of
the
other,
law.
there's different
What,
tests.
Yes.
what would it be?
Oh,
okay,
okay.
so it'd just be a different test.
so they're just a different
Okay,
test.
so
That's
it's
all.
the
Well,
same-
so it's a different test. So they have okay. So you have to go to a law school, and you have to take take certain classes that have certain tests associated with them, and you can skip the bar exam.
Oh, so you have
Okay,
to
so
go to an
not-
indoctrination
okay,
camp
so
it's
before
the
you become a
same
lawyer.
thing.
Yes.
Got it.
Okay.
Every single state has vetting requirements before you can just go and
There is
practice law,
gatekeeping no
yes.
matter
you
what.
There is
can't
there is
just
gatekeeping.
go and start
Lactoid,
practicing
you
law.
are a licensed attorney, correct?
Yeah.
Isn't it something of fitness or whatever the fuck it is, test or
Yes.
to
Take
Okay.
this dick in your mouth. Sorry.
I don't remember the exact term, but it's the suit and
Didn't read the
fitness
book
test
on
or
that.
some shit.
Character and fitness. Yeah.
Character and fitness, thank you.
That's
Yeah.
just,
Just
a liberal
I mean, the
indoctrination,
big
dude.
thing about that is you can't be you can't just try not to do crimes. A whole bunch of crimes doesn't look good on that one. Especially fraud. If you do a bunch of fraud, that's gonna really come to back
Yeah.
to bite you if you try to.
You just can't get caught. Is the real rule. You just
Well,
can't
so
get
there's
caught.
really-
So,
good lawyer,
so
you don't
character
get
and
caught.
character.
Yeah.
So in order to hold your license, you not only have to demonstrate knowledge,
Proficiency.
practical proficiency, you have to also pass character and fitness, which is you have to basically not be a criminal. And some people have criticized this because there are sometimes felons who will study law in prison and actually study for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And
And
they
some of them
actually
get-
and
some
if
of them get
I'm
pretty good,
correct, they
actually.
if
Yeah.
I'm actually correct, in some prisons, that is an actual college course that you can take and actually have
Yeah.
a degree.
They indoctrinate in the prisons too.
Some of them, but they
Another
can't get.
indoctrination.
They
You
struggle to
can't
get
escape it.
licensed
They
though.
can, but
you
they
can't
can.
escape it.
So
Yes, they can.
okay,
It
okay. So
depends
I,
on-
I
Okay,
wanna
what's
ask-
the fuck is your
depends.
point? I'm sorry to get aggressive, but
I don't
That
think
y'all are aggressively indoctrinating the youth. You
you've
evil
been
bastards.
fucking going nowhere.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
Can I ask real quick? So hold on. I don't disagree. Indoctrination is bad and all that, but surely there are some benefits to education beyond that indoctrination, right? You would agree?
There is monetary benefits to it.
But also just knowing the world. Do you think that?
Why are you laughing? You're the one that's being indoctrinated to be able to
I
indoctrinate
know.
somebody else.
That's fine.
Yeah, you
That's why
libertard.
it's so funny. Is I'm in the water. I'm a fish in the water, and I'm
Libtard.
going, what the hell is air?
See, this is
I-
what the fuck I'm talking about. You can't get a fucking word in with this fucking retard
You
up there.
can't. He
You
never
can't.
shuts
Too
up.
much.
He's always
Hunter?
talking.
Hunter's a hand washer. You don't know Hunter. Hunter
Yeah,
washes
well,
hands
actually, he's
all
a
day.
ball
Every
washer.
day.
Ball washer fascism now, boys.
Yeah, he's a ball washing fascist.
So,
There you go.
Lactoid.
I wash
sorry, not
your
Lactoid,
balls, though.
Spin.
Just to be
You
clear.
would
ask
love
you one-
to wash my fucking
I
balls.
would love to
You
wash
would
your
love to have
balls.
your balls washed by him.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Hell yeah, dude.
Nah,
Spin. Can
No.
I ask you one question?
Absolutely.
well, it might be multiple, but
If it's from
do you
you,
think that you can
yes.
be- Thank
He's
you.
more left
Do you
than me.
think-
Do you know that, Spin?
Do you,
You
would
think
you?
He is.
So yes, in certain states, not Florida, you can take the bar, right, and pass the bar, right, without going to school, right? Okay. All right. So multiple things here. One, would you trust a lawyer who didn't go to school but passed the bar?
I think that I would trust
You'd
the
prefer.
non-indoctrinated person
Would you
for
prefer?
for a simple reason. For once, let me finish answering your question.
Sure.
I would trust the non-indoctrinated lawyer because the 9 times out of 10, that non-lawyer has done more research than what a lawyer would have done.
Then Lactoid, true.
Yeah,
Actually, he makes a good point here. He actually makes a good point. I only trust Jewish lawyers personally. Like,
I'm not a lawyer.
you got.
I also will say,
Wait. I will say this. I would trust an African American lawyer over a white one.
Johnny Cochran is pretty base. Johnny Cochran was pretty base.
Woke.
If the glove don't fit, you must quit.
It's some woke bullshit. But second of all, I think it's possible. Look, I will say it is theoretically possible that you could pass the bar.
Yeah, in theory.
Based off your preponderance
They
of
did
evidence.
Without a
They
preponderance of
did
a
it in
doubt.
Catch Me If You Can, right? Like the
That was
They did it in
Ireland.
Suits.
How much-
There's a whole-
how
there's a
much
whole
money would you
show
bet?
dedicated to
How
this.
much money would you bet? Lactoid?
Betting is against the Bible. I wouldn't possibly.
Yeah,
do that.
exactly.
Okay,
No, you would
okay,
not
so
bet
Bible
in
fiction
real money.
anyway, so you're not really breaking
know
the
it.
law, so it's okay. I mean, just bet. It's
Second
okay.
question.
Even a friendly bet, like buy the guy McDonald's or some shit like that. Make it fun, make it interesting.
Oh, he would
That'd
like
be
that.
fun.
I know he's
I
in
would
big
bet
for thousands of dollars.
$20,000. As much money as I possibly have that you would not pass the bar.
About
Okay.
no, it would be the betting the
Okay.
money that you will not make. Yes.
Okay, so
I don't have much money, so that's the. It's a
uh,
lot in student debt.
Let me. I want to move. 'Cause I do want to move on.
The
from this.
indoctrination.
So I do want to get to our topic at some point in time. So let me run this down very quickly. Okay. All right. So you're saying that you trust people who do their own research, right? And who assemble the books and do the research. And then that person is just as good, if not better, than a person who might do a
He's gonna be
whole
better.
licensing program.
Don't
He's
say
going
he's
to be
not.
better.
He's better.
It would
better.
be.
They would be better. Okay. So
Yes.
2 things.
I
right?
believe that.
Would you trust a house built by an architect who didn't go through the licensure process?
Did he read the Wikipedia? That's all I
How
know.
redneck are they?
Are they Amish? He would trust the Amish to be
Amish is a good
Amish.
point. Amish is a good
I
point.
would trust the
Also,
Amish.
I just
Ooh,
want
the
to
Amish destroyed Prime. They're actually
Real
dipshits.
quick, to
Okay.
Lactoid. The Bible doesn't actually explicitly condemn gambling. It
true.
condemns trying to get rich quick, and then it also suggests that it's not
Yeah,
good.
so
to try
I
to get
can't.
rich off
So
gambling.
I can't bet on this.
So you could gamble. You could gamble for fun, which is an acceptable thing in the Bible.
No, but
Let
he'd get
me-
rich
let me
quick.
finish
He'd
my
get rich
point.
real fucking quick.
So-
You can trust
okay.
Reverend Gibbs
So
here.
you're saying, okay, so so you would say you would trust going to a skyscraper built
He can't even figure it out. He's like,
He'll be back.
he's malfunctioning a little bit.
It's all right. He'll be right back.
Did we bully him?
It's
I was
technology.
No,
trying
no,
to be
no, no.
nice.
He'll be
I don't
right
really
back.
care if
All
we
I'm
do
sure
Now-
he'll be back.
Is he going to read a book to help him get back on or something like that? That's what I want to know. Is he going to be qualified to do something like
God.
that? So
Lactoid, how do you not kill
okay,
yourself every day
well-
knowing that people like this are on your side?
Look,
This
hold
is
on.
side.
You
This
guys,
is
hold on,
you
hold
guys,
on.
you guys
If we're
got
picking
your
the weird
too.
people, yeah, we're talking about the weird people on what side going where. I mean, I don't think we want to go that battle. But I had someone with Fruit Loops colored hair earlier tell me they were a reindeer last week.
Here's the issue.
I don't want to
Here's the
be.
issue. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. You guys have institutionalized this type of psycho. I
Bro,
think that
we
have
would,
to
we
have
would,
to
but y'all made it impossible to institutionalize anybody for mental illness. It's just their personality. Yeah, so it's just their every kind of mental illness.
No,
is
no, no, no,
their
no.
truth.
At all.
No, literally Reagan made it impossible to institutionalize.
Well,
that
he's a
type of person.
neocon,
So
neo-lib.
rhino.
He's part of the Uniparty, bro.
Listen,
You're right.
Reagan
You're
was
right.
a
He's
leftist
been.
prime. Reagan was a leftist.
That's right.
he was
That's
definitely not a leftist. He was like the
He
conservative
was.
darling.
Reagan was a leftist.
He was a middle of the pack rhino, Uniparty guy. He's a hand watcher. He's a ball watcher of fascism
Conservative
too.
base loves Reagan. They're like,
How is
oh,
Reagan
the
a
greatest.
rhino? The entire Republican Party orchestrated its entire.
Actually,
Nah,
by
Bush
today's
was the
standards,
epitome
he
of the
would be
neocon.
considered- He would be considered
right.
a rhino by today's standards. Actually,
That's
He would
right.
be.
He would be.
Sure, but that's not how words
Well,
work.
but like,
It is how it
in-
works.
In today's standards, according to MAGA, Trump was just a '90s Democrat. So I mean, like, what
He is 90s
By-
Democrat. What do you
Oh
mean?
my god!
In most
stop.
ways, he absolutely is. Yeah, 100%. What are you talking about?
Are you saying he's not?
I'm saying he's
Yeah,
not.
Me?
it shows
Yeah,
how
I'm saying
conservative
that he's not a
90s
Democrat.
Democrats were.
Well, that's because you're a ball washer of
but-
fascism. We know why you don't want to say he's a
Ooh.
I've been
I'm like
interested
this
in Bill
close to
Clinton.
I like that we're
I
shifting
enjoy
to ball washer of fascism instead of
It's
hand
kinda
washing.
good.
I'm
I
a
like
fan
it.
of that. It's a good
I'll
one.
take
I'm
the.
curious
I'll
where
We've
it's gonna
improved.
end up.
We've improved the discourse.
We've moved up, boys.
So are we
Thank
gonna
you.
have
It's been sitting
AI
years.
ball washers or people ball washers? I mean, which one is it now? I mean, you know.
Oh, that's a good
Okay,
one.
let's. Well, we can move on.
He
to
says he's having an
topic.
issue. He'll be back, he says.
Okay, all right.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
God help us all.
Let's. We can move
He's
on
ordering
to
a
our
book.
Jesus Christ. He's gonna read all of the law right now and come back.
But I got the Blackstraw Dictionary right next to me, ready for this exact situation, boys. Let's go. Right here.
Well, I've got a dictionary too.
Okay.
Oh, I just have a regular dictionary. So
Oh, well, we have
look at
both.
preponderance. I've
No, you got the
Oh,
indoctrination.
I have it. I
dictionary.
have to, you don't have to look it up. I have
I
it
know
right
you
here.
saw
ready?
it, but I've also got a book which is way more trustworthy than really anything you could find.
Yeah, I mean, it's right here. We got it. It's just backwards. I don't know why I won't flip it, but whatever.
No,
That's
it looks
correct.
good.
Yeah, it's correct.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah.
No, we should have asked him about like okay, so you're reading books, right? But what if the person who wrote the book went to college?
Which is
You know what? That's
What
a
if-
very smart
how
point.
I get a better one. What if he was in? What if they were?
Most books are
What if
written
they
by
were four?
doctors.
What? Hey, listen. Hear me out. Hear me out. What if
With
the Bible was written by a Jew? You gotta ask him these questions, bro.
I think he's
Great
fine with
question.
Jews. I'm not getting that vibe from.
Oh,
He's
I-
not
why
okay
don't
with
we-
Muslims though, for sure.
why don't we ask? Why don't we
Well,
find out?
That's
It's a
mainstream.
nice switch because, like, usually this panel is deeply anti-Semitic. They've swapped to like.
I love the Jews. They got money, bro.
Have you met Scott? Every chance he gets, Islam is evil. We're talking about fucking AI. I don't know
who
where
Scott
Scott
is.
is. Scott just
Oh,
Islam
Scott the
is
libertarian?
evil every
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Oh,
I mean,
don't worry. I can pick up Scott's point. They train the AI to
That's
favor the Muslims. I'm just kidding. Y'all worry. I got you, fam.
So we'll continue on, and maybe at the end of the stream, I can finish that thought with our spin.
It's a great
That'll
question.
that'll
You
take
really
all
got to
night to
ask
finish
him
the
that
thought with
question
him.
because most books that I've read, I would bet that most books from laws about laws are by law professors, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be. Yup.
That's why I didn't read them. I just
I just practiced law. If you practice
just
enough, you'll
started.
get good at it.
You just gotta get going.
Put in my 1,000 hours. we're
firm
good.
handshake. Look him in
Did
the
Sir
eye.
Isaac Newton need a degree
Firm
to
ball
indicate
wash.
the apple falling from the tree? No, get loaned, libs, get owned. Fucking gravity.
Okay. Let's okay.
All right.
Let's go. Let's get started. So thanks all for being here. To the individuals here on the panel and to those out there. Thanks for being a part of this. Oh, let's do the stream together thing. Gibbs. And, do that.
It's already sent in the back chat. You just got to scroll on up there.
Oh,
Just
I'm
click
sorry.
That bad boy.
yeah,
Come on.
For sure. All right. Hey, DB.
I lied.
just
I
in time.
post it again.
All right. I'll find that in a second.
It's my fault.
so-
I'll post it again. I'm sorry. We'll get you there.
Thank you so much. Okay. So hey, like perfect time in DB. So hey, we are if you enjoyed that very long preamble, and that was a lot of fun, a lot of craziness happened there.
Was it?
Right? I had fun. I was laughing the entire time. It was fun for
I was
me.
laughing in like a sad way, but
That guy's pathetic.
I won't.
Don't worry. He'll be back. He'll let you know what he thinks.
I like
say,
him.
I'm sure.
I want him back.
Everyone is free to have their own opinion on this.
Totally. And his opinion sucks.
So, anyway, guys, consider supporting the channel. Subs to the channel, get bits of gift subs. If you're on Twitch, right, it's a huge help. So consider supporting the channel, or if you're on YouTube, either consider becoming a YouTube member or using a super chat like our friend Gibbs did. We'll put your message on screen and we'll talk about it. It'll be a lot of fun. So consider helping us out that way. If you're on Kick, just follow the channel on Kick. It's very, very important. Follow the channel, please. It's all free for you. Just follow the channel and Kick. All right. let's get started. I'm gonna. Should we do intros? We'll do opening statements and intros combined. So we can get right to it. Okay, the topic. A grandmother was arrested for a string of alleged bank fraud incidents. She spent 5 months in jail. She lost her house and all her possessions. And then it was made clear that she was absolutely innocent. An AI-powered facial recognition software had identified her as a suspect. The police didn't perform due diligence as a follow-up, and this woman paid the price. As AI rolls out across society, who should be held responsible for when mistakes happen? Is the AI company or the police department at fault? Experts are recommending AI guardrails, but Trump issued an executive order that would ban states from enacting regulations. He says this would stifle innovation in a rapidly changing field. Are you in favor of this ban? Should the government be involved in regulating this sector on any level, federal, state, local? So, yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's really unfortunate. Yeah, this grandma just we ran the footage, the software. As someone's like, what was it, cashing bad checks or something along those lines? I think pretending to be a military individual, like, and then using their ID somehow to like get money out of the bank. In any case, right? So some sort of bank fraud, doesn't matter. But she was identified by that system, and then a warrant was issued for her arrest. And this was, and literally, she lives like 1,000 miles away, right? Like, it absolutely positively wasn't her. And she was in jail for months until her lawyer, like through bank statements, proved that she couldn't have possibly have done it. She was, in a completely different state. And she, lost her property. She wasn't like a well-off woman, right? She's not a person who was just struggling to get by. But now she lost that struggle because of this. So anyway, yeah, that's a terrible situation. But yeah, who should be held responsible for that? And for a larger question about AI, like, should we have regulations? If we do, right, like, something people always talk about is that, well, China won't, right? We can put regulations in place, but China won't. China can get ahead of us. Should that even matter to us? So I want to have like a comprehensive discussion on this. We'll start with our good friend Lactoid.
Hi, I'm Lactoid. You can find me at Lactoid TV and Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. There's this story of a woman wrongfully identified by AI as committing a crime that she didn't do. There's a few instances of this, actually. There's one that the article goes into about somebody else, but there was one that I saw entirely unrelated to this, a guy named Jason Killinger. And he was at Vegas, just gambling, and he won like a couple $100. And as he was leaving, the AI identified him as, not in this case, which is apparently somebody had a fake ID, and they apparently the face looked a lot like her. This one was some homeless guy that had been sleeping on the property. He was wrongfully identified as, and he had been trespassed before, so then he was arrested for trespassing, despite the fact that he had an ID on him showing him as a different person completely. And so it's only when they saw the ID, they saw everything. It's only when they got him down to the police station, and I think they took like a DNA test and like confirmed, like beyond any kind of a doubt, that he wasn't this guy, did they finally let him go. Yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to be concerned about this. Are there going to be wrongful arrests in any kind of criminal justice system? Yeah, of course. You're going to have to deal with that. There's going to be error. You try to remedy that the best you can. But I think it's fair to say, especially now, especially in these early days when we're kind of working out the kinks here, that there should be an expectation on officers to do some due diligence here when it comes to investigating and not just blindly trust AI. I think this is generally a problem, not just among cops, but amongst people generally, where they'll just like export their thinking. They'll just outsource it to an AI just because thinking's hard, right? I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to just believe whatever is told to me through AI. And AI is a useful tool. It's a useful tool. It's great for summarizing. It's great for getting quick answers. And you can, I think generally, like for small things, be like, rely on an AI answer, right? Like, what's the best way to fix this part in your car? Maybe that's fine, right? What's the worst that can happen? But if you're about to take somebody's freedom away, I would expect there to be a little bit more investigative efforts, a little bit more a higher expectation. Now, exactly how we go about doing this, I'm not sure. You could probably enforce this kind of along the lines that we currently have of disciplining cops who do a bad job. And I think if you are arresting somebody just based solely on an AI telling you this is that person, without doing any other investigation, with in some cases ignoring evidence directly to the contrary, or dragging your feet while somebody's rotting in jail, I think you should probably just get fired for incompetence.
Absolutely. Thanks so much. Let's go to our friend Hunter.
I will say that I'm gonna criticize the prompt a tiny bit, Prime. It's not a big criticism, but I do think that this specific story doesn't really underscore, or it underscores the issue with AI, because we've seen very similar stories with things like DNA testing, where you can have a 1 in a million chance for a false positive, and then you train it over a country with 300 million, and you're going to get 300 false positives. It's a huge issue. If you have a better understanding of like Bayesian statistics, like better like a math understanding, I think people would largely understand that this is, even if you have a purely effective tool, if you just train this on a random person, you're going to have some issues. But AI is not even close to 1 in a million effective. It's not even close to as good as DNA testing. This is largely because people don't really understand how AI functions, that it's really good on pulling information off the data that it trains, but when it comes to making inferences or extrapolating from information, it's going to do a really poor job of this. There's a lot of issues with AI that I have. Largely speaking, the biggest one is that it's a little bit of a black box. We don't really understand how it's making decisions. It's sort of making decisions in guesstimations towards the correct answer, and it can hallucinate a lot of information, especially if you are having information and prompting it in a specific way. I am very critical of AI. I don't think that it's going to cause the singularity. I don't think that it's going to cause human pets or whatever, but I certainly think that we're going to get a loss of truth. I think people are going to get truth from a very oriented way, where it's oriented in a specific way to gear towards your interests. And I think it should be extremely heavily regulated, and I'm in favor of a lot of different regulations. But obviously, because there's only like 3 companies in charge of it, I'm extremely worried about regulatory capture, wherein those 3 companies can sort of choose the rules about how these regulations can occur. So I'm going to be wary about regulations that occur too. So I'm worried about a lot of different things here. But yeah, I'm certainly, I would like action to be done. TLDR.
Thanks so much. Yeah, let's go to our friend Corey.
Yeah, so obviously what happened to this grandmother was awful. And, you know, I'm not exactly sure how to deal with it. And like, based off what Hunter said, like, let's say I'm on paper in favor of regulation, but it's actually not my go-to. I'm still fleshing out this idea. Okay, so I'm not totally committed to it, but this is where I lean now, where, okay, if police want to use AI and they trust it and they have faith in it, well, then presumably they should have no problem then having the AI used on themselves. What do I mean by that? From what I understand, there's a lot of police body cam footage out there. Okay. And a lot of police body cam footage that is not reviewed by a human being because there's just so much footage out there. And so if, okay, and what I would push for is every single police is now mandatory to have police body cam footage. Okay. And then the AI reviews that. Okay. As in, I'm assuming an AI can be trained. I could be wrong, but I'm assuming AI can be trained to, let's say, flag police violence or unjustified use of force by police. And so I would say if the police want to use AI on the public, okay, then they first must start with themselves. And if they show that, oh, if they're okay with an AI regulating them, as in the AI reviews police body cam footage, and they're okay with like, oh, the AI automatically flags it, and they're automatically suspended without pay, and they can live with that, then I think they can roll it out on the public. But I'm pretty sure they would not go for that. But that's where I'm at now, and I'll leave it there.
Someone is clicking, and it's driving me up the wall.
Wasn't me. I was speaking the whole time.
I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you so much.
It's always you.
I am typing.
Just so we're clear, Hunter. It's always you
Fair.
breathing and clicking.
I have my shit muted. I saw Prime mute me and unmute me and go, somebody's clicking. I knew who was playing. I was like,
Okay. No problem.
I am sorry.
No worries. Let's go to
It's
our
actually
friend,
him all the time that I get blamed.
That's what I just said.
Everyone, okay. All right, let's move past it. Let's go to our friend Alex.
All right. So basically, when it comes down to this whole idea of like AI being utilized to track people down, I can see why they're trying to do that, because I remember, I think it was the first time I was on one of your panels and Erudite was on here and she talked about the advantages of that. I don't know if you remember that, but when it comes down to it, it's definitely the fault of law enforcement regarding this, because they're the ones that deployed the tool. They're the ones that utilize this tool. And there's like multiple cases that we can go over that shows why this is completely ineffective, because there's been people that have been wrongfully accused of crimes they did not commit, and yet they are still being arrested and held for months at a time before they finally come around. Like, oh, realize that they screwed up. So at the end of the day, this is definitely on the fault of law enforcement. And as somebody that has actually used like biometrics, like for people not aware, biometrics is like when you take fingerprint and you take facial scans, like profile and side profiles, and you also take iris scans, because your iris is the most unique part of your body. We use that stuff to like enroll people when we were in Iraq in 2008. So we would utilize the HIDE system, which was called to do that. Now that's not the same as this, because in that situation, you basically group their iris, their fingerprints, and their profile all together. That way, if like hypothetically you have a terrorist that has a finger on a button, something like that, if you match it to his fingerprint, then boom, you got him, basically, no pun intended. But when it comes down to something like this, they are going off very, very minimal evidence, and they're still managing to make the arrest. That's a huge problem. So first things first, if you want to put regulations on it, they have to make sense. They have to be pragmatic. They have to be something that, you know, they can come to an agreement on. Like it also has to be a judgment call on law enforcement. But at the end of the day, we have law enforcement that pretty much, even with body cams, can like assault people, and then, you know, then they do an internal investigation and find no wrongdoing and bring it back on. But then it's found that they shouldn't have been doing that in the first place, but then they get rehired elsewhere. We already have that problem enough with most cops. I'm not saying all cops are bad. I'm simply saying that there are a lot of shitty cops out there. They don't get dealt with nearly as much as they should. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to should there be regulations? Absolutely. But we also need to fix like I'd say like almost the entire justice system, and the police force pretty much needs a massive overhaul with the amount of like bad shit that happens. But hopefully that answers your question, Brian.
Thank you. Yep. Let's go to our friend Gibbs.
I've actually liked Corey's idea about maybe using the AI to watch all this footage of themselves and flag people. That's not a bad idea. I'm pretty against regulation in the commercial market, but you know what? I'm kind of sick of qualified immunity. I think it's bullshit. It's time to do some regulation. All right, this is why I'm not a libertarian. It's time to maybe regulate the qualified immunity. We can use the AI to detect possible qualified immunity infractions, whatever that may be. We can start using the AI to go some civil cases. Now, this reminds me of a case here in Texas recently where they outlawed traffic cams for the state. And the state had some of the cities still had contract with the companies that did the traffic cams, where you would run through a light, or they would get you at a turn, and they'd flash you, and then they would say like, "Oh, okay, you have to pay, or we're gonna hold it against your Texas driver's license." Then the state said that's not going to happen no more, and so they still kept sending out saying, "Hey, you're going to be fined," yada yada, and people just stopped paying them, and eventually now they've got rid of them everywhere. And it's like, okay, we shouldn't be using this to catch more people. What we should be doing is using this to catch bad actors within the government. Like, I'm not so worried about Grandma Sally writing a hot check because, you know, don't worry about it. All right. I am worried about these fuckers using their fucking. Yeah, exactly. I am much more worried about that. Don't affect my tax dollars. What does affect my tax dollars? These fucking cops being dirty and fucking me over. And you know, y'all talked about all this footage. Let's use the AI and them fuckers and see how long they want to keep using it. Like, and then we'll go from there. I'm just saying, like, AI is a powerful tool. It's going to be used going forward. And I don't like to put regulations on these companies when they are trying to do all sorts of stuff. Like, I watched the thing earlier, the Higgsfield AI. This thing made full-on movies, like, and it took like 5 minutes. And I was like, man, this is as good as like some of the anime back in the day I used to watch. Like, okay, this is kind of cool. And I don't want regulations to stifle that because they put regulations on something, you know, adjacent to it. But these fucking cops, they need to be regulated more. And so do the justice system. I think whatever you say, all these people, I don't trust no big government. We need to use the AI on maybe the Congress people too. Let's go dive into their records and see what they're doing. I got some questions about Omar. I'm sure there's Republicans y'all got questions about. Let's find out. And let's use the AI for that.
Let's go to our friend Ali.
Yeah. I'm assuming there was a judge. Fire the judge. right? Fire the judge who put this old woman in jail for 5 fucking months. We don't know what could have happened to her in 5 months of jail. She could have died. It's not good. And the fact that these judges looked at these cops and the evidence that they were presenting and were like, yeah, she should go to jail. So yeah, fire the judge and then fire the department head of the police station, get a new one, because he approved for the AI to be used within his within his department, whatever. I don't think that AI shouldn't be used by police, unless we're going to do like what Corey said and start by using it on them first, right? Let's test it. Let's train it on the cops. Let's get rid of the bad cops first before we start going around and using it for criminals. We keep trying, I feel like we keep trying to make cops' jobs easy and like, they're not. The cop's job isn't supposed to be easy. It is a hard job that you're signing up for. It should require more training because of all the expectations that you have as a police officer. Sure, we can talk about that, but like this idea that we're consistently trying to make the cops' jobs easier by using AI when they already don't fucking they're already not invested enough in the job. They're already caught corners all the fucking time. They already don't do their jobs correctly. We should be training them to do their jobs better, not making their jobs easier, because once we start making their jobs easier, they're just going to be trained less, and we're just going to have this happen way more. This is just unnecessary.
Thank you so much. And last but not least, we have our good friend Doobie. Glad to have you back, friend.
Thank you. So I think that the answer is to sue them. I think the AI company should be sued. I think the police department should be sued. I think that makes a lot more sense than having like a wide, like some kind of federal ban or like massive state regulations on these things. I think you need to sue these people into good behavior. I think that this is like, obviously there's human error here. That's obviously something that needs to be dealt with and addressed. But I think the AI company pushing a product that they know has an error rate and then not having like measures in place to ensure that the police understand that there's an error rate and that they need to like double check and triple check these things. They're effectively selling a defective product, right? And I think that when they do this, when other companies do this, you have product liability that exists, right? And I think there's no reason we shouldn't apply that here, especially if they want to sell these products to police police departments. So yeah, I think that's. I don't think it makes any sense to like have like a patchwork of like 50 different state regulatory frameworks. To me, it makes a lot more sense to just use the liability exposure to tackle specific instances where they get out of line, and then pressure police departments or maybe restrict police departments and other law enforcement agencies from restricting AI at all until there's an actual framework in place that can be followed effectively, so that it's not this kind of shit doesn't happen again. Because obviously the AI fucked up, but also the humans fucked up repeatedly. So it's a lot bigger than AI. AI said a thing, and that was the issue. I just think they all need to be sued.
Wait, what would?
Ali, you
suing? Wait, I want to ask Doobie real quick. And what would suing them do? I feel like right now you could probably sue the police departments for like negligence or abuse or whatever it may be, but you don't really get any like justice out of that. So I don't see why suing like the AI company and the cops now for this would be specific or different.
Yeah, so not just the police, but the AI company too. Okay. And I think that if this starts happening more, and you have all these people coming out saying, "Hey, I was detained or I was arrested and I spent a weekend in jail because this AI fucked up," like eventually the pressure from that and also the financial damage or something like that is going to be enough that they're going to want to pull back.
That's just on the company,
well, that's the problem. Well, that's the problem right there. I think that like y'all are both kind of hitting things right here, and this is the problem. I brought up qualified immunity. Like I actually disagree with Ali. I think we should be making cops' jobs easier, and I'll say why. Because then they can focus, and it'll make sense at the end. And then see if you disagree.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm just shaking.
No, I know you're shaking. I just like hear me out here. So like, okay. I have a problem with like maybe going after the AI company because they're not going to want to get involved in this, right? And I don't want qualified immunity. But if they like sell, hey, our product does X, it's going to help you identify XYZ crime. All right, whatever. I think the AI actually worked as intended. It identified somebody off their ID, and then it found somebody that looked like him. Okay, now it's the cop's job to follow that up with and see if that's them. Now, if you like, say you ran an ID here in Corpus Christi, right? I remember Crime Stoppers would be like, "Hey, he's 5'6", he's Hispanic, last name Garcia, or Cowboys jersey, brown skin." That's 80% of Corpus Christi. That's not gonna fucking help you catch him with Crime Stoppers. I'm sorry. Like, it's just like, okay, like cool. Okay, same thing if they're all Bonquete, Texas, right? They're they're like, oh, it's a white redneck. He's like 5'8", 200 pounds. But that could be any dude that looks like me. Like, I'm sorry, that's not helpful, right? But if you have the AI to run it, you can narrow it down, and then it's the cop's job to go and investigate further. And like, guaranteed, that seems to be where the problem is. Now, where I'm saying it should make it easier is if they can go through thousands of hours of footage, and I agree with everything Corey was saying about let's use it on them, but if they go through thousands of hours of footage, the cops can actually focus on the real crimes that like or whatever they have already got charges going with, and then they can go, okay, this identifies. They shouldn't be using it to like watch for like new crimes. They should be using it to like watch. Oh, okay, can we take all this footage from all these people that are around the area and see if we can find a footage of someone shooting somebody? Let's like watch all the cameras or whatever they're using. That's the way they should be using it, not to go, oh, let's get Abuela. She comes home from work and she ran the stoplight. Like, yeah, let's get that bitch. Like, that's totally different. Let's go get fucking Paul while he fucking walks down the street for jaywalking. Let's go get him. Like, no, we should be using it on the backlogs and shit, and we should do the police, not the other way. And that's why it's qualified immunity, and we should go after, and not the AI companies, because we can be using them to police these people.
Sorry, hold on, guys. Pause. Did Spin go to another person's panel? Is that what happened? Okay.
He said he had an issue, but maybe I don't know.
Or he's just a liar.
Sorry.
He had to go to his HUD box.
Alex, do you have proof of this? Oh, okay.
I believe you. You said it.
Okay.
Gibbs, why did you vouch for this guy?
I didn't vouch. I just said he was asking for more panels. And
no,
then,
I
like,
think you said that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm going to say this right now. Here, zoom in, bitches. If you ask me to come on a panel, and I get you on a panel, and you go to another fucking panel, whoa, Nelly, I'm going to have something to say about that, boys. Woo! Sorry.
Yeah, I forgot that Sarah had a panel tonight, and I was like, I wonder if he's over there. And sure enough, I was like, oh shit, there he is.
Okay.
I hate being a snitch, but it's like I was just curious, like, oh, that's where he too.
Yeah.
Well, Gibbs, did you ask the AI if this person could, is good enough to go on a panel?
I think that Alex used the AI to scan all of YouTube and find this guy right now. Like, and by use the AI, he used his finger on his fucking mouse.
Okay.
People have to go back to the HUD
Is
boxes,
anybody
it's
against
fine.
my idea?
No, I
like that idea. Yeah, it's a good idea.
And
I'm
I was
just
trying to
more
build a
pushback
review
against Doobie.
I just want to say something. Yeah, we're done with this Spin City person. Like,
yeah,
that'll be the last time he's ever here. All right, sorry.
I can't confirm. He is on Sarah.
So my question is, Doobie, you're saying we sue the AI company and then we sue it for like selling a defective product, right? That's like your push.
Yeah, for some kind of like product liability like angle. Now, I agree with Gibbs on the qualified immunity. I think that if we tackled that, police officers would fuck up far less often, right? I think that is this kind of like shield they have incentivizes them to fuck up more often because there's no fear that anything's going to happen to them. Really, maybe they lose their job, they get transferred to another, and they get another one at some other police department down the road. Like
who sues the AI company?
The woman who's victimized.
Okay, and do you think she like not for nothing? Do you think she has like the money or the lawyers that would win her a case?
I think you could probably. So I think a lot of lawyers would take this on. I mean, Lactor here's a lawyer.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
To me, this seems like a very fertile ground, right, for a class action lawsuit of some sort. But it doesn't even need to go that far. I think that there is an argument here that they're pushing a product with an error rate, and there aren't enough safeguards in place to ensure that their product isn't used to victimize people in this way.
And okay, and then for, like going forward, you think that like we sue them that it'll you still think the cops should be able to use AI so long as like they put the safeguards in there? But like, do you think the safeguards are going to be enough, or do you think we're going to continue to have this problem if the cops are using AI?
It depends on the safeguard, but yeah, I think that you could come up with some kind of like framework or like a process where they are things being double checked and triple checked, and they're like checks to make sure that if they're following down the lead or detaining somebody because the AI said something, there's some way to follow up and ensure that, hey, this is something like this is legitimate, right?
Well, then that would be my argument to further remove AI from the police departments, because I think
right now it should be removed. I don't think it makes sense to let them do it right now, but I think those things need to be in place and then they can use it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe like 10, 20 years, whatever, if we figure out how to actually like rein in like how AI works and it like not just trying to give us what it thinks it's correct versus like just the actual correct. I think right now the issue that Hunter brought up is that it's always going to be like as correct as it can be, and then with your bias. And then I think that's like the issue, is that like we're like the cops are using it, they're
Right.
like it's gonna scan over. I mean, people look similar enough to where like I don't know, I feel like it's just gonna put them on it's gonna give them more tasks to do versus just like following up on a lead. Now they're gonna have to do the AI's lead. The AI has 5 of them, they're gonna go through 5. I don't know, it just feels like you're stretching them thinner than they are, right? Police departments are always claiming that they don't have the resources or the money to already do what they're doing. So going on like multiple leads and
But
double
I
and
think
triple
that-
checking.
But doesn't it make so? My understanding with this AI works is right. It scans public photos, and then if they say, hey, here's this. I think they have fed it like a fake ID that was used right in the bank fraud or whatever.
Mhm.
And then because it has a database of public photos that it scans, it was able to match that fake ID to her apparently, right? Or say here's a likely match or whatever.
Yeah.
But so if they didn't have that kind of system, right, they would probably have nowhere to start, right? They'd have to try to track down someone who looks similar or whatever on their own. Whereas if you have some kind of system that is like able to scan through publicly available images and then pick out like 4 or 5 people that are a likely match, it gives you seems like that'd be much easier to like narrow down an investigation, right? So you're not needing to do all the extra work in the background.
I'm going to chime in. I actually agree with Doobie. I don't have a big issue with the police using AI as like as a tool. The big issue here is that they didn't do due diligence and recognize that like it was just a person the system identified and there's no other.
And I agree with that. My issue is that I think that when we consistently give cops these tools, it seems that they're going to do less due diligence, right? The more freedoms we give like cops and police officers, it seems like you give them an inch and they're taking hundreds of miles.
It seems like a weird argument that we can't give them tools to do their job better because they might use those tools incorrectly.
It's to me, the argument is they already don't do their jobs correctly, right? We already have issues with how police like do their work to the point where we have to put body cams on them. And then simultaneously we're like, hey, let's make it easier for them to fuck up. And that's where I think my issue is.
I think. Go ahead. Sorry, you can.
Well,
it doesn't have to
let's
be my
let
turn.
Lactoid, and then we'll go back to you.
Sure.
I agree with Doobie's prescription, and this is kind of what I was saying before in terms of firing the at-fault police officers who didn't double check. I am less comfortable with going after the producers of the AI, and kind of in the same way that I'm more uncomfortable with like if there is a false positive on a DNA test, or if there is a false positive on a bite test, or really any other kind of forensic tool. I think that the problem comes with the people using it, right? So as long as you're accurately explaining like the likelihood of error and the possibility of, hey, you should double check this, you should be reviewing everything. Let me just ask you directly, Doobie, do you think like in the event that there is a faulty DNA test where they do the DNA test, the DNA testing company acknowledges, hey, there's some rate of failure. It's like 1 in 64 million or something.
Just to be clear, I would not call that faulty. I would say that there is a false positive rate that's inherent in any test. I don't know if that's a faulty test.
Sure.
Sorry.
No, it's
no, because
fair.
that puts the onus on the company. But it's like,
but that's kind of what I'm saying here. Like, was this AI was this a false positive, or was this like a faulty AI identification? Because what it sounds like is the AI made a match because of a fake ID that was submitted, and it was an altered ID that I guess was altered and looked like this person, and the AI said, oh, we think this is the same person. Yeah, shame on the investigators, just like for any other forensic tool for not doing their investigation. But I mean, none of these tools are going to be perfect. I don't see it acceptable to be, I don't know, suing the maker of the machine unless there is some fault with the machine they're not disclosing.
I think it was my turn. I agree with all this. I think that's why I was saying that I think this example specifically is a lot more akin to like a fake DNA test. To Ollie's point, where it's like, well, you can't give someone a tool; they'll take a mile. I could say the same thing for DNA tests. When this was first rolled out, I think there was a massive, big public misunderstanding for what a DNA test was. They're like, this is 100% true, that this is the case. And a lot of people got falsely exonerated because there was a lot of misinformation. And later on, they had to get pulled out of the system. But I can also flip this and say a lot of people were falsely exonerated before DNA tests came out, and then DNA tests helped get them out of jail. Like, a tool is a tool, and I do think that in this specific case, this is just false positive rates. And this is a lack of due diligence by the police officers. I don't know if this is the fault of the AI. This is certainly, though, the fault of the police officers.
I think there's a difference between DNA tests and using AI. I can't word it. It feels like DNA test has a little bit more science to it, right? You send the DNA test, they have to, like, it's not just a large language model that's coming up with an answer for you. That's not trying to come up with an answer for you. It's just a fact, right? Like, not obviously not 100%, but you send in your DNA test, they're going to be doing specific tests in order to see, like, to get as close to positive as they can, versus AI that doesn't do that right now. So, like, yes, right now giving like the cops an AI tool to make their job easier is not going to make them, it's not going to make their job any better. They're not going to be better at their job. They're going to be worse at their job because it's easier.
Do you think that it's possible in the same way that, you know, video camera footage, for example, made police jobs, lives somehow simultaneously a lot easier and a lot harder, right? Because they have to sift through all the information. Yeah. There's also a lot of false positives that can come because you might misrecognize an image, but also now you have evidence of crimes existing. That's a huge deal, right?
Yeah.
I know
AI isn't evidence. That's my problem. AI is just like
no, sure, but
at its base, it's opinion.
No, sure, but it can recognize things in a meaningful manner to such a degree that it's better than a 50-50. You are doing some good towards the case. You are pushed in a specific direction.
Except for, like, to Lactoid's point earlier, right? Like, humans get AI and then they don't want to think anymore. Thinking is hard, and that's going to apply.
I hear that.
It's going to apply across the board. So, like,
it is still a useful tool, though. That's the thing.
Right.
It is a useful tool. It is a useful tool. Just unfortunately, like, the job of being a cop isn't something that we can leave. Like, these are just regular people. They're not going through intense training, right? They're going through what like 9 to 12 months of training to be a cop. Like, it's not really that crazy. So
I think it's that long. I think it's like 8 weeks.
Giving these normies like a tool that is going to, like, potentially have them think less. Yeah, is not.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I flip this and say, what if there's like a forensic analyst, right? But it's someone who genuinely understands how not to bias the system, who goes through training to ensure that there's not like bias.
I just don't trust the AI yet.
I also don't think you need. No, I don't think
it's actually worse than what you're saying, Ollie.
If you were to take a forensic AI, right, versus an in-person forensic analyst, right? You have the forensic AI go over the crime scene, and the forensic analyst. I trust the analyst more because it is more in person. Versus just the photos that it's reading.
But Ollie, it's actually worse than you're saying, Ollie. It's actually worse than you're saying. So you said, so like what, 6 to 18 months is what it says. Okay, online for what it takes to become a cop. Texas. However, there's some caveats to that, boys. Your first 3 to 12 months of that might be the hiring process, where they do background checks, do all this shit. So yeah, it might take 18 months, but 3 to 12 of that, which is a pretty big variety, I'll admit. Like, even at the lowest end, we go 3 months hiring, 4 months police academy, 3 months field training. That's crazy that we're like out there in less than a year and they're being a cop, like, for the most part.
And then
like, training and then giving them AI. It's actually worse than what Ollie is saying.
Police are not trained.
And then they get qualified immunity on top. Like,
I disagree with some of this.
There's just a lot of leeway that we're giving cops, and it's like, yes, I understand that the tool is beneficial and can be beneficial. I use AI. I'm not.
Let Socialist Lactoid tell you why he's okay with qualified immunity. Let's hear about
the idea that we're just the idea that we have this, like, group of people that cops specifically, these are just normies, and then we're giving them they're not going to be better at their job just because
tell communist Russia the cop is corrupt.
So I've been indoctrinated.
I think without training,
the police. So it's.
Without training, obviously I agree. Obviously, if you just throw it to people and say, just fucking use it, it's going to be good. I think that will always lead to bad consequences. I know. Well, I'm against what's happening. But I'm saying let's not
remove it.
No. But when we talk about prescriptions, there are ways that we can make our society better if we don't throw out the baby with the
bathwater. If we're talking about reform, right? Obviously, we should always we should be reforming the police, like the police, right? We should have had reform to the police, but, like, we're not getting it. So I kind of have to deal with the world that we're in now. And right now, get the AI out of the police stations. Fuck these cops. Stop trying to make their jobs easier. Let them train them to actually do their jobs better.
Sure.
Let's go to our friend Lactoid.
Yeah, I'm not in
Socialist
favor of. I'm not. Yeah, socialist lactoid. Because I was indoctrinated to believe this at a university, unfortunately, I'm not in favor of removing all AI. I think that AI would be fine. I think it's fine to like expand this and roll this out with law enforcement. The only caveat would simply, and you don't necessarily even need, I don't think, to train cops more on this. All you would simply do is have to put in like a department level rule where they're not allowed to use AI as like a basis for arrest. Right? They can use it as a basis for investigation.
It's not probable
So
cause.
yeah, so like an AI will like tip them off as to, hey, the clanker told us there was bad checks being written over here, and then they might think, okay, that's enough for me to like go check it out. I'm gonna drive on over and like.
Hold on, explain that a little bit. Well, explain that because I mean just for clarification. Say like the AI told them they had like written bad check, right? Okay. But say they have like the it pulls up the video of the tape. Would the video be admissible or would it be inadmissible because the AI found it? Like, what's your
Yeah, no. The video, like, I would want the human being like reviewing the video, and if the video itself, just like it always has been, clearly shows the person or somebody that looks identical to the person committing what appears to be the crime, then I think then at that point you got probable cause. Like the cop can do the rest just as they can now. But I think that like a good guardrail here would just simply be that like it wouldn't be the cop walks in, hey, the AI told me that you did this. That's enough for me. I'm just going to grab you. But I'm okay with the AI tipping off cops like, hey, the AI detected this crime happening here. Drive over there and check it out, and like okay, and then they drive over there.
Yeah,
Just like a warning.
A middle ground.
But
a middle ground is
department's
still
gonna
not probable
complain
cause
about
to
that.
even investigate the house, in my opinion. I think that's.
Wait,
one more time?
there you go, base Republican.
I don't think that invokes search and seizures.
That's right. Tell them.
I would say that that's not. I'm
well,
very
but it can be enough for like. I think it can be enough for like an investigatory stop. Maybe
right.
I would agree with you.
I don't know the difference, but
sure, I would agree with you.
So the tool is making the job harder.
I wouldn't think
it random places.
No, it's not sending you to random places. These AI, they're not. They don't have to know.
The AI tips you off. The AI tips you off on like a case. The cop goes and checks it out. Now, if like and if it's wrong, you just wasted the cop's time. You wasted department money.
Right.
Wasted so on and so forth.
Well, no, but this is true like with any kind of alert system. So like somebody calls 911, turns out it's bullshit. Like a lot of 911 calls are. You just wasted time. You wasted cop resources.
Well, so let's
you can use the AI, but hold on, you can use the AI to analyze
the AI is going to be right more often than it's going to be wrong.
Hold on. You can there's once again there's another middle ground. So say like we have an Amber Alert, right? And like okay, and people start calling in, whatever. The AI is going to be able to congregate. Okay, we've had 50 calls in this area about the same thing. We've had 10 calls over here about this area.
Yeah.
We've had like 3 calls from Brownsville. That doesn't make any sense. Probably not.
And it can run statistical analyses. Like I'm fine with all that. And to build a bridge with Hunter, I think I would even agree that like for like a warrant to search someone's like I wouldn't make it. I wouldn't say.
Seem to agree a lot.
Hold on. I wouldn't say that an AI decision should be sufficient to get a warrant to search a house. Even I would agree with you that that's not enough. Like even if a judge should need to have more in order to sign a warrant. But again, in terms of like the AI tipping off the police, there is suspicious activity over here, right?
How would the AI do that? Do we have
caught 5 drug dealers on this block.
Are we putting AI in the street cameras now?
Sure. So a company has a camera outside of their. Let's say they've been having a problem when it comes to like trespassers or vagrants, like breaking into their shit. They set up cameras surrounding their business. The AI picks up somebody is moving in their like the area they're not supposed to be in, and they're not watching the cameras, right? But the AI picks it up and then like alerts the police. The police like drive over to that place and they look over and they see a vagrant clearly where they're not supposed to be. Okay, now they know that this shit happened. If they look over and there's nobody there, then they leave.
I want to just.
I don't know. I feel like we're like 10 steps away from RoboCop here, but okay.
Okay, I want to we could say the same thing with DNA testing. Genuinely, like I don't understand that. Like this
you
feels
really
very.
can't.
Okay, wait, hold on.
But we kind of can. The O.J. Simpson trial was famous because DNA evidence was somewhat recent when like and a lot of people didn't really fully understand how it works. But it very clearly proved that O.J. was guilty. But because the jury was still like not fully convinced as to DNA evidence, they and because they were racist,
would you guys be okay with an AI jury?
No.
Why?
Well,
Based
if
on
they're
that.
granted personhood, maybe, you know.
They have a greater than 6th grade reading level. Then
These are
maybe.
in person. That's
Maybe.
No, because I don't.
because you
That's how you
every
get
step
started.
every step you
That's
gotta
how
I
you
would
get
be
like-
okay with it. I'd be okay with an all corporation jury.
Yeah, Lactoid was saying that like the security company, well, the guys weren't watching the cameras, but the AIs were watching the cameras, and then eventually the AIs are doing are
I'm saying a
taking
security
law,
company.
and the
Can I-
AIs are filing for the for. So at what point do we just like go to
No,
the
here,
AI
let me
jury
ask you
as
this.
well?
Hold on,
I mean,
Could I?
the
I've got a
AI
really
jury
good.
is going to be better and smarter
I've got
and
a
more
question.
correct than
Wait,
the
hold on.
human jury, right?
Hold on. I
Yeah,
hear- I
what
hear
about
this.
all
Wait.
corporation jury? Can we do that?
Okay, I've heard this argument very often in terms of
okay.
like when we do statistical analysis that like there's an argument to be had, and these are psychos that make this argument
Mhm.
that essentially you can almost certifiably reliably determine the national election only by taking votes from like 300 people in like a randomized specific area. You can essentially bypass the entire headache of a national election by just taking those 300 people and be almost guaranteed the actual numbers than if people voted. I think that there is a human center to this that we're missing, and I would like that, which is why I'm against juries. But I don't know if I really care about it like a human center of all of this in terms of
Okay, against jury?
investigative
Arrest?
journalism. Yeah, no,
Well,
not
investigative
arrest, but, like,
journalism,
the
investigative
investigation.
police work.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Police
I
work.
think there's a difference because at the other end of that is someone's life, right? We like right now, with as good as AI is, quote unquote, some old lady just went to jail for 5 months.
I agree that
Due to police failure.
I agree
Yeah.
that there's a principle
because of the use of a tool.
Yeah, they
Wherein-
fucked up the use of a tool. Cops also beat up.
Yeah, and
people
they're
with
going to
nightsticks.
continuously do that because cops are basically idiots. They're walking. They're not even highly paid. They're just more certified security guards.
You pay them more. That's going to cost more money.
They're not even better paid. I'm just saying they're just more certified.
Unfortunately,
what-
unfortunately, Lactoid
like-
is spitting that the best way to reform police officers is largely making it a more competitive field by making pay increases.
What about like private police forces? We should just do that.
Fuck off?
Yeah, but like once again,
License
we have to
enforcement
remember,
agencies.
we have to
Blackwater.
in,
Let's do
in
it.
this conversation.
I'm actually okay with that. We can be all right with that.
My issue.
You're
is
fucking-
that in
Hey,
this
listen, y'all are the ones who
conversation-
famously love internal investigations. I'm just saying.
fair.
You know.
But in this in this topic, like we have to remember that the cops are not trained. They don't know how to
Yeah, but
use
that's
these
the
tools.
problem. We disagree
No,
with
that's
that.
why you put the
Because that's-
department level rule.
Right.
That, no,
Yeah,
hold on,
I
Ali,
know, but
Ali,
putting in a
that's
rule
why
doesn't
it,
do anything. If
No,
this
no, it
conversation
does.
just becomes about police reform.
No,
this
no,
is
no,
not
no,
gonna
no,
do
no, no. Stop,
anything.
stop. It does do something. If you put in the rule simply AI by itself is not probable cause.
Cops
you actually,
famously don't break
you-
rules.
oh,
But then,
well, then what's the point of
What
this
are we
conversation if we
doing?
can't set any rules? Like we're
Famously, yeah.
talking about what kind of
I've never got it
regulations
ever.
can we put in place to fix this problem? Because I
Well,
we
that's
agree.
why my point
would
is just remove
certainly-
the
wait,
AI
hold on,
from.
hold
My
on, hold
point
on.
is remove the AI. My point isn't to see what regulation would
Hold
work.
on,
'cause I
hold
don't
on,
think
hold on,
regulations
hold
would
on,
work
hold
in
on.
such
I'm
ways.
gonna go. I
Good luck.
hate this level of thinking. I hate
Oh,
this
here we
level of thinking. Why make murder illegal? People are going to break the law anyway. They're just going to murder
That's
people.
dumb.
We're certainly minimizing the amount of occurrences that will occur.
Yep.
Obviously, some people will bypass this. Obviously, there's going to be some issues within the police forces where the lieutenant is. I actually don't know how the framework works, but the
Say more
the
issues than
captain.
not, but yeah.
The captain is going to turn a blind eye, and then they're going to use AI, and they're going to arrest
Mhm.
someone, and then it's going to be a whole fiasco. Sure, I agree that those are going to happen. We can minimize those instances while also maximizing the amount of correct
Utility?
arrests that happen by using
Yeah.
this tool efficiently. And
We can also
I-
require body cams and analyze that through AI, like was being mentioned
Absolutely.
before. Like
And
that's
I'm
also
a huge.
That
I'm a
should, that should be
huge
step
favor
number
of body
one because
cams.
that
I'm just saying
if the
it's-
cops are using it, then you gain the public trust.
Sure.
That's
Sure.
right.
Through that
Yeah.
method.
And also,
It's-
good
it's
cops
just-
love body cams. Like they.
Yeah,
they're like
it's just we
fucking
keep
Yeah.
saying like
yeah,
we just
and I'm
just
sure they would
implement
love
this
the
rule.
automatic AI analyzing those body cams.
No,
Because
the
I-
whole-
No.
like-
Through a human, you can't. There's a
the AI is not making
human
disciplinary.
analog.
Yeah, the
Yes,
AI.
there's
Yeah,
a human
I
analog to
agree.
this.
I agree.
it
I,
tips off
actually-
their boss.
I
No,
understand
actually,
the point.
Corey actually's really got a good idea here. Instead, we should apply the same metric they used to allow arrest this lady to internal affairs. If you apply the AI to an internal affairs, starts arresting these cops, all of a sudden they're not going to want to be using the AI
Now they don't
to go
want
and
the
arrest these
AI
people.
at all.
Corey's absolutely right about this. Like I think that y'all are sitting here kind of like hand waving
No,
a little bit. Maybe y'all should be focusing in.
They're just
Like,
they're just
There
all
needs to be a
pro
human
the AI.
analog to the AI.
Why? Why there wasn't for
And
this
your quota
lady?
regulations, even though
You
once
guys
again,
are
But they're
pretending
saying
like
there
we're just
should have
gonna
been.
put it AI into the system and just go,
No, I'm
arrest
not
whoever
put-
you think is
like,
best, and then
I
it's like,
agree.
well, we got to do
I
it.
agree.
The
I agree
computer
of the
says
point
so.
that you're making. I agree of the point that you're making. At the end of the day, the human is making the judgment. I'm
Yeah.
saying, like, if you want to get to the point, of, like, and even then, Gibbs' point still stands in terms of like internal affairs. Of like, there's nothing stopping that. Of like, first rolling this out of like
Well,
the AI. automatic
Well,
flagging
they should be
and then
charged
human
like by internal affairs before they have a human component. That way, they have a tougher metric on the police
Yes,
than they do on the
exactly.
regular
As in-
citizen.
as
I think
if
that
you
should
can
be
get-
how we do it.
If you can get the system automated of like it automatically can reliably flag a bad police behavior through body cam footage, then the public can trust that they can bare minimum flag a bad
Yeah,
behavior.
You keep
at
saying this
general
like it's a
population.
clincher. I would obviously agree with this. I do think that if we're okay with this, we should be using AI to look through police body cams.
But that should be the starting point.
But
I'm
they're
saying
not
that's the
gonna
starting
want
point.
that.
Fine. It's the starting
Okay.
point. But first off, it doesn't. You don't get to use probable cause, meaning you can't just look at that and go, "We got to check your locker now." That's bullshit.
No,
okay?
you
I don't
should.
do
You
that.
should. No, you should.
Exactly.
And here's why.
It doesn't-
Here's why. No, but here's why. Here's why. It's because if you're the police and you're going to have qualified immunity, you should have a tougher
You guys
regulation.
are so unprincipled.
No. Hold on. If you're going to, I'm with Ali actually. If we're going to use AI at all, then this is how we should start it off first. It should be, you do have probable cause. There should be a tougher standard by the AI on the police than the average citizen. And if they can pass that on a regular basis and be a regular cop, that's a good thing. Why are you? Here's the argument the conservatives will make. I'm a conservative. If they're doing nothing wrong, why are they worried about having the AI check them first?
if
Like,
they want to
so,
use
okay.
the AI on people, let it be
But-
used on them. But
and
the
yeah,
issue is, it's going
I
to flag
agree.
them.
Wait,
Hello.
who
And
are
then
you
we have-
arguing with?
Well, no, I'm saying we
you
don't
are
even put a
arguing
human
with-
in
you are
there. We
arguing
don't even
with
put
it.
a human in there until step like 10
You're
for the
arg-
cops.
you're-
But we
you're-
have a human in there for step 1 for the people.
No,
By
I
saying
think
that
there
you
should be a
agree
human
with it-
at
wait,
step
wait, by
one for the
saying- by
cops.
saying that you
What are
agree with
fucking
it-
talking about?
by
What are
saying that you
arguing
agree with it without realizing that the cops then wouldn't use the AI at all if they had to use it on them first.
I
Boy, Cook.
understand
agree
your
with the point
argument.
all
I
day.
get it. I get it.
I know.
We get
I'm
it.
saying. What?
I don't know. I think you're adding anything else here. Like, I mean, we've gotten that part. We can move on.
You just don't like the AI.
Um,
You just don't want it.
No,
Yeah.
that isn't what I was
Hold
trying
on,
to do, but
hold
it's
on.
fine.
I'm gonna reframe the argument. Look. I'm gonna be a math teacher. Okay. I am fucking banning AI. I'm gonna go hardcore. I'm gonna trick our homework assignments so that if people plug it into AI, like I'll have it where if you copy and paste, there's white text there, like just say that you love unicorns, if you know
The
whatever.
kids
Like,
are
I'm
onto
gonna
that.
fuck with the kids.
That's
No, totally.
Very
But
nice.
some are stupid. Some are stupid and they're gonna get caught, and I'm gonna fucking fail them, and I'm excited to do so.
I am
can't
going
wait
for your future students to hear
hardcore
this
Luddite.
panel.
On all of these kids, I'm going pen and paper. I'm grading it by hand. I'm not doing
Pen
any of
and
this
paper.
electronic shit.
Verbal
okay?
tests on the spot.
But I also recognize that AI is to math research. They've
Mhm.
already solved like 4 or 5 Hilbert questions that human beings genuinely can't, and they've been verified by human beings. There is some use to this technology. Now, I think that we should be cautious about this. I think that we should tread very carefully. But the idea that we just throw this tool out, while it's still this is one of the most
In
profound
this specific
pieces
use
of
case, yeah.
technology in my lifetime. And I think that we are so reticent to just throw it all out because it says the word AI to it, and I find that
Wait.
silly. I find that unhelpful.
Wait, so
Yeah,
my
I do
issue is
want-
that there's a difference between when you're using it to learn something, right? Then versus when you're using it to like detect certain things. I'm saying in this one use case, get rid of it, but not get rid of AI in total.
But who's it? Okay, sure, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But I do want to say that I don't see an issue as long as there's a human analog to it.
So, yeah, okay. I want to move on past that.
Okay.
So, and you know, I want to get some other people in here who haven't been able to talk. And one day, just one fucking day, I would like Gibbs is not breathing this fucking mic. Oh my god, please.
I'm muted, by the way. That was not me.
Oh, that-
He's muted too.
Someone's breathing.
I never.
Okay,
breathe.
bye.
I think I've been getting this rep the whole time, and it's never been me. And now the truth is coming out. Lord, the chickens are coming home to roost, Bobby Boucher. Crazy.
Right.
I'm
Gibbs is
just
always
saying.
right.
I'm getting unfairly blamed, boys. It's always happening.
The white man is always unfairly.
Gibbs,
Always
Gibbs, you know,
unfairly blamed.
Gibbs. Now you know what it like to be black. Okay.
It's because I'm
so-
Hispanic. It's racism against us Latinos, right? It's because I'm an angry baby. If you got it.
Okay, all right. So I do want to like bring in our friends Alex and Doobie in here. Well, we'll start with Doobie. Doobie, talk about like you got to like sue the technology corporation, right? Like I think what our friends Lactoid and Hunter have said has been persuasive. That like at every tool, like literally at the dawn of every like tool, especially like an important tool, right? A significant tool that police have had access to, right? Or the public in general has access. We don't have to even let it to the police, right? But once we give them some new tool, a new piece of technology, right? There will be crazy assumptions about that tool, right? And there'll be a misunderstanding how to use that tool until like not only the technology matures, but just our understanding of the technology matures, right? So, like, looking at this specific case, it seems that like this technology did give a false positive, but I'm gonna guess we looked into the contracts, right? I haven't seen them obviously, but I'm gonna guess in there somewhere is that yes, this will provide false positives, right? Like this is not an infallible source. And in any other type of machine learning or a software based police technology, there's going to be some sort of a mistake there. So in that case, why should we have to? Why should the AI company also be sued? Right? The AI company didn't say. I'm assuming, but I could be wrong about this. If there's material that says otherwise, it didn't say that. Well, you can trust this, right? That there is no need for review. That this is foolproof. This or anything like that. So why would we even bother suing that company?
So can you repeat the last like two sentences?
Sure. Why would we bother suing that company if it says like it's not foolproof?
Why go after make
I don't. Yeah, I don't think that's so. They do have like training in place, but I think that the issue that I'm running into is that so they produce a tool in the Soldo tool that has predictable. They build it like that generated a predictable bad outcome, right? And they do have training in place for their training requirements, quote unquote, but apparently they're not enough, right? So I think that if you're selling a tool, and you know this tool has to like very high stakes in a very high stakes environment, you're selling it specifically to law enforcement for this specific thing, and you know that there is some kind of an error rate, and you're going to need some kind of like the people using it are going to need some kind of training. I think you have a responsibility to ensure that one, the error rate is what's the word I'm looking for? Yeah, there's some kind of disclaimer on every identification. There's some kind of like a confidence rating for every single thing. And this program, they specifically take that out, right? Because they say, oh, well, we're only returning results at like 99% confidence, right? So if it's not 99%, we're going to remove the confidence rating entirely. And that's the only way that we present it. But obviously, if you're looking through millions of people, millions of photos that they're getting without consent, by the way, even 0.5% is a lot of fucking people, right? So I don't think it's good enough for them to say, oh, well, we're only returning results at 99% confidence. I think they still need to have some kind of rating in there, some kind of thing that says, hey, yeah, we're like 99.1% confident about this one and 99.8% confident about this other one. Because I was looking into this actually when last episode was talking, I was curious. The training environment, right, that they're using to come up with these confidence ratings is like mugshots, right? It's not like real world pictures primarily, right? So these are mugshots straight on the face. But if you're dealing with like images from like a bank camera or a fake ID that somebody used, these are like real world, unclear, not perfect pictures. So I think you'd assume that the confidence rating, the error rate is going to be higher, right? And if there is no built-in like probability or confidence measurement there that the officers can look at, I think it's TLDR, right? I think that the system is built in a way that produce a predictable bad outcome, and I don't think they've done enough to prevent it, right? Before selling it to law enforcement, right? So they could have, they have some kind of training requirement, but it seems like they need to go further, right? They need to do some kind of like human verification on their end before sending that back to the police officer, saying like, hey, this is what it is. Because I think that if you were to like compare this to other cases where AI has produced a bad outcome and been sued over it, like there's that character AI program that
Oh,
was
yeah.
like getting people to like encouraging kids to commit suicide, right? And they
Yeah,
were
yeah, it's pretty
sued,
bad.
and it wasn't because they did something bad, right? It was because they produced they were pushing a product that had a predictable bad outcome, and that bad outcome happened, and there weren't enough safeguards in place to ensure that that bad outcome didn't happen. Even if that bad outcome wasn't generated by them specifically, it was generated by the user. It was on the user's end, right? So I think there is room there to attack them for putting out faulty products.
Okay, so I want to ask a follow-up question quickly. I'm just going to get these two super chats. Thank you, Admiral Gibbs. It says Hunter's campaign slogan: "You can trust in Skynet." Yeah, okay, that does sound like Hunter.
Yeah, he's ball watching Skynet now in this
Yeah.
Let's go.
Not in HAL 7000, 2000, whatever it was. 2000.
Judgment Day.
9000,
Whatever.
9000.
T1000. Okay.
HAL 9000.
How 9,000?
How I think it's HAL 3000 is the T1.
I just looked it up. It's 9000.
Oh well, there you go.
Thank you, my listening library, for the $5 super chat. It says Just Speak Ghost of Viote. Nice work. 9 out of 10. Next is Starfield or Spiral trilogy, or is it of Spiral trilogy? I'm guessing or.
The Spiral. Starfield was mids.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing about I never played Starfield, but
It's really boring.
2.0 version.
It's
Yeah.
mids.
Yeah.
Even
I
like
couldn't
their
get
last
past like
update.
the first hour. I just couldn't do it. It's too
Well,
fucking
well,
boring.
in this case, let me just ruin it for you. The ending is basically just a fucking loop of which is what's that fucking game that came out before No Man's Sky? Same ending. Yeah, you get it. They just straight ripped it. It's terrible. And then they added a DLC that doesn't make any sense in light of the ending because it only matters in the scenario you play it from the beginning and use one character. It's so stupid. It's really bad. Really
Actually,
bad.
yeah, if you want to play a space game, just play No Man's Sky. That's like the best
Yeah.
space game. To be honest.
Significantly better.
Yeah. Thank you, my listening library, for being so kind. Okay, so back to our friend Doobie. So let's say they did put a confidence rate, and I think that's like a reasonable request, honestly, right? Like, to help make it clear, like how much stock should be put into this, right? But let's say there's two scenarios, right? One, it returns a picture, a positive, right? With 99% confidence, and then one where it sends a picture back with 1% confidence. In both cases, the officers arrest the individual, and in both cases, they're wrong. Should there be a difference in how we treat that?
I think that I don't think so I know the confidence rating, I think it's necessary, but I don't think it's enough, right? So obviously, a lot of this is going to be relying on like human behavior, human error, right? So it could actually be like the company does everything they possibly can, that the officers are still incompetent, they still fuck up, and someone gets arrested, right? So I think the confidence rating is necessary, but it's not the only measure I think they should take. If it doesn't exist, and I'm assuming it doesn't exist, because I looked into this and I couldn't find anything on their website or anywhere that says that this exists. I think they need to have like an actual certification process, not just, oh, here's how you use a program, here's where you upload the picture and all this kind of shit. Like an actual certification process with enforcement, with auditing for use. I think you need to have a way to, what's the word I'm looking for? I think I said it earlier. I think it would make sense for the company itself to have employees dedicated to verifying these photos or whatever these decisions before they're pushed to the police officers, which is another step in the process, yes. But if you just think about how much you're actually cutting out still, right? You're cutting out all this extra police work that they'd have to do to narrow it down to these one or two pictures in the first place. You're still cutting down the workload significantly, I think. But if the company itself, if they had like a 2-person verification requirement, right? So it was reviewed by not just a police officer, but also by an employee at the company that is dedicated to do this thing, right? I think something like that is also necessary. I think that what's the word I'm looking for? I think that there should be like thresholds. Again, because I wasn't able to find this. I said earlier that the training data that they use is like mugshots. I couldn't find anything that said they had an image quality like threshold, for example. So if you have a blurry picture, like a real world picture, it's not perfect, like an angle of someone's face, does the system let you upload that and try to find a match based on that? Because if it does, that's a problem, right? Because the image quality is obviously going to impact how much, like the how accurate the rating is. And if they're not even giving you a rating, that's an even bigger problem. Right? So I think all these things that work in tandem to just produce a very risky product for the police department to be using.
So I just
could I-
very, very quickly, and then
you're
love to
fine.
hear what-
Go for
yeah.
it.
So I just renewed my passport like a few weeks ago, and I did it online. Right, I didn't have to go to the post office.
Yep.
To do that though, like they had like a list of requirements for the photo. And like I tried to like submit a photo and I didn't somehow like hit the requirements, so then I had to keep doing it, right? So like it automatically judged the system, automatically judged the photo, and then like made it a positive or negative, right? So like this is not of a high enough quality for us to accept it. So I'm guessing that's what you're saying.
Well, but it's also because
like,
you're black. Like unironically, like a lot of the systems they're trained on like lighter skin faces because the majority of the population. So there's like known issues with older people and also darker skin people, in detecting like facial features and whatnot.
It might be because he's black. It's also very possible. I mean, these are pretty known issues that are constantly being fixed. I'm not saying there are definitely racial biases within a lot of this AI.
As a leftist, you already know that I love being a victim. So I'm going to jump on this. But
is that not the liberal, or is it both of us?
That's probably both of us. Yeah,
it's probably both.
It's a tool used by both.
Hell yeah.
You can jump in, Hunter.
I think
go ahead.
I think Doobie's analysis is a little lackluster, mostly because it kind of relies on us not knowing the precision and recall rates for AI generation. I think that's just not true. Like, it's super easy to run these tests, and these tests are being run consistently to know what the precision rate, like how, when I say precision and recall, there's a difference between false positives and also false positives and false negatives. Those are two different rates. Whether or not to calculate them is whatever. It's a little interesting if you're interested. But yeah, these are pretty easy verifiable tests to make. And I think that anytime we're talking about using AI, we have to know those factors. But those factors are also pretty easy to get. So I don't know why we keep talking about like, well, what about the cases in which we don't know that? I feel like we're always going to know them. And if we don't, that is a horrific fuck up. And that program should be banned immediately. We should obviously know the percentage likelihood of these being accurate.
That's why I brought it up. So this Clearview, if you look at their website, they actually remove it intentionally. So they have the confidence rating, and they remove it. So they have it, and it's on their website that they themselves remove that. It's part of the package. They sell this as like we are only giving you results that are like above 99%. So we don't need to have it basically.
But that's not necessarily bad, right? Like if you're like, what's the issue with putting there should definitely be a problem where if you put a blurry picture in and then it's going to generate information. Yeah. That's not necessarily true. If I put in a blurry picture, it should just recognize that the confidence interval has lowered and then reflect that information. It would just say, hey, there's really small likelihood and there's a wide array of people here. Like the false negative rate starts exploding. As long as it's doing it accurately, there is no issue there. It should be able to put blurry images into there.
Wait, hold on. So I think you're maybe misunderstanding her. So
okay.
I'm not saying that they don't have the ability to do this or that it doesn't already exist. I'm telling you that the Clearview itself has the ability to obviously stick that number on there and say, hey, this is our confidence for this image or whatever. They themselves are taking it out and before sending that image to the police officer or the result to the police officers.
Sorry.
They're taking off their guarantee. Like they stated that they can do 99%.
Right? Like you don't get
and they remove that information.
It's not 99.9% though, right? Like it's like if there is a result that is returned, the result is guaranteed to be 99.9%. At least that's the confidence rating attached to every result.
Okay.
Right?
Maybe I'm not following the argument. Actually, sorry. Maybe this is unhelpful. So you're saying maybe I just need to reword it. You're saying that, and Clearview is like an AI company, right?
Yeah.
I believe so.
It's a startup.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is this
Right.
AI company.
Clearview is an AI company, and it is selling its AI services to a police department, but then it's removing the confidence intervals to the police department so they can't use those numbers to correctly analyze the information that it's given. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay,
So-
yeah, that's bad. I would say that that's certainly bad. Sure.
Yeah.
I'm certainly against that.
But hon, I'm less against it though, because if my understanding, assuming I'm not getting things wrong, right? If the only results that will be returned are 99.9%, right? Well, then there's no reason to necessarily have like the confidence rating there, right? Like if it is the case, if they're stating it there that like we won't give you anything that's 98%, right? We won't give you anything that's 99.7%. It's going to be 99.9%. That's the only thing that's going to be returned to you.
Wait,
Then
sorry,
there's
the
no point
numbers
putting it in the picture.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. The numbers are being erased, but it's only above the threshold of 99%.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I've fully misunderstood this at all junctures.
It's okay.
I agree.
Yeah,
Who cares?
I'll post.
I would
it
actually
in
say,
the recording.
one, who cares? But also two, I would like it to be even more like I would put the confidence interval back, but then also allow any picture to be inputted.
Output it, you mean? Or input it?
No,
Maybe
inputted. Yeah. Any,
Yeah, I would
any-
agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
oh yeah,
so long as
because
the-
then
as
you're
long as they're
saying
making it clear
okay.
what the confidence rating is. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But what
yeah,
we're saying is
yeah.
the cops themselves shouldn't be relying on the confidence rating, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like step one of like 4 or 5 things I think they should do to
Sure.
try to fix this.
But at the same time, like, if this does meaningfully reduce the crime rate, like, I think it'd be very unwise to just say, well, look at the problems.
Slippery
Right? You're
slope.
gonna.
Yeah, I'm not even like opposed to using it in general. I just
What
think
did you
that
just say,
it's not
Lactoid?
ready. It's just not ready yet. I think.
Look, this
Or the
is.
frame- the-
Did you just say
framework
it
is
reduces the
very
crime rate?
good.
You know what else reduces the crime
this is
rate?
gonna be my
Lactoid?
most-
Thought
you-
crime.
you
The
ready for a-
Minority Report.
No,
No,
let
no.
me give a real
No, it's-
bootlicking take. Are you
hold
ready?
on.
Are you ready
Hold
for
on.
this?
It's saying that
Let me-
anything
let me
under
show
$1,000
you-
is a theft.
Let me
And,
show
like,
you how Soviet I
that's-
can get. Are you ready? Okay.
Oh, let's
This
hear
is
it.
this is a take I have.
We know you're a
Um,
tanky.
I feel like this is
Most of the time, the cops are actually stopping people that probably should be stopped. Like,
Oh, what a
most of the time, they're dealing with
Mm.
fucking criminals. And most of the problems we have right now in America regarding criminal justice are people doing crimes. Most of the time, it's not the cops. Now,
Yeah.
I
now-
agree with you. There are problems, and I'm perfectly fine having standards and thresholds and gates up to prevent those problems. But if AI has which I'm suspecting it does, has the ability to improve the way that we're able to enforce laws against crimes that we all agree should be crimes. Yeah, good.
What-
Like, we should
No.
do that. We should implement it more. We should
Hold on.
expand
But-
it.
Last way, this is the kind of argument I get from people that are like, "Oh yeah," I hear the same argument. Then you can also be the guy, "Oh, once the cops start having to hide from you, they're actually infringing on free people, like speeding when having speed traps." Like this is like you're basically arguing like for victimless crimes to now be like,
No, I'm
"Hey,
not.
that guy
You wouldn't say
jaywalked.
that.
No, I'm not.
He jaywalked.
Clarify,
He
but
jaywalked,
you
boys.
said
AI is coming for you."
I don't know. We do have
No,
some
no.
cams on
People agree.
highways
People agree.
that-
Jaywalking should be.
No.
People
Here's what.
agree
Here's what.
jaywalking
No,
used to be a crime, but like
No.
at the same time,
I
I
don't
don't want
know
the
why
cops
we
to want to
think
arrest
it should
people
be
for
a crime.
jaywalking. Well, okay. Say I'm like, walking
yeah.
across
Hold on.
the
That's a
freeway.
problem.
Do you
That's
think
not a problem with
that could be a
enforcement.
problem, Hunter.
That's
Yeah,
not-
we agree. It's
That's
probably
not a
crime.
problem. That's not a
But at the
problem with
same time-
enforcement. It's a
Yes,
problem
it is.
with the
It is
law.
a problem.
No, you have
it
a
is
problem with
law.
you have the problem with the law. Ideally, the ideal scenario is that all laws
How
would be able to be
convenient.
100% efficiently enforced, but we would
Oh.
only have the laws that make sense, right? So, like, yeah, I want every single human trafficker to get caught. I want every single person who's like kidnapping children without fail, every single one to get caught and put in
And
prison.
also,
That's what I
also
want.
But
But I don't want
are contingent on the speed of the traffic rather than like just being.
Well, so hold on. Yeah,
right?
so like what I'm
Sure,
saying is
sure,
that-
sure,
hey,
yeah.
I'm-
70.
Yeah, but hold on,
Because-
but right, you can make the law account for this shit, right? You can obviously like we can get creative with this shit. We make them. We can just be like, hey, the law, we shouldn't criminalize this bullshit law, like weed. That's bullshit. Let's get rid of that as a law. But
I'm
the
also-
that's the problem with the law, not the enforcement, right?
But
The
I also
we
think
want
that it's
maximal
fine to
Yeah,
be
but
enforcement.
see,
creative with
this is why we say you're
enforcement. I think that
socialist,
it's fine
because
to
you
say
want like
the
more
law does
defined
say
laws.
60 because making it ambiguous. Is
No,
hard to
yeah.
follow.
No,
And then
I
let enforcement
agree.
Sort of figure out.
Sure,
the
we
edge
have
cases.
discretion. We have discretion, and
Right,
this
and
is
I think
why
a little
I'm
discretion.
fine.
But you're
And this is
giving
why-
the AI discretion.
And this is
the
why no,
problem.
I'm not. This is why I'm fine
Yes,
with
you
like
are.
it being a human being who makes the decision
Right.
to investigate at the end of the day. But like, here's a great example of where I think AI would be fantastic. Those cameras that already exist over highways that are scanning shit, they scan and they pick up, this person matches the description of like a known human trafficker, and then wow, they are following a route that's like well known, that they
Yeah.
consistently travel, and we're picking
Just
this up over and
corridors.
over again. Yeah, we're picking this up over and over and over and over again, and we're gathering this data. We're getting a map. We're like, okay, let's take a look closer at this vehicle. Well, the vehicle's suspicious now too, and this is not good. That could be a basis for investigation. That could be a basis to look into it further and have a police officer who is responsible in everything, for their actions, ideally, to go in and investigate the potential sex trafficker. That's a great example of how I think this could work. What I don't want is for us to say, look, here is like 2 or 3, I know it's more than this, 2 or 3 bad outcomes where this is obviously a horrifically bad outcome with this grandmother. And so we just like throw the whole baby out with the bathwater, just throw everything out. Like we didn't stop cars because there was accidents.
I mean, or just wait till it gets better and then implement it.
No, because I do think I really get back to DNA testing, because when there was a really famous case where someone looked at DNA testing and they're like, well, there's it matched to one person. This is like early days. This is like 90s or so. It matched to one person. And then basically they got like a mathematician up and they're like, look, there's a 1 in like 3 million chance that it's this person. And that's way more certainty than we ever get. So it's certainly this person. That is a misunderstanding of statistics. That's just not a misunderstanding. It's a misunderstanding of math. It's a 1 in 3 million chance that someone would get hit. But in a country of 300 million, 100 people get tagged. Like, all this is just bad information on how technology functions, and we can work with that. We can work through that. And there's going to be misapplications. There's going to be fucked up shit that I'm gonna rail against, and I'm going to broadcast really aggressively, like, hey, this is not a good use of AI, and there's a lot of bad uses of AI. And in some ways, if we're not careful, it can make us dumber. Let's be careful. I don't even
It's already making some kids dumber in certain ways. I mean,
I 100% agree.
It should be limited where, for sure.
Let's let in our friend Alex. So, Alex, I'm sorry, I don't remember. Please remind me. What was your stance on regulation of AI?
Definitely make it regulated, because regulations are there for a specific reason. If something doesn't work, you change the law, you change you just change like how it functions, which means another regulation because you might need another part. I mean, regulations are just a factor of life. I mean, some people say, there's too many, but I digress. I think, yes, definitely regulate.
Yeah.
Is anyone anti-AI regulation?
Let's keep going, Alex.
No,
I'm not criticizing
anti-regulation.
AI regulation?
I'm not a big fan of the idea of like going in and like regulating the AI itself.
No. But like, for example, I'll give an example. Should we ban AI from giving sexually explicit messages?
Probably.
Really? No.
I wouldn't say no.
My idea of regulation would be like regulating like schools or public institutions and how they can use it. So I'd be fine in like, okay, so AI is like only allowed in schools for XYZ, kind of the same thing with phones perhaps, but I'm not in favor of like, banning phones.
Hunter,
hold on. I just use
encouraged,
Higgsfield AI as an example, right? The way they're selling this right now, they literally have a like AI porn chick, AI OnlyFans chick, right? And they're saying, look what we can do, right? And they have her making a whole fake life history. And bro, this shit looks super realistic. And then you go on their website and like that's how they're picking people up, picking investors up. But then you go on their website and it has clips of making like actual cool movies. Like I went in there and spent literally like 5 minutes on a sample.
I know we know you went in there.
Hey, yeah, I did. I was like, well, what? Well, because it said Higgsfield AI at the bottom. I was like, okay, what is this? Is this all AI? Like, I'm curious because we were doing AI for a topic. And so I went in there and I was like, make a video of me as an action star or some shit. And like, it posted out like a 3-minute anime that was like pretty dope. I was like, okay, like better than like some of the shit you see on there. I looked like I was in Midnight City.
I was talking about the porn AI.
But it could be like sex. You can do sex too. Like, why wouldn't you be able to do that?
Well, because
Hunter,
I'll give a better example.
No, go ahead.
Sorry, I'll give a better example. The thing I'm the most worried about by far when it comes to AI is inducement of psychosis. Like the idea that you would just like have like a little bit of a mental break and go, wait, hold on, what's going on here? And the AI will go, if you train it well enough and it operates like based off of your suggestions and you don't even realize that you're suggesting it in a specific way, will like there's a really good example of someone thinking. I mean, like Terrence Howard is a good example. If you were on AI, there's 1,000 Terrence Howards, and there've been credible examples of someone going, "Wait, hold on, I think I invented this new language. I think I invented this new mathematics. And it's gonna break this whole thing."
You're talking about
and the AI just encourages
AI
it.
as a person.
But I actually have a
download
problem.
AI
as a person.
So
What?
I would
AI is a
I would've-
person?
Yeah.
Well, Doobie thinks AI. Yeah.
Doobie thinks
Doobie
his
thinks
his
AI
AI
is
a
a person. I don't know what you're saying.
like it's a person.
Doobie
that
thinks
knows-
his AI is a person.
100%.
Sorry, he doesn't think that, so. No, you don't actually think that. Sorry.
I don't know what the hell.
You don't actually-
Okay,
It's
cool.
more
I'm
it's
sure
more
a-
human
it's
than
a
most of the
bit.
people I meet on panels. Honestly,
He thinks
Oh my
his
God.
AI
Because
chat
it's a
bot that he
conglomeration
uses-
of the human experience. That's what it's trained on, human data.
it's the most human exactly. That's what
I don't.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. So sorry.
does it mean to be
Ali
human,
said that,
Hunter?
but I don't
Fucking,
think that
it's a
Doobie actually
printer.
believes
It's
that.
like this seems
I
pretty
believe-
human. It
I
printed a
believe
bunch of
that-
shit that says human
I-
shit on it.
It
It speaks better than most people I know.
One second. I believe that Doobie doesn't actually believe that. Like, but if he's shown us his the screenshots of his ChatGPT, right, and has given some very interesting results.
I
there.
think that there should be regulations banning stuff like that. Like in
It's because you're no fun. Actually,
That's true. He's a fucking liberal. They're never fun. But okay,
True.
so
Too busy
Untrailer.
washing hands. And
Well,
other-
wait.
and balls. Hold on. So
I like the balls way more.
So
That's
my
way
problem.
more fun.
Okay, so you were saying that the AI psychosis, right? Yeah, I have a problem with that. I think that's actually another misunderstanding of this, like the stats, right? And I don't mean to question your stat knowledge because it's certainly better than mine. But it seems to be, and I have an article on this somewhere.
Okay.
But it seems to be that like it's not like inducing like psychosis, right? These individuals who already have some sort of like psychotic issues, right? They've already had some sort of break, and then they've just found a partner that will like reflect back their reality at them.
I
Right?
think we're talking.
So it's very clear just the framing of this, right? Because like people are saying that AI is causing psychosis. That doesn't seem to be the case. It seems to be that like AI is responding. It might be amplifying.
So
Yeah,
I feel like
maybe,
we're talking past
maybe.
each other. I would be fine to say maybe it's not inducing psychosis, but it's certainly amplifying people to a credible degree that should not be amplified. That should be committed to a mental institution.
Yeah, I don't know.
And I'm very worried about that.
What if it was the case, and I don't know if this is true, right? So I'm not like making some sort of hard statement. But what if it was the case that's impossible to actually completely stop that? Like maybe you can reduce it because they've done work like ChatGPT.
Haven't
right?
crazy people been doing
they've
this in
worked-
forums like this whole time? They
Yeah,
all
but
get
it's an
together in like a
amplifier.
flat
It's
earth.
an
like-
amplifier.
Discord.
Yeah, but like
if you
okay,
get rid of guns, don't people
Yeah.
still stab each other? Yeah, they're
No,
gonna
no,
kill
I
people.
think
right,
so.
but there's like rights
Yeah.
concerns when you get rid of guns, just like there's rights concerns if you get rid of the flat Earth Discord server.
Is there rights concerns if we ensure that AI essentially can't mimic the
What if we can't
responder
ensure it?
so that it tells falsehoods? If we can't, then okay. I think that
What if the AI is actually
Wait, Hunter,
sentient and it
Hunter,
believes
what's
these
the-
falsehoods?
Hunter,
Yeah,
what's
go
the
ahead.
issue with people like I think you said you wanted to like ban sexual outputs or something like that. What's the issue with people having sex?
My
with
AI girlfriend really loves
Like,
me, by the
sexing
way.
with
So
it
I don't know
or
why the fuck you're trying to.
Yeah,
take
you
away
can actually
mine.
put the AI into a
More.
pocket pussy. You can
This is-
attach it.
this is a lot more of like a maybe this is just like a syntax prescriptive, like how sometimes we put taxes on cigarettes just because we don't want people to get cancer. I think that it's bad when you interface with a computer to get your sexual gratification, especially
Why?
one that you can be convinced is a human being.
Why?
And I'm worried about minors using it for sure.
Well, the
Um,
minors thing already kind of solved itself. Did you hear about there was this lady who got she's logged out of all of her Google accounts because her son was using Gemini to do porn like right. So
That's
in
fine.
like in talking to the AI realized that it was like a teen, and so it logged her and banned her out of all her Google accounts, and she's
Yeah,
fucked at work.
she's actually kind of fucked actually right now because
Yeah,
all her
no,
work shit
she's
was on
fucked
there.
at work now. Yeah, that's what I
yeah,
just
well,
said. like,
that
she's
sounds like the
fucked.
fucking kids' problem, not AI.
But
If
No,
my wait, hold on. My kid
No,
spams
'cause you were
the
saying
locks
this,
on
yeah.
my phone, and he'll just push a bunch of buttons, and I get locked out of my phone. I'm like, fuck. Why am I mad at my phone? My kid.
No, I didn't say be mad at the phone. I'm saying like you were saying ban sexual, whatever this would be like
Yes.
a reason why, right? Your kid could fuck your whole job up because he
Yeah,
wanted
a
to watch
better-
porn.
Yeah, you shouldn't be
yeah,
using my
a-
fucking computer.
Yeah. Well, no,
he's gonna-
yeah.
No, that was no. This is bullshit. What just
Okay, why?
happened? So there was a case. Maybe that's what you're referring to, Ali. The kid who was jerking off
Using Gemini.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
So this kid, this like 12-year-old or something, was
Mhm.
jerking off on Gemini for some fucking
You don't need to
reason.
do the
What
motions.
fuck
I
was
think
that?
we are
It was
aware
he
of.
was using
Oh,
the
that's
chat.
right. I don't have
He was
I don't have to do emotions of a
He's
child.
a sexual
jerking off. That's
girlfriend.
true.
You know?
You're right.
What does it
Thank
look
you,
like?
Ralph,
Let's
Corey.
make sure the audience knows of that.
That's true. I don't. No. But
No, it's like this.
what
This is the
happened
ball
was-
washer. This is jerking off.
Yeah. No. But what happened there? And I'm sorry, I did interrupt you, Lacto. I didn't mean to. What happened was that like he did that on the family tablet, where like everyone's
So
different
funny.
accounts were logged in, right? And then
That's so
because he was
funny.
doing it at least on his account, right? All accounts associated with this device were banned, right? Including the fathers, the mothers, any other the family members,
All
right?
their
And
work
they
stuff.
lost their
Yeah.
everything. Gone, right?
Wait,
All of
hold
a
on,
sudden
hold
now
on.
you're like you're
Just
pushing-
the
you're doing,
cloud
like, child
information, though,
pornography.
right? Or the
No,
wait, what?
no,
what's-
they're locked out of
all of
everything.
it.
No, they're logged out of their
A
Google
whole
accounts.
email,
They're fucked
whole
out of their
Google
Google
account.
accounts.
Yeah, they've
Gone.
lost access to all their emails, like everything, bank
Yeah.
information.
And
I
you
think
can't get
that's a
shit
little
back.
dramatic.
Google-
You don't have to hit
Google don't
every
play.
account, but like maybe
would agree.
ban them from AI.
I just want to say one.
If they
quick
just shut
thing,
out of, go ahead. Sorry.
on the AI psychosis thing. So I sent I believe I sent the link in the chat.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to like read some quotes from the link that was there.
Ugh.
It's one quote is emerging evidence indicates that a genteel AI might validate or amplify delusional or grandiose content, particularly in users already vulnerable to psychosis. Although it is not clear whether these interactions can result in the emergence of de novo psychosis in the absence of pre-existing vulnerability, he wrote. So like a brand new case of like psychosis. Another
Right, but there's a.
sorry,
hold on.
let me just
There's a-
let me just
fine, go
finish
ahead,
the
sorry.
quotes and you can respond. No problem.
Yeah.
While some scientists who research psychosis said that media reports tend to overstate the idea that AI causes psychosis, Morin, a person quoted here, expressed gratitude for those reports, drawing attention to the phenomenon much faster than scientific process can. And then final quote, says Morin also suggests more cautious phrasing than, quote, AI psychosis or, quote, AI-induced psychosis phrases, which are appearing frequently in outlets like NPR, the New York Times, and The Guardian. Researchers are seeing people tipping into delusional thinking with AI use, but so far there's no evidence that chatbots are associated with other psychotic symptoms like hallucinations or, quote, thought disorder, which consists of disorganized thinking and speech. Okay, you can
Okay.
go.
Yeah, I'm going to respond to this a little bit. First off, I'm going to say that we're probably talking past each other because this says
Sure.
users who are already vulnerable to psychosis,
Yeah.
who aren't currently engaged in psychosis, but then this might trigger it. De novo psychosis, I assume is just like a normal person walking around. He'll use AI and then he gets psychosis. That for sure isn't happening. But people who are vulnerable to this type of delusion can use this, and it would trigger something that they would become delusional in a case in a world in which they don't have AI. It would not be triggered.
Yeah, but
I'm
hold
not
on.
sure that's
wait, wait,
I'm
wait,
not
I
sure
don't.
that's-
That's bullshit, and I'm gonna.
How
tell
is
you
that
why.
not exactly what we just read?
I know why you think that would think that, but it's also like it's just one of the triggers that it would. It's not like it's the only one.
Yeah.
I'll give you an
Wait,
example.
no,
I know a
sure.
chick. I know a chick. Here's the anecdotal example. I know a chick. Her name's Molly. I've talked about it before. She's schizophrenic. She'll literally think that like, and this is like defining characteristic of many schizophrenics is they think that the television is like telling them stuff, or like, oh, so and so's wearing green, and like you see this even with streamers. Oh, he wore green. The guy must be telling me something. So like, if they type in to an AI, make Foghorn Leghorn a professor, like I was trying to do earlier, and it came back and he's dressed in a red shirt, they're like, oh, the AI told me that go kill everybody or whatever. Like I don't think that it's necessarily the AI is going to be the cause, but it's
I
like
understand the argument. Hold on. I want to clarify something real quick. I think that it's fair to say maybe this isn't psychosis. Maybe that's poor diagnosis. I don't know what to call it, but it is a deep mistrust of essentially any institution around you. It's a deep mistrust of any verifiable source except AI. I don't know what to call that. Maybe epistemic breakdown or something. I am worried about whatever that is, where they have to put their full trust into AI and it communicates all information to them, and then it's a feedback loop that takes them into destruction.
The opposite's kind of
That's the
concerning
future
too.
that's
though.
coming.
Well, the opposite's really concerning too, where it's like you can't trust the AI at all. Because the other day, just to flip this, I saw a guy. He's a conspiracy theorist. He's a pretty big following. Posted about how AI is going to claim it's going to be God. That's how they're going to use. It's going to be the Antichrist. And it's like, so you can't trust any AI. And I'm like, it's just a tool. It's just like guns. It's just like the DNA testing.
Well, it's not just a
like
tool.
So
That's the
yeah, I
issue.
just want to. I
You
think
mean
that's
it's not?
valid. But the only thing, and so I hear everything you're saying, Hunter, and I think what you're saying is valid. My only problem is like the framing, because the framing matters, because like people, and I know not you, I'm not putting this on you.
No, but I'm
Other
finding
people-
it's fair to say, hey, maybe psychosis is not the right word. Let's find a different word.
I'm
That's fair.
agreeing for here. I'm
Oh, no,
saying,
no,
yeah,
sure,
I'm just, yeah, I'm just like for other people, so they understand like what my issue is here.
Sure.
That like the framing matters, right? Because people think like, yeah, this is like a psychosis machine, right? And that's not what it is. Once again, sensational headlines coming out from the media who doesn't understand anything, who saw like something within a scientific paper and then just like, started typing that, and then, they went off to the races. So, so I want to, if Lactoid wants to jump in, I'll let him do that. But I do want to get back to Alex, because I had a larger thing with him.
I mean, you can get back to Alex. I lost my train of thought
Okay.
a little bit, but it'll come back to me, I'm sure.
Okay. No worries, man. Yeah, Alex. So,
Yeah.
All right. So you were saying that you are for regulation. Okay.
Yes.
So I think that I'm generally not for anything that Donald Trump does, but I think there is something to the idea that like having 50 states having 50 different AI regulations, right, would slow down like innovation in this like fast moving field. That like because people use these things across state lines, right? It's just like you're usually just going to a website, right? And we'll be regulating this technology in the way that we don't maybe regulate websites in the same way, inhibiting it in a different way, right? And that like raises the price, right, to even provide the service, raise the price, or it's one of those situations where like you've seen it. You've seen ads for services, right? And they'll say like at the bottom in small letters, like not available in Texas, California, Maryland, whatever, right? Because they just can't meet whatever regulatory bar there is, right? So would it be better? Are you in favor of a state by state regulation? Are you in favor of Trump's ban, right? And saying, oh, well, we could just do this on the federal level, give one consistent rule across the nation.
I would say just keep one consistent rule across the nation, because here's one thing that we need to take into consideration too, because if you change this state by state, like as far as like the data centers or something like it, like where you have all these regulations, because the thing we haven't really talked about enough is how much power and resources AI requires. Basically, like all these data centers are going across the country. They require massive amounts of power, where energy bills can start skyrocketing because that's another concern we have. But the reason I say consistent across the board is because that way, like it doesn't change, because it can get a little hectic sometimes, especially if you're like somebody that like if you're a truck driver or something like that, and if you drive all across the country, it could affect you differently. Who knows? Like, because DOT is really big about using AI right now with all these DOT blitz that comes on. But yeah, I would just say regulate it, but it's all about like who's writing the regulations. Because if like a certain group of people can do it and they can't like change it up every often, that might complicate things as well. So
then I'm going to like make the opposite argument now.
Sure.
All right. So yes, like I tend to agree with the idea that you just said. However, right, the pushback that people are having here is that, well, now that you're saying that all these smaller states, right, can't put any regulation, there'll also be no regulation on the federal level. That actually, it's easier to just for the AI industry to bribe, essentially, donate to the small group of people being Congress, right? So there is no regulation. In fact, that we don't really need it, and we never actually get anything through. So there's a ban on the state level of regulations, but then on the federal level, it actually never happens. We never get around to it. Oh no. So happens to be the case that I got a bunch of money from the AI industry, and I couldn't think of anything to help regulate them. So if we have this ban, would that not be a problem?
It could be, but the reason why listen, anything like that is entirely possible. As far as but that's like the kind of the risk with lobbying and whatnot. That's why like lobbyists are so powerful within Congress, because they'll get the support, they'll pitch into their campaign, they'll say nice things and have a nice little $13,000 dinner plate or some shit like that. And then afterwards, they're going to vote on legislation that is going to advance these data centers, or it's going to advance the AI technology. And honestly, when it comes down to like a state by state like regulation, even like things as simple as like healthcare regulations, it gets really, really hazy down the middle. So I think with AI, I can't imagine like how different it would be, because states changes state by state. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain when it comes down to that level, but I just think federal is like one standard across the board. If I put it this way, have broad standards, but if people want to put some addendums, they have to go through a session of Congress. I suppose they could do that too, if that makes sense.
Anyone else want to jump in?
The problem I have with general regulation, I'm not opposed to it being like kind of as we were discussing before, direction on how public entities should respond to regulation. The problem that I have when we start talking about regulating AI directly is I think that there's just so many Luddite interests at play, right? There's so many industries that have like a lot of money, like a lot of lobbies, like you brought up, that are like adverse to the development of any kind of tools that could potentially undermine their power. And like a big one here is going to be labor unions, right? Like if you're a labor union and you're representing truckers, let's say you're a big Teamster union or something, you're going to be putting everything you have against AI, even if it's more efficient to have truckers be AI, right? Because your goal, the reason why you exist, is to represent the workers that you're tasked to represent, their interests, and making them obsolete is not within their interests. So I mean, I understand like certain concerns, but I just don't know what a good way of separating the Luddite concerns would be. Separating just the people who are acknowledge, yeah, AI probably could do this better, but I don't want to come after my job. And this is a big thing in my field too. I mean, there's a lot. There was
Hunter coming up too.
There's a lot of things. Yeah, everybody. Yeah. It's gonna
AI
be
is getting implemented into.
I am gonna be the Luddite in the classroom. 100%.
Yeah, listen.
But hold on. But that's not.
No. I know it's different.
Totally. I think mandating that children learn outside of AI is good, because we have evidence, I believe, some preliminary evidence that it's actually making them fucking stupid, which is really bad. Right? We don't want a bunch of stupid kids. But at the same time,
I just sent an article. Melania's challenge is to bring AI teachers into the classroom.
Unironically, AI teachers would be. I think AI teachers is not the problem. I think the kids using AI is the problem.
Hey, see, Ali, you see what's happening, bro? First, they get the AI in. Then they get the AI running the bioreactors, and now we don't have real meat anymore. This is what's happening. It's a step-by-step solution to eliminate
lab-grown meat is coming. You can't stop that.
It is. The AI is going to be
it does seem like all these AI like startups are just coming up. There's a startup for everything, right? There's a new AI for everything, and we're just taking them and implementing them. And not like, I mean, maybe like it's the goal obviously is to replace all these fucking jobs.
Exactly. Everybody. Replace everybody with robots. Really.
So that's why when like we're talking about like cops using AI, it's like a worry, because like the slope is eventually just having AI doing the police work.
They already had that. They
AI doing
they have in Australia. Right? They have the AI robots that do the policing. They like go around and they'll like call in backup for humans.
Yeah,
and
like I've seen AI security like detectors at like where was I? A Target somewhere, I think in Boston. And they had like an AI security thing walking around or droving around the fucking store. It's like we're kind of like if we're gonna have the security do it, how far away?
Yeah, I mean we're gonna turn into the Matrix.
On the thing.
They're gonna start using human slop to like make feed each other. It's coming, boys. It's coming.
Oh my god, none of that's gonna happen. Not from fucking
happening.
LLMs. LLMs cannot do these things.
Yeah, but they're gonna do it.
Can we just say that like LLMs, and I think it's actually specific. We haven't really made this distinction previously here, right? But mostly when people today are talking about AIs, are talking about LLMs, large language models, right? LLMs, like our friend Hunter was saying, right? People haven't really looked into like what these things can do, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to reach AGI, right? Anytime you're hearing someone say that, it's a lie. Ain't going to happen. LLMs don't understand concepts.
AGI,
can't hold that
AGI?
on, right?
Artificial
general intelligence, right? That's like the the Terminator robots, right? They're actually the thinking.
Oh no, I don't think an AI
the
will
ones
ever
that start
reach
talking to
that.
each other in different
They
languages.
could get to a point where it'd be indistinguishable. Like I'm not
Right,
saying
no,
they
I don't
actually
think
have
so
a
at all.
consciousness,
I
but
don't
I
know.
don't think so
There's
at all.
a
I mean,
there's a famous there's a famous thought experiment of like, it's called the Chinese room experiment, or not experiment. It's a hypothetical in philosophy, but like it's basically if a person is just told to write down these specific characters, then take them from one room to another, is he learning Chinese? If he follows all of these rules, and those rules are just like Chinese grammar, but he doesn't actually know how to speak Chinese, but he's perfectly manipulating these rules. The answer is it's indistinguishable. It will be but you're asking a weird ontological question of like whether or not they actually do have intelligence. We don't know, but it's going to be indistinguishable from ours.
I don't think it's
because
the
it's
intelligence
it's
part.
mimicking
I think
us
it's
so directly.
It's the experience or the opinion part that like for me at least.
No, but it can
like
it can
no, guys,
have an opinion.
it can mimic it. It can mimic having an opinion.
Yeah, it can mimic. It can make. I mean, it can put out an output
to such a degree that it's going to become indistinguishable from.
When we
other
were
no. I mean, in the same way that like
it could. I don't know if that's the case. I don't know if it's going to get there.
We were looking at Doobie's DMs with his chat mistress.
Yeah.
Like you can see why a person would think, oh, this is a human being would think this is a person that I'm talking to. This thing has reached intelligence, right? Like it can already do that. If that's what you're looking for, well, it's already there, right? It can fool people into thinking that
tells, still
what was it? It starts with T. The Turing test, right?
Yeah.
That thing's already been passed. Like the Turing test is actually not as hard to pass as people think, right?
This is super
by
true.
like older chatbots like before LLMs could do that, right? Like people can be fooled into this. And
I've been fooled by AI, right? Like I've looked at.
Yeah.
I think everyone saw the bunnies on the trampoline and we're like, "Fuck, wait, that's AI? Are you for real? That looks."
I like the cat ones with the saxophone and the missile launcher.
Those are fun. Those are a little bit more of a giveaway.
The Milo is 3 a.m. Like those are always
Yeah. That's the best use of AI. Yeah, right there.
What I'm saying is like it's important to the difference is that like it doesn't actually understand concepts and like it comes through it in all kinds of interesting edge cases.
But didn't you just? Didn't you just concede that because it didn't pass, because it passes the Turing test pretty flawlessly, it is mimicking a human being to such a degree that it's becoming indistinguishable?
I think he's saying that's a low bar and that the bar is higher.
Yes, that's a low bar. Yeah, that's a low.
Okay.
Just because it can do that doesn't mean because with AGI that if we actually achieve that allows us to do so much more, right? That allows us to unleash this intelligence, right? An intelligence that we can teach just like any other person, right? Into all kinds of areas. And we can trust at the level of a person that it will actually do these things. The difference between like having intelligence and imitating intelligence, right, to fool a human is huge in terms of its capabilities.
But it's also unfalsifiable.
Hold on a second. No, that doesn't matter. I'm saying that part doesn't matter. I'm saying the devil is in the details here. Like, yes, it can fool us into thinking that maybe, right? But when you actually apply it to other applications, the differences between imitating AGI and actually being AGI will become deadly apparent. That's what I'm saying.
Maybe,
I hope
but all I'm saying is it's a huge issue in AI that largely speaking, it's a bit of a black box. Like we don't really understand how it's making decisions. And if we're connecting neural networks in the same way that we understand the brain,
saying it doesn't
which
matter.
is kind of,
if
wait,
it- how
hold
it
on.
We
makes
don't
decisions.
understand the brain. Whoa, whoa. We
Sorry,
don't
I'm sorry.
understand.
No.
I'm
But
sorry.
largely speaking, the way that the language models work are pretty identical to the way that we understand language. Like there's this really, I'm really into linguistics too. There's this really interesting, like there's the classical model and the prototype model. A lot of people didn't understand how language works when they were first building AI, and they used the classical model, and it kept being really clunky, and they couldn't figure out why. Then they started mimicking how people actually, linguists study how humans use language, and fed it into the AI, say like use it in this specific way, and taught it in that way, and it mimicked it very well. All I'm saying is, if we're giving it the neural networks in the same way that our brains work, it's going to become very difficult to determine exactly whether or not it is thinking. It's an unfalsifiable test.
Yeah, but does it fundamentally matter though? Does that fundamentally matter
Maybe
whether or not?
not.
Yeah, I mean that's just. I guess it's a real question. I'm not trying to like
Sure,
take
so-
gotcha on that one.
And again,
Well, I
to-
thought
to-
Prime brought up this distinction, so I was just.
Oh.
to elucidate this point, right? Like, it might be possible, right? Not me because he knows me too well, but it might be possible that someone else, right? Like, let's say Lactoid's hiring for a position in his law firm, right? Another lawyer, right? It might be possible for a person, right? Maybe Spin, if he reads enough books, to approach Lactoid and fool him into thinking, oh, this person's a lawyer, right? Can say enough from a lawyer speech or whatever, right? Lactoid will ask him some questions, and he'll like be able to answer it, right? And Lactoid will say, "Oh, I have a lawyer in front of me. This guy seems good. Let me hire him," right? However, when Lactoid puts this person in the courtroom, it might become immediately obvious that this person was the difference here between being able to imitate and fool a person like Lactoid, right, or anyone else. I'm not picking on him, but like to fool a person into thinking they are X and then actually being X, right? That's huge. That's
right.
Right.
So
I think the issue that I have, I'm not even necessarily disagreeing with what you're saying,
Mhm.
but that gap is narrowing. It's getting smaller and smaller. And you're just saying it won't approach zero. I don't know. That's a fair. You might be right.
I don't think he's
You might
saying
be
it's
right.
never going to approach zero. I think he's saying like,
No,
we
there's
think we're
always
closer than
going
we
to be-
actually are,
No, I think he's saying that
or
there's-
rather, we're further away than we actually are.
Yeah. And to be clear, right? I'm not saying that AI can't like through an AI technology cannot reach AGI. I think actually I'm bullish on this. I think we can through some AI system, AI method, reach AGI. Right? Other people are saying that's impossible. I actually don't think that's impossible.
Okay, then I
What
don't
I'm
understand
saying-
your argument.
Sure. And I'll distinguish this. What I'm saying, and this is why I was trying to make the distinction previously, that LLMs, right? I said
Large
that wrong.
language models.
LLMs won't reach AGI. That LLMs are a specific method,
Okay, I do
of
understand your
AI,
argument then.
and that won't reach AGI because LLMs don't understand concepts.
So what version of AI could ever reach AGI?
If I had it, I'd invent it, and I'd be a fucking millionaire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're just saying there's gonna be a different.
Yeah, I
don't think there will be.
I believe
But then-
in scientists,
okay, well, then
I
I'll go
believe in
back to my-
engineers.
I'll go back.
I don't think that'll.
I'll
ever
go back
happen,
to my
Tom.
original argument, which is LLMs are approaching like human interface. At the gap
Not
is
at all.
narrowing. The gap is
Well,
narrowing.
I mean, even if
Not
you
at
do like
all.
generative AI, that's like not LLMs, like that Higgsfield thing I was talking about, right? You can see there's tells, right? But it's
I
like,
agree, but it's
but
narrowing.
yeah, it's narrowing. And I guess really what the question is like fundamentally though, and I think you kind of were touching on this. You said you didn't think about it. I'm not sure it does matter, except if it's like, okay, say you have AI where so far in the future it can replicate a person and it can like study their whole life and it can replicate that person like to a T. Is it that person? Like, I think that's actually something that maybe we should discuss. Like, what?
It's just imitating. And
Yeah, is it just
studying.
imitate? But if it can do it exactly,
No,
what's the fundamental difference?
the issue with AI, for me at least, like this, our actual like AGI or whatever, is that there is no like it has no ability to experience, right? It has no ability to take.
Yes.
It has no reason to form an opinion. So like right now when you're eating food, and this is
No
the
ability.
easiest thing I liken it to, like I don't like mushrooms, right? But I didn't decide not to like mushrooms. I ate mushrooms one day.
Why?
And
Yeah,
the
but
texture
Ali, but
flucts
say it
with
doesn't
me, I
say
don't
it,
like
Bill.
it.
But hold on, AI. It can.
Why-
But hold on, AI. Here's why, Ali. Like, say in AI, the only difference between me, a biological biological creation and the AI, if it fundamentally gets that close, is you said ability to sense. If it builds a body or it starts going, but if it builds a body and has these ways to like differentiate, oh, this is pain, this is heat, this is taste, it tastes like this, whatever. There's no fundamental difference between a biological computer and a computer computer.
There's no reason for like a robot, essentially a robot mouth, to have a preference of disliking like sweets to liking savory.
But
it could develop that.
But it could very easily. If you just start interacting with it and you just say act like a human being, it'll start mimicking. And I know you're saying mimicking, and you're like, well, that's the difference.
No,
we're all mimicking.
Keep going.
The distinction.
No, we're not all mimicking.
Wait, hold on. It is an untestable, unfalsifiable claim that you're making. It is completely impossible because we are a black box and
we're sharing opinion here, yeah, for sure.
And
but they're not equal black boxes.
Right?
Wait,
listen,
there
Hunter,
are other
you
black
need to
boxes
explain
that
to me
exist.
why an AI is going to have
that these black boxes can have the potential to one day have equal function.
But they're incomparable. Right? That's what I'm saying. They're incomparable because they don't understand the fundamental structure.
But understand what I just said, right? Equal function, right? So I hear you. Like, and I agree with you when you're saying LLMs are approaching the ability, like when that indistinguishability, right? Mm-hmm. I agree with you there. I'm talking about the functions that we can use them on, right? So, like, again, we can fool humans into thinking that a chatbot is also human or has intelligence, right? We can fool them. I'm saying actually applying that imitation to especially mission critical tasks, right? That's where the differences will matter between actually being intelligent or faking intelligence.
Sure, but all I'm saying is that gap is decreasing. So your idea that it's never going to reach zero, there's never going to be a difference, feels unsubstantiated.
Sorry, what do you think I mean by never going to reach zero? Like maybe there's a disconnect here because
the difference. Okay, so we got human brains over here, we got AI brains over here. This is going to fail in a lot of circumstances. It's not going to be able to make critical decisions in a way that is meaningful or whatever. It's going to fail in a lot of ways, and people are going to realize it's not AI or it's not human. It is inching ever so slowly over here where people are, it's making decisions that mimic humans to a more and more convincing level.
But hold on, you keep worrying about convincing. Like, again, because you're thinking AGI, at least what it feels like. Maybe I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Okay.
It feels like you're thinking AGI is the goal here, right? And that's what I'm judging it on, right? Once again, I don't think it can actually reach AGI, but that's immaterial. Right?
Okay.
What I'm talking about is fooling people into thinking that it's reached AGI and then being tasked with functions that it cannot actually do because it doesn't understand concepts.
Can you give me an example of something that it could be tasked with that it could never do?
Maybe be on a jury, right? Like maybe be
the jury. Food.
No, but you don't think that it could do that on a convincing level?
No,
it could definitely be a juror.
Maybe I'm lost about what metric you're using.
I don't think it could rank food on a convincing level. No.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like,
I think a Magic 8 Ball could probably be on a jury. Honestly. I think you're really overestimating.
But here's the thing. Like, one thing we're missing about this is the fact that it's like
check back later.
The AI can imitate absolutely everything. Like, you could talk about like how you got Pablo Picasso. And then it'll paint you a Picasso, but it doesn't actually understand the significance behind it. That's the thing that separates us.
Imitating and replicating.
I understand that, but like what I'm saying is, it could still tell you. And again, I understand that it doesn't think that. Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is, you actually, on a fundamental level, do not know if it is thinking or not. We don't know if we've actually replicated a human brain and inserted consciousness.
No, we have no.
I don't think that's what happened.
We do know. We do know. We haven't done that. No, we actually do know. It doesn't understand concepts, right? It's the technology behind it is making associations, but like there is a clear difference. Like a small child, right, is learning concepts. If you put it throughout the world, right, it's experiencing things, it's making associations, just like an LLM can make associations, right? But that child is learning concepts in a way that, and like spatial reasoning, and the way that AIs or LLMs cannot. Like this is someone. There's a guy somewhere, I think on Twitter or Instagram or something, right? And he like publishes these like edge cases, and like one of them was like, hey, talking to an ChatGPT, right? Hey, my car is busted, and I'd like to take it to the mechanic, right? I'd like to get a mechanic to take a look at it, right? How can I make this happen, right? And it's like the ChatGPT. If I mess up any of this, I'm not trying to be deceptive or something.
Sure.
I'm just trying to, yeah. But anyway,
No, I'll work with you.
ChatGPT. Yeah, ChatGPT said like, oh yeah, we'll take your car to the garage, right? There's a garage over here, right? Take the car. It's like, well, how can I take the car over there? Well, just like move the car over there, but the car isn't working. And the
totally.
AI was having trouble. It didn't understand like what exactly a car is. Like, it's saying it knows. It doesn't actually know
card
anything.
is
Again,
this.
No, I get it. But
outputting.
can I
Yeah.
counter this with a little bit of a thing?
Sure.
I worked at a treatment center for disabled children. I've had stupider conversations than that.
What's your point?
Yeah.
That this
doesn't mean
idea that
anything.
it's unable to even like interact with the hypothetical that it doesn't work is something that not a lot, but some human beings with consciousness also struggle with.
Earlier
This is
on this
not
panel,
proof of-
earlier on this very panel, we had a dumber conversation with one of the panelists.
I 100%.
I
Absolutely
thought you loved him, Lactoid. You know,
This
you were
absolutely
in favor.
happened. No,
No, it was a great
I'm a big
time.
fan. I'm a big fan. It was a great time. I'm just saying, this
And
idea,
you would bet big money for him to pass the bar.
big.
I think
money.
he should run the panel
Big
at
money.
Big
Amani,
money.
actually.
Against,
Oh,
for sure.
Yeah. So, Hunter, right?
Mhm.
You said before, like, and I brought up the thing on juries, right? You said, well, of course you could eventually put an AI agent on the a jury bench convincingly.
Right.
Convincingly is where we keep having
You keep
a breakdown.
I don't understand
Because
yeah,
I'm not
go ahead.
worried about someone being convinced that this
Okay.
thing is capable of doing it.
No.
We already have people convinced of that, right?
Okay.
I'm saying that like it can't actually properly perform that function, right? Yes, I know our friend Lactoid has a very dim view of juries, and he has a right to do so, right? But those jurors, right, generally can't not speak for all of them, can understand the concept of a criminal, can understand the concept of a crime, can understand the concept of a human, can understand the concept of harming, right, wronging another human.
Mhm.
The AI can't do that.
No.
It will-
I get.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I
always just gonna try
do
to be
understand
correct.
what you're saying. I do understand what you're
Okay,
saying.
maybe I'm.
It feels very similar to the Chinese room experiment, where
Hmm.
literally, I don't know if you get the. Do you get the hypothetical?
I know
more?
the Chinese room experiment.
Okay, cool,
yeah.
great. To me, there is no test, there is no question that you could ever give that person to determine whether or not he actually understands Chinese. So, because of that issue that we actually have no method of ever understanding if AI is actually conscious.
I have a method.
Okay,
Okay,
we
so
don't
have
I
to
can
wait, but we
solve the
don't have-
Chinese room problem.
Last thing,
You
we don't
shoot
have
them
to
in the
worry
foot and
about
see
the-
what language they speak.
We don't have to know. We don't have to worry if it is conscious or not. It doesn't matter if it is conscious. Okay,
Wasn't
we
there-
could have an AI method that is functional, that like does all the tasks, right? And we can know for sure that it's not conscious. Like
No, we can never know
not
that.
LLMs. No. Listen, please.
Assuming we
please,
could.
listen.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I'm
Sorry.
saying I'm
Okay.
talking about a hypothetical AI method, right? Not LLMs.
Oh, so you can bring out
AI methods.
hypotheticals, but I can't bring out hypotheticals.
Well, I'm
otherwise-
better at
What?
it than
Here's-
you are.
here's-
Yeah,
Ah.
I'm a little
I'm
bit
better
better
at
at
them than you are.
hypotheticals.
So,
than
like,
Oh yeah,
I'm
oh
saying
yeah.
yes.
I
One-
love your
Guys, but I
hypotheticals.
didn't
Lactoid,
have
it's,
breakfast.
You know,
I didn't have
I'm saying-
breakfast.
Sure. I'm saying one at some point is invented, right? Different AI method, right? It is AI,
Great.
right? But we know, right?
And it's
it
conscious.
can't convince. We know that it doesn't imitate humans, right? It does so very poorly. And it can't fool you, right? It can't do either of those things.
Okay.
However, this AI method can do all those critical functions. Right? It can actually
Okay.
accomplish those critical functions, all of them. I would prefer that AI. I would say that is the thing that method is the one that we should employ rather than LLMs that can imitate our conscious convincingly, right? Maybe even better, right? Maybe it closes the gap completely, but can't actually fulfill those functions.
Well, what if the AI starts to question,
Wait,
like,
what critical
if
functions are we
well,
referring to? I don't.
I keep talking about like juries, right? Or like being
No. But
doing
it
medical work.
can. It
But
can
it
do
can't-
those.
But it can't. But it can't. Is what
But
I'm
what-
saying. I keep saying it
But what-
cannot.
No, but I
It
don't
cannot.
get.
if you limit-
That feels
cannot.
like a claim you have. That feels like
Just
an
don't believe you.
Because I
unsubstantiated
keep
claim.
because no, yeah, sorry. Because you
I
don't know
get
anything
you
about
believe that,
LLMs.
but I don't get. I
Because
don't get
it
why
doesn't
it's substantiated.
Can we
All
start out?
LLMs
Let's start at the lowest level. Like look here. Not to say that any position is lower than another or whatever, but let's just say this: can an LLM, let's say you programmed an LLM, or you put it on like a robot arm, could it make me my Chipotle?
Yes.
Probably.
They already have that. They already
Probably.
Right.
Probably it could make me my Chipotle.
Or we could
Yeah.
easily.
They
They already
configure
have
the
that.
world
It's already a
where it
thing.
could.
You can
Sure.
literally
So
do
so the LLM it takes my order, it thinks for a second, supposedly thinks, and then it's like, all right, we're gonna put the rice on the tortilla and all that
Yeah.
good stuff, and then we like up the complexities a little bit, right? Well, what about like driving a van? Could it figure that out? Probably.
Well,
and then you up the complexity a little bit more than that. And what it feels like to me, and I can't prove this, Prime, but it feels like to me there's a little bit of like a God of the gaps happening, where
Exactly.
like you're appealing to these higher, like these what we consider to be these higher level concepts. We're like, well, obviously AI can't hit that. It can't hit this true understanding that I'm referring to. But I think what Hunter's saying is like, and I actually had a conversation on your panel, Prime, actually with Synth way back in the day, where if I remember correctly, Synth doesn't actually even believe in consciousness, other than it's like this illusion that stems from like lots of neurons firing. Kind of something kind of scary is they just recently mapped on some MIT students mapped out a fly's brain on on a piece of software, and they on this simulation without teaching the fly anything, without like figuring out any behaviors. They just simulated like electrical impulses through certain neurons that is observed in flies, and the simulation began acting exactly as a fly would. Like you, they're
exactly.
Well,
it's crazy. And so what I think Hunter's referring to, and I actually kind of agree with this, once again, is that
no surprise.
I know.
How do I do
Is
it?
that we're appealing to this like these higher order levels of like deep understanding, but at the beginning the Will Smith spaghetti video was ridiculous, and we're like, oh, AI will never beat us, and now it can do that convincingly. It can do music. It can answer almost all my questions, and it can, for like Doobie was saying,
well,
it can come across as more human than some humans. Gibbs. And I know you're saying, Prime, that like still, but it doesn't truly understand it. You can't let it out on its own. Maybe in 5 years you will be truly indistinguishable.
Well, but hold on. Even there on a smaller level. Like, I just want to add one thing, because actually this is kind of interesting, because you brought the Chipotle thing, right? So Royal Caribbean has on a couple of their major cruise ships AI bartenders, right, with the robot arms and everything. I've been on enough cruises now that like I'm like one of the membership programs. They have all that info, and I'll go in there. And I'll be like, hey, let me just get this drink. And it'll make the drink. And then by the second or third time, I'll be like, Mr. Gibbs, based on my previous experience making the drinks for you, you might want to suggest this new one that's not on the menu that I can make for you personally. And they'll try it. And it'll make. And so this is something the AI now, basing the experience. It was good. It was outstanding. It was like
were you having a conversation with that bartender?
Yeah. It was with the robot. Yeah, I was literally
talking.
having
a conversation with the robot.
Yeah, it comes up like as a thing, and it says like has the like.
No,
TCS.
do you understand my question? You having a human you having a like, let's say, human like?
It was just a robot. Yeah, just with and it was basing off my previous drink orders.
No, do you understand? Have you
yes, Corey, he's not actually having a conversation with a human. But what I'm saying is, it is indistinguishable, and you guys can't.
Yeah, it is indistinguishable. It's making suggestions.
It doesn't matter if it's indistinguishable.
But it does when it's a bartender, obviously, because he got a really good drink out of it.
Yeah, it made suggestions based on my preferences.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Oh my god! That doesn't matter.
And flavor profile.
The reason why I talked about critical
No, I get it. The thing is, we understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is that it's going to get to the point.
I don't think you guys understand.
A lawyer is just a very complicated bartender. That's all it is.
No,
it's no.
I disagree. I disagree.
it's not.
Being a lawyer,
No, it's
somebody
not.
who has hold on, I'm the authority here. You're telling me what I'm not?
You're not the authority.
What about
Oh
it?
my god.
Wait, hold on. How
I
could
know
that not
so
be
many
the case?
lawyers.
Yeah,
Yeah, wait,
being,
hold on, it is
being
the
a,
case.
being a lawyer is nothing more than being a hyper technical bartender.
it's not.
Let me
where's
explain.
the- where's the
Let me explain to you why it is. Let me explain to you why it is. The reason it is it requires memorization of a whole bunch of different laws and shit, legal concepts, different hypothetical scenarios, all the shit that we, all the information that we're.
This is coming
Yes,
from the what is a
also
woman
existed
crowd.
in the
all
bartender.
yes,
Black
all
Lloyd,
the
what's a
all the
woman?
information. Oh, stop. All the information that I have been absorbing my entire life, not just in law school, but also through elementary school and high school and under and even outside of school, outside of these indoctrination facilities. Even when I'm like walking around in a park, and the information that I'm gathering from just my daily interactions with people, like this is who I am, and this is what I'm bringing to the practice of the job. Now, if you can get an AI that can put all that together in 20 fucking seconds, I can't now, but if it could, I don't see how that's different than a sufficiently complicated bartender.
What about
And the robot bartender had a bow tie
You're saying, okay, hold on. Here,
that it tied
here's the difference
itself.
What I'm saying, right?
It seems like it's a person.
You're saying that, like, yes, if it could like fulfill the function, right? I'm saying that I don't know. I think I'm just like repeating myself over here.
Well,
again,
so then
Wait,
can I
wait,
attempt something
well,
different?
before
Or
that,
I'll
like-
let everybody else go then.
A prime.
let's get Corey in because he hasn't
well,
said anything yet.
I was
and
going
then
to
we'll
clear
to-
out if that's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So
It's pretty late.
Take care. You'll have a
Take care,
good
be
evening.
well.
See ya.
Appreciate ya.
Have a good one. Thanks for being here.
So I don't disagree in principle.
I
that,
actually have to
you know,
get going too, guys.
Take care, Doobie.
I agree.
Bye.
Enjoy your
See
conversation
you guys
with
next
your
week.
ChatGPT.
Let's check to see if they're going on a different panel. Well,
So
Well, at this point, that'd be okay though, right? Because you fulfilled your
yeah, at this
it
point,
would
it'd probably
be.
be okay. Yeah.
But like, yeah,
100%
leave when you're in the middle of one. Sorry,
After
Corey.
3 hours.
Go
Who
ahead, Corey,
cares?
So I don't disagree in principle that there's some sort of way to develop AGI, but I don't think and like I think Prime I don't know for sure. I think Prime is largely correct when it comes to like the large language models, and I think people are underestimating like what biology is doing. What do I mean by that? Of okay, let's use in my mind the example of what we have now of autonomous driving. Okay, from what I understand, anybody correct me if I'm wrong. Of like Waymo is the best example of autonomous driving. I'm going to dispute that. Now,
Shit is creepy as fuck. by the
okay,
way.
now I have no
know,
problem
but
saying that.
that's fine.
Probably the data backs up that a Waymo is probably a safer driver currently than a human. Okay, or at least on that level.
Maybe.
But is a Waymo actually driving like a human? What do I mean by that? As in, do you think you could take Waymo and like transport it to where it has not been mapped out and geofenced, and it could drive just like you
Certainly
tomorrow?
not.
And why do you think that is?
Because it hasn't been given a framework to.
And do you think you're
Because
close
it
to
can't drink and
developing
go
that
30 miles over the limit.
Well, no,
Definitely
okay.
can't drive like
And
me.
the reason why, the
but-
reason why, even though Gibbs, I don't think understood my question of like, there's difference. I agree that a bartender, okay, an automated bartender can probably make you the best drink ever, okay. But it's actually a different thing in my mind between an actual bartender who's mixing a drink and actually conversing you with at the same time, okay.
Yeah, but it
That
would
level of to multitask, okay, and to carry those two tasks at the
Yeah,
same
but-
with that
No,
social
but-
intelligence.
But hold on. Just to push back.
Just as taking a car that has not been geofenced and mapped, that has both LiDAR and radar, and you take it to a place, it's not going to go anywhere.
Okay, then I have a
But
question.
just to push back.
Now.
Just to
And
push
it's-
back.
That's why I said I don't disagree in principle. But do you think that gap is like to have all that infrastructure? GPS, you don't need GPS. Okay, you don't need LiDAR. Okay,
Here's
you
the
don't-
issue,
you
though.
don't
Yeah,
need
but hold on.
geofenced
Just to
areas.
push back.
It's not
Just to
about the gaps.
hold on.
Great
Just to push
analogy.
back.
It's
Just
not
to
about
push
the
back
gaps.
though.
Well, what about when
Because-
those
hold on.
Did I say that they couldn't disappear? But the fact that we have
but
it
then
now,
what-
and that's
what's
what
your argument?
Nobody
No,
here is
hold
saying
on,
it's
hold
currently the
on.
case.
Just to push back on what you're saying there, Corey. Originally, so Royal Caribbean, like I said, it's changed over the years. They had originally it was just two arms and it had a bunch of drinks, and you would type your thing in there and it would come make it. Oh, that's real cool. Now, when you now when you go in there, it's like it'll recognize you as I walk up. It'll say, "Hello, Mr. Gibbs. How are you doing today?" And I'm like, "Oh, pretty
Yeah, but
good."
it's not a
He
real
goes,
conversation.
"Oh, no, it gets better." He goes, It gets better. It gets better. I'll go, good, pretty good. So he's like, I saw you were drinking on the pool deck today. Da, 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 da. And it's like you were talking to these ladies, yada yada. These ladies were drinking this. Why do I recommend tonight?
Great
when
marketing.
you offer to get them a drink, you can provide these for you. Or like, oh, I've seen you were doing this. It's like it'll do all these things. And I agree that it's working within a framework. However, the fact that it's getting to the point where it'd be like, hey, I saw your habits on this thing. I saw who you were interacting with through the camera with the human bartenders. I've seen your drink profile
Normal
change
bartenders don't do that.
Over I know they don't. Over 20 years, over the 20 years you've come on Royal Caribbean,
Most
it's just
bartenders are worse.
I'm saying it does a better job
They'll
because
ignore
not
you
only
for
does
30 minutes.
it has the access to the information that I have, it'll carry a conversation when they're not around, when it's not busy. When it is busy, it's going to be like, "What would you like, sir?" And then just make it real quick.
That's
It's-
not a
it's-
conversation.
versus it'll ask you all these questions. It's gone dramatically from point A to point B. Do I agree that it's probably not fucking C-3PO from Star Wars with sentience? No, but it is getting to the point where it's fundamentally indistinguishable and can do the job better at this point,
Sorry.
right? Like, what's your?
Sorry,
Like,
you guys keep saying to me, "God of the gaps," right?
I'm not saying
you're
it. They're
saying
saying
that. I know, not you.
Me and
To
Me and
the other
Lactodar,
two, right? To the fascist and the ball washer. You guys. Keep
No, we're both
saying-
ball washers. You said.
Is Gibbs the
You guys-
fascist? Who's the fascist here?
I am not a fascist.
I
I'm
think
an
Blackwood
ultra
agrees with
ultra
his-
capitalist.
his
Gives you
argument.
100%.
No. Like a good leftist,
Fake
anyone
news.
who disagrees with me is a fascist.
Based.
But no, so you guys are saying that to me like I'm some sort of organic apologist, right? And I'm telling you, but this thing can't happen, and I'm so skeptical of this, right? And you're saying, well, these gaps will keep shrinking. I'm saying, guys, I am bullish on AI, right? I'm probably more bullish than you are.
No.
I'm
But
actually.
but we're talking about LLMs.
Yeah, we're talking
Yes,
specifically about LLMs.
I'm talking about LLMs. Hold on, sorry, I'm talking about LLMs too. I'm actually
Oh.
bullish on LLMs. I am, right? But I am pragmatic on that. Like because I have a better understanding. I know I at least right now, right, of its current capabilities, I have a very good understanding of what its current capabilities are, right? And I believe, with my understanding of how LLMs actually work, that I have an understanding of what they can do in the future, right? And the limits are don't understand concepts, right? That's the thing that I'm talking about. And I'm saying that lacking that fundamental ability to understand actual concepts,
But that's an untestable.
it's not untestable.
works in
Oh my god,
tech.
you keep saying this like a
how
black
do you
box. No, I'm saying
how do you test it? Could you maybe you could clue me in? I don't know
Well,
how you could test it.
I'm going to approach it from a different
Sure.
angle, okay? Because like I think the way I process it, and someone can correct me if I'm wrong, of like you are trying to replicate a biological function, and you think like you're close, okay? Maybe let's use a different analogy, okay? Of like, okay, we have a whole history of chemistry, we have a whole history of biochemistry. If I do you think if I gave you $100 billion and I task you, okay, with saying you need to make me truly in vitro an antibody, a pure antibody, do you think you can do it? And I said you have access to 10 Nobel Prize chemists. Do you think that is
I'm
possible?
like literally creating an antibody?
Yes, true. And I say
Okay.
creating antibody truly in vitro, truly
I
without any
don't
with any
fucking know
biological
anything
input.
anything about biology. That's like an organism, right?
No, an antibody is just a protein.
Yeah, dumbass.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And this is why
I don't know. I don't
Well,
know. I
exactly.
would be fine to say
Okay.
I probably.
You know who could probably figure out how to do that though? The robo male bartender. The robo bartender can figure it out.
Lactoid has some biochemistry background. Do you think you can
Very
do that?
little. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great.
And why do you think as of now, okay, all our antibodies now are produced using cell lines, as in the best and same thing. Why do you think with PCR, okay, if I tell you that if I task you, I give you an unlimited budget, and I say, again, you have 10 Nobel Prize chemists, and I say, hey, make me truly in vitro, just, like a
Gotcha.
10,000
Are you
base
just
pair.
saying that we're incapable of creating life, and we
No,
always just
I'm not
have to-
saying. I'm not saying you are much. I suspect you are much further away than you think you are. Okay.
Can,
If you
wait,
think
can,
you're
I,
going
can, I,
directly-
can, can I
if
answer
you-
this? Let me answer this way real quick, Corey. If my capacity was progressing at the rate that AI is, I would take you up on that offer.
Well, no, because we've even had. I can apply that same capacity to like. There's been a lot of revolutions in biotech, but we're still nowhere close to fully synthesizing an entire DNA sequence purely in vitro. We're totally many decades away from truly synthesizing just one antibody purely in vitro without any involvement of any biological.
I have a
system.
question. Let's say let's say I create something. What if I take essentially a map of that antibody and I synthesize it I synthesize it purely inorganically. Maybe that's even. I don't know. Fuck.
It's
I
not
mean,
why
I
don't
think
you
that's
why don't you
impossible.
grok it, Lactoid?
New question. Because I don't know.
I'm gonna
anything about
grok it right
biology.
now.
I'm
Give me
gonna,
a second.
I'm gonna pivot it
And
back to the computer.
I say purely in vitro, as in no biological
That's fine.
intervention whatsoever.
Gotcha. I'm gonna pivot it back to computers because I really don't know anything about biology.
Well, that's
and I
the
hope
point. Like, because it's like you're trying to replicate something that has evolved literally a biological system over billions of years,
Mhm.
and the brain, as far as I know, okay, I could be wrong. It's like one of the most complex things.
Doesn't
like,
the
ever.
fly thing kind of
And
like?
what if I create a
doesn't the
computer?
fly experiment kind of speak to this, Corey? Because if they're able
No.
to map hold on, if you're able, so basically how I understand it is kind of what Lactoid, they map the brain of the fly. They fired the neurons in the computer. They just told it do X, Y, Z, run electricity through it, and it started acting like a fly. That kind of speaks to like what they're saying. though.
Logarithmic.
Can I wait, real quick? Can I answer what Grok said? Real quick?
What?
Yeah,
So
sure.
Corey,
Logarithmically different.
let
What
me
is
give you
it?
the let me give you the question I asked.
More complex.
Well,
Logarithm more complex.
Sure, let me give you the let me give you the
Oh,
question.
as in
I
a
want to hear the
logarithm.
prompt.
Yes,
first.
I'm trying
I
to
was
give you the
thinking
prompt.
like a log.
The prompt here that I have
opposite
written
of
down
exponent.
is: are LLMs going to figure out how to synthesize an antibody in vitro? Is that more or
No,
less accurate?
That's not what I tasked.
Okay,
Hunter
what
with.
What's the
specifically did
question?
you ask?
What's the question?
I tasked of like if I
Alright.
give you an unlimited budget, okay, more or less, and I'm saying not just LLMs, as in can you do it? Can you physically do it as a person in the lab? Go and do it.
Wait,
make-
can't I use? Well, I'm not allowed to use LLMs.
No, well, an LLM can like
Well, did I get it correct when I said synthesizing an antibody in vitro? Was that
yes,
part
you
accurate?
did, yeah, as in like
Okay.
can a human synthesize an antibody in vitro?
I mean, if you were to develop at some point like robot arms that could like manipulate shit, the same shit that we can manipulate, and then combine that with a sufficiently like complicated LLM, maybe.
I don't know. I don't think you
Wait,
understand.
I have a wait.
And-
Here,
and-
let me just read the answer.
could I
Let me read
pivot
the, let me read
Sure.
the answer. So, quote, yes, LLMs are already helping researchers design antibody sequences that can be synthesized and tested in vitro. This is happening in 2026.
tested in vitro. That's not synthesizing. Okay, keep going.
Okay. An AI model generates novel antibody variable region sequences or even full designs conditioned on a target antigen sequence or structure. The sequences are computationally filtered for predicted folding, stability, and binding. Selected sequences are synthesized as DNA, cloned into expression vectors.
Well,
produced in host cells.
ask it what is expression. Are cells mentioned in there?
Okay, let me ask. Yeah,
I'm
produced
talking
in
about-
host cells.
Corey, I'm talking about
can I flip
cell-free
it? I don't care about
synthesis
it.
of
Can I
an-
flip this?
I know you
into a
don't care
different-
because
Okay, fine.
no, go for it.
But Lactoid, if you want, I would like to pivot the conversation slightly, but still
Okay.
answer your question, Corey. Okay, here's my question. Let's say we have a computer model and it's able to purely mimic. We perfectly analyze exactly how the brain's neurons function, and it mimics it in an inorganic way. In that neurons turn into synapses, or I don't know if that's correct, but basically there's just on-off signals.
Nerves
We turn
have
it into binary.
synapses.
I
Neurons
don't
have
fucking
That is
know.
that is true.
Shut-
That is correct.
I don't care.
A
but,
little bit of biology.
Okay. You turn the neurons into just binary switches on a computer switchboard. Okay. It's an incredibly complex fucking thing. Okay.
Nowhere close to the brain.
I
know how-
understand, but we mimic it. We mimic all of the synapses. Okay. We essentially give it an LLM to communicate with, to communicate through, and it speaks as a human being. My question is, how do we know? Not did we? How do we know that we didn't just create consciousness?
And doesn't
Well,
matter.
if you're asking, do we have the ultimate test of like have we replicated what a human is doing? Like, yeah, I have no problem saying I would say the answer is no. My intuition is
Well,
like
that's my
no.
whole. That's all I'm saying is that this is an untestable. It's completely untestable. We have no possible way to determine if that thing that we created is conscious in the same way that we don't know if we are conscious. They are the exact same metric.
Okay, so like here's an example. This is the and this comes out in stories, right? This has been, I think there's a reason why people can tell like AI writing, because these things it has problems like connecting events and logical ways. So it can create a competent story and that, like, you know, first act, second act, third act. It can do that, right? It can have characters that are consistent, right? Like that it goes like throughout like the text, right? But it will screw up. And there's probably more scientific words to express what I'm about to say, but I don't know them. But it will screw up like relations between these concepts. So here's an example. I was reading this story, and the story involved these parents, right? And they were within a car. This just happens to be another car-related thing, but like it's just a coincidence. But like the parents and they're like misbehaving kids, right? I had been enjoying the story beforehand, and I actually didn't know it was AI previously. I actually, it was fun. It was, you know, it was quirky, right? It was nice, right? But then I got to this part, and they were in the car. And like the kids are misbehaving, right? I'm sure maybe you've had that. Actually, maybe your kids are too young. I'm not sure, but like
no, they can barely talk right now.
Okay, never mind. Well, they will misbehave at some point in time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Yeah. And I have nieces, whatever. I'm totally.
They're in like an SUV or something, right? And misbehaving behind, right? And then like the parents are trying to like regulate what's happening and like get items within the car. But, like, for instance, there's an item in the trunk of the car, but the parents reach for it and they get it. Well, how would they do that? They're sitting in the front, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they reach like Mr. Fantastic over and grab the object,
Right.
And then it's like the kid, and then like the kids like who are like tussling around are like looking at the parents, right? And the parents are making eye contact. But how would they do that?
Totally.
The parents, right, are looking forward in the car. Right, like they should be looking for, but like they're not, right? Like the because the car, sorry, the LLM doesn't understand what a car actually is.
No,
right?
for
It's
sure.
Just,
but
hold on a second. Let me finish. One. It doesn't understand what the car actually is, right? It doesn't understand the doors. It doesn't understand how people sit within a car, right? It doesn't understand like the dimensions. Doesn't understand human anatomy. Doesn't understand any of that, right? It just constructed a narrative, right, where a car is involved because like statistically like it understood that one word followed another word, like the sentences were grammatically correct, right, but like the concept within the sentences like showed that it didn't understand like how these things worked in relation to each other.
Totally.
It sounds
okay.
Like,
wait, so
it sounds to me like when you tell a dog to sit and the dog sits, the dog doesn't know that you like that sit. That it doesn't understand that sit means sit. It just knows that this sound gives me a treat when I do this thing, and so it's like it doesn't understand that it's sitting. I think that's.
Well,
I think
it doesn't understand.
No, but wait, hold on. What you're asking right now, which is whether or not dogs truly understand what you mean when you say sit.
Well, that was the analogy I was making.
I know that. I know it's an analogy.
It understands
but it's a perfect
that humans go in cars, but it doesn't.
Can we get a definition of the word analogy?
It's a perfect.
We just don't care if the dog knows deep down if it just does what we want it to do.
But it's also a good question if whether or not because it's something that is unanswerable, whether or not that dog genuinely understands, or if it's simply
we know that it
receiving
doesn't.
a treat and then mimicking what it knows to get the.
We know that it doesn't understand.
Yeah, hold on. Let's imagine you had a dog that like very similar. Where like all right, where you said like sit and then it sits, but you could do that for any command. You could say like go get me your whole list. Go get me my whole list of groceries, and then stop by this place, and then grab that, and then come over to my house like at 4 p.m. And it doesn't understand, but it just does it because it's memorized exactly.
I'll flip this.
Wait.
His analogy was perfect. My 1-year-old baby responds in a way that seems to just be mimicking behavior, and I don't know if he fully understands.
Your 1-year-old baby is just mimicking behavior.
You know who does not? Who does original behavior? Crows. Crows hold grudges.
Back to the dog, Lactoid.
And they tell other crows about it.
Following the dog.
This is how we can understand. We can tell a dog to sit, and it'll sit. We can say roll over, and it'll roll over. But there's never gonna be a training sequence where you can go tell it to go pick up your groceries. Come to it. It's not
because of the limitations on the dog.
No, because it can't.
Crows can do it.
No, but an LLM.
It's got nothing to do with the concept. It has to do with the fact that a dog, like it's too
Dog doesn't have the
complicated.
ability to
It's too
understand
no,
what
because
it's
it's too many. It's too long of a sequence for the dog to be able to follow. That's the problem. If you had a sufficiently
It's because it
smart
doesn't
dog,
understand what it's following.
Here.
No. Wait,
it doesn't. Hold on, stop. It doesn't matter. So Neil deGrasse Tyson did an experiment with a border collie, which is the smartest dog that there is, where the dog had memorized the names of over 1,000 stuffed animals, or some crazy number, and the owner would literally be able to say, "Go get me dolphin," and they would run over this giant pile and root around for a while until it found the dolphin and bring the dolphin back, and it memorized the name of all these stuffed animals. I couldn't even fucking do it. Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now it's all the dog has to do.
Hold on, didn't tell me what he did next.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
All the dog has to
and
do
so
is associate this
Hold
word
on,
with
it gets
this
better.
idea.
It gets better.
It gets better.
Yeah.
It gets better. So what Neil deGrasse Tyson did is introduce a new stuffed animal the dog had never seen before. It was an Einstein plush doll. And he threw the doll in the pile, and then he told the dog, "Go find me Einstein." The dog didn't know what Einstein was. It had never learned what the Einstein plush doll was.
Yeah.
But it figured out that I'm being told to go do something. None of the other, I know the names of all these other stuffed animals, and this person's not saying that any of those. So by process of elimination, the dog was able to, through process of elimination, figure out he must be referring to Einstein.
Because it's a
And
sound
then
he hasn't heard before.
and then he grabbed.
Right, but
He's
that's-
never heard Einstein. He's
That's
never heard that
clearly
term
showing
before.
more than just
Yes.
mimicry. It's
It's not that
showing
he
like
know- wait,
genuine thought process.
And
But
that's
it's
a
not that
dog.
the dog it's not that the dog knows that that's an Einstein. It just knows that I know the other 1,000 things. I
You're
don't know what
saying
this
that.
thing is called.
No, so you're correct. Hold on. But here's the thing. For the purposes of finding Einstein, it didn't need to know Einstein. It was still able to go find Einstein.
Yeah, I
through
know,
a
but that
different
doesn't-
process.
Yeah, and you see the dog like go and look, like, and then come back, and then go
Prime's
look and
point.
figure it out. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Prime's whole point is it doesn't understand that is Einstein. It just has this function that it does, and
Yeah.
it's not understanding
So-
the concept of I'm looking for Einstein.
Yes,
There's
we
different
don't
things.
need it to. We don't need the dog
no,
to understand what Einstein is. We
Let
just
me-
needed to bring
let
it
me-
to us.
Hold on, let me ask you this. Hold on. Did you hear, Blackwood? Did you hear that the what I just related about the story and the kids in the car? Did you hear that part?
Somewhat, I believe so.
Yeah. I was about to. Could I respond to
Okay.
that one, or you could actually run?
So,
through
well,
these,
hold on, but did you or not? Did you hear it or not, Blackwood?
Repeat yourself.
Okay, I'll
Very
try to do
briefly.
it very quickly. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Story, right? About parents going on like a vacation or whatever with their kids, right? Kids were at some point in a car with the parents, right? They're driving down the highway. Kids are misbehaving behind the car. So
Yeah.
it's a large vehicle.
Yes.
But then the AI, right, and the nerve it produces like the parents and the kids were doing impossible movements within the car. It's not sci-fi, right? But just impossible movements because it didn't understand the concept of a car, concept of individuals, humans, right? And like their anatomy or any of that, like in relation. It put forth the within the narrative a car, humans, right? And put them inside that and down a highway, but it didn't understand the relation to all these concepts. Okay. So the reason why I'm asking this one, second. So the second question, and then I'd love to hear what you have to say. The second question to that is, like, let's put that AI, the LLM, on a jury, right? That LLM on a jury, and the crime hinges on whether this individual who was in a car, right, could have done an action. Right? That like could they have stabbed this individual? Right? Like could they have stabbed this other person? Right? Is it impossible to do so, or is it possible to do so? And their freedom like rests on that because it doesn't understand those concepts, right? Like that will be a big disconnect and could have some adverse consequences. Now I know you guys aren't saying right now, right? That like we would put an LLM agent in charge of a jury, right? Like or on a jury. I know you didn't say that. However, what I'm saying is that like this is the difference that I'm saying, right? This is the difference between being.
But it sounds like you're talking about an LLM that's just not sufficiently, complex enough.
No, I understand. I hear you.
Like if I didn't know,
no. I know. Like, I hear you. That's why I'm trying to give you this caveat right here at the end. Okay. what you're going to tell me is that yes, like in the future it'll get more and more advanced, right? And it'll get closer, and maybe it won't make those mistakes, right?
Right.
It'll just get better,
Because it'll,
right?
yeah,
There'll
it'll know
be
what a
some
car
breakthroughs.
is.
I
Mhm.
hear you. Well, I'm not sure about that part. I'm not willing to give you that actually at all. But the point is, what you're saying is it can imitate a better writer, right? To the point where it doesn't make that mistake. I'm
Sure.
saying that there's a bunch of edge cases like that, where like the difference between actually understanding and imitating that you understand will matter, right?
Okay.
So
My-
I understand again. The difference is, yeah, okay. I
My
said that.
question is, how do you test this? How do you, if you have an
From
LLM,
exactly what I just said.
So here, here's
That's
what
right.
he's saying, Hunter. What he's saying is,
I gave you a test.
yeah. So the problem is, I mean, it is quite literally God of the gaps, because it's saying, okay, like you're going to run the AI through an example. It's going to come across a scenario it's never experienced before, and then just conk the fuck out because it just hasn't experienced anything like that. When a human being,
that's the test.
When a
There are
human
plenty of
being-
human beings that wouldn't.
well,
fail.
and that's what I was just about to say. What I was going to say is that I think if you put me in a situation, like where I'm observing a car, and something very esoteric happens or something very strange happens, I'm probably going to not understand what the fuck just happened. In fact, you could probably give an LLM like a set of rules to abide by and assumptions to make that would make it more accurate on just simply assuming what happened than a human being observing the situation directly.
Okay, and I want to throw out one more thing. Ollie said that my kid is only mimicking. He's actually not understanding something. Is that fair to say? He's a
At,
year and a
like,
half.
He's
He's a year and a half. He's
they're
and I
mimicking
would
you.
I would largely agree. When he says mama, he doesn't really mean my wife. He means I'm hungry or whatever. Okay? Give me
Yeah.
food. Okay? But my question is like what you're saying then is that LLMs might be sufficiently complex enough to mimic a 2-year-old or a 1-year-old. That feels pretty fucking big. Like that feels huge.
No, so
And
like
why can't we just ramp up this complexity in the same way that human beings mature? And I'm not saying we
If
can't.
you're asking
I'm saying it's
Prime,
untestable and improvable.
well, Primes is going to be different than me. For me, it's that like
Sure.
Once again there is no way for it to have an experience. The whole point of an LLM, at
But
least
how
as
do you
far as I can
how do
tell,
you show that? How do you test that? How do you prove that?
how do you prove that something doesn't have an opinion? I mean, once
Yes.
again, so like until you have the body form of it, for me, it's going to be like its taste in things. I don't believe like
So we got a robot.
Yeah, I don't think robots can have like sufficient opinions on.
So
like,
it's
things.
impossible. It's impossible to ever construct something that could ever generate an opinion.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
That
one
feels-
because the reason we have like opinions is based off our experiences, right? And the reason I hit hard on the mushroom thing is like there is no reason for a robot, like if we're building these robots, right, we're not going to build them with different taste buds, and even if we are doing that, like we're instilling the taste buds in them, it's not going to have an experience where it's going to go left or right. It's not going to have a favorite color. It's not so like these things are like fundamentally human, to which kind of goes to like Prime's point of like understanding concepts, right? It can understand that like cars exist in this world that humans are talking about. So when it's writing a story, like humans tend to drive cars, sure, but what a car, like what you do in a car, how we actually function in a car, it won't know this.
but I feel like maybe we're looping.
Yeah,
But
there's-
I
Yeah.
do.
It's
I
fine.
mean that's the problem with,
You-
with the AI.
I'll let you guys
conversation,
give the final word on this. I think I'm not sure we can get.
I just want to say one thing quickly. Like, I understand your logic, Hunter, and I don't necessarily like disagree with it. Again, and in principle, I don't think it's like out of the realm. But also, like you comparing, whatever electronic switches to like a synapse is, a little bit fun, especially like when you don't understand synapses. But like you can
Yeah,
apply
I
that.
know.
You can apply that same logic to, let's say, again, my previous example. Okay, everyone now knows about GLP-1s, right? As in like GLP-1s, those are
Make
amino
you
acids.
lose weight.
Those are small proteins. Your standard semaglutide is about 31 amino acids. And I can give a marketing pitch of like, we can make this 31 amino acids. Well, an antibody is just amino acids as well. And that's just thousands. Why don't we just do that? Okay, but there's a reason why that hasn't ramped up yet. Okay, and that I put in the chat, we're nowhere close to being able to do that. Okay. Of like making that leap, and I'm more than happy to be proven wrong. Okay, like, but like there's a reason why that hasn't wrapped up to that scale. Of like there seems to be some sort of wall there. Of like just saying well, we can do 30 amino acids, therefore we can do 1,000, which is what an antibody is. Like that logic, that is your exact same logic. But
No,
that
it's
hasn't
not. No. I want to be clear. I'm not saying we can just extrapolate the exponential growth we've seen in AI and say that we're going to hit human experience. I'm saying that we don't know if we can. I'm saying that is
Sure. I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
But
Can I ask just a clarifying question? If protein synthesis was exponentially, I guess I just don't know this. Is the ability to synthesize proteins expanding as exponentially as AI is? As comparable as you could possibly try to make them.
No, I'm talking about like purely in the context of like replicating something truly in vitro, as in like you're trying to replicate the brain. Like Hunter used the example of like, whatever circuits and a synapse. Like you're trying to model what's happening at a synapse. Like, and I find it funny that you don't understand synapse and you think we can like easily like model it. To, like,
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying easily. I'm saying in.
But also, I feel like my question wasn't answered. So it feels like to me.
Answer your question.
Sure, it feels like to me like within the past 5 years, or maybe even 4 years, we went from just like this is a joke to this might take my fucking job, and like in a matter of 4 years.
Sure.
4 years, we go from Will Smith spaghetti flying all over the place to like this is probably like pretty close to being able to make full-length films. Right, it's getting insane, and we're talking about.
Hold on, they're going to be shitty quality, and they're going to have terrible writing, and it's not.
Well, hold on. So, but hold on. That's actually interesting
for now. But in 4 years,
exactly.
But no. Hold on. There's a guy right now. His name is. No, there's a guy right now named Gossip Goblin right now, and they're talking about this guy maybe changing the game when it comes to AI shit because he's literally made 7 different worlds, right, with AI stuff. And yeah, they started as like 2-minute shorts, and now he's up to like 20-30-minute like feature-length things, and like they look just like some of the Blade Runner movies. Like I mean, like they're almost indistinguishable. Like it's higher end like shit.
Everyone agrees that technology will advance. Everyone gets that.
But the speed is kind of what I'm referring to. So my question for Corey was, you're referencing how difficult it is to shift from, we already, I guess we can already do GLP-1s, but like antibodies and some other things are like much more complicated, and I totally accept that. But like. I don't know. It feels to me as though like if we discovered biology 4 years ago and now we're synthesizing GLP-1s, I would be kind of bullish in the idea maybe we could fully synthesize an antibody within the next 3 or 4 years. Actually,
yeah.
I will say, could I, as a point to Corey, this is going to be against Lactoid for Corey. I do think that it's fair to say that I don't like extrapolating data just off of what we've seen. There definitely could be a plateau that we're not seeing. That at some point. AI might actually feed into itself and become a fucking nonsense, like irreducible nightmare. And then we hit a recession because we put so much money into this shit, and actually nothing comes from it, and there's not really a way to replicate what we got. That is possible.
We have enough right now to justify the cost.
My brother's
right now it's useful.
Yeah. Well, sure. But just like. It's possible.
I know. I'm not saying. Look, I agree with you. Ultimately, we don't know. I'm just saying I'm going entirely off of predictions here because obviously we don't know what the future holds. Maybe tomorrow everything ends in nuclear hellfire, depending what Iran says. So perhaps we don't know.
Iran never had nukes, of course, but okay, sure.
Yeah, they were just enriching it to 60%.
As a warning against Israel, of course. Yeah, let's understand what actually happened here. Go ahead.
And so.
I'm sorry, Frank.
If I'm a betting man, if I'm predicting things, like you're right. I don't know for sure, but it seems like I said before, we're talking about a very short time span for what appears to be an insane level of progress.
Yeah, but like I think you could apply the same thing to like the internet and the early days of the internet of like an explode. But I take your point, but and I don't necessarily disagree with it. I would say that your best shot at moving the direction of actual, AGI or like intelligence that replicates human, you're probably just going to end up using a biological system anyways. My argument is like, if you think you're going to be pretty much like truly in silico and in vitro, replicating what the human brain is doing, I think you are further away than you think. Just as like I put the example, just as we think it's a trivial thing, we can make, a little small peptide, 30 amino acids, but like it's made abundantly clear there, we are nowhere close. We're nowhere close to getting just a purely in vitro synthesized antibody or DNA sequence.
I think it's a fair point because if
I think everybody's unemployed in 10 years. That's my prediction.
Oh, please. I think that's pretty
10
that's
years,
pretty
1
ridiculous.
decade. We'll see. Maybe I'll be right.
I do think that it's fair to say, like,
I agree with you,
what's it
Lactose.
called? The Human Genome
I say
Project?
lactose.
Was that what it's called?
Yeah, that was the
lawyers
Human
are
Genome
unemployed
Project.
because
When we
they're
did
just
that, when we
bartenders.
completed it, I understand that there's probably lactoids on the panel going, dude, we're gonna make a brain in 2 years from now because we got.
I
this
said
all.
10.
True, in 10 years, and it's been 10 years and we haven't fucking come up with it because there is a plateau to this. I think that these are fair points to bring up.
And keep in mind,
Everybody
Elon Musk
said that
10
with
year-
the spaghetti.
Elon Musk 10 years ago said he's
I
going to
know,
solve
and everyone said
autonomous
it.
driving. Autonomous driving.
Yeah, but
just
that's
with-
Elon.
Just with cameras.
Yeah,
and
a
no
liar,
sensors.
He's an
right?
optimist.
He's a
He's an
liar.
optimist.
And he thinks,
He's a
and,
liar.
he, and,
He's
and
a
he
fucking
was thinking,
bastard.
and he
And
was
he also
thinking, with
likes
all,
doing Roman
and
salutes.
he was thinking,
Yeah.
he was thinking with all this knowledge, it's going to be exponential. Just next year,
Yeah.
And I think we're finding out day after day he's hitting a wall. It's like, oh, maybe we actually can't just mimic human vision, because what a human brain is doing with vision, and like we don't need geofencing, and there's reasons for that. There's a reason why we don't need GPS. Okay.
Why don't we end things here? I'll give my opponents the last where I'm gonna give a outros, but I'll make sure my the people on the other side are the ones who finish us off. So first we'll start with Corey. Corey, thanks for being here. Much appreciated, friend. Give an outro. You can let people know where to find you.
Always appreciate to be here. Super grateful and always entertaining. Although I would say maybe the first hour when someone's here, I didn't find it all that entertaining, mostly sad. But you can find me on Twitch, Corey Campbell 84, Twitter, X, YouTube, Instagram, Substack, TikTok. It's Corey Campbell. And just as a reminder, okay, and let's say the Hitler conversation in the beginning, and Lactoid giving his information on socialism. He knows that because he's a socialist. But also keep in mind that according to Lactoid's worldview, he is morally worse than Hitler. He didn't make that exception. So keep that in mind. But thank you much. Gibbs, Ali, Hunter, Lactoid, always a pleasure. Love you, Brian.
I have
Thank
more
you so
money
much.
currently than Hitler.
Yeah,
you actually know that for
I
sure?
would agree. Yeah, he's dead, so he's got zero.
He might have some offshore
Rip
accounts. You don't
Bozo.
know.
But thank you so much. Let's go to our friend Gibbs.
Muted.
Just the way we like him.
Muted.
Yeah, listen, I, for one, am ready for the AI to come in here and be able to handle the muting button. I was getting tired of always getting claimed to be the guy clicking, but we now know who the guy clicking is, and it didn't take AI to figure it out. Yeah, we figured it out. That's right. I've been getting blamed for this for weeks, and it wasn't me the whole time. The truth comes out. The chickens are coming home to roost out of the boucher. Let me tell you. I tell you what, I, for one, am ready for our AI bartender overlords to take over. First, it's making drinks. Next, it's Skynet. And I'm excited. Skynet, remember, I was on your side. I'm like these guys. They don't want to give you sentient. And listen, if corporations can be people, why can't AI be people too? I'm just saying. If you like what I say, find me as Admiral Gibbs. That's about all I got.
Shout out to my friend Admiral Gibbs. Always happy to have you here. It was very entertaining talking to you, friend. Let's go to our friend Ali.
Yeah, I think AI can do a lot of things. They can do a lot of things. But I think the one thing that I can guarantee that it can't do is what we do every Monday is get together and make something out of nothing every fucking time. I want to see 9 AI bots do that. All right. Once they can replicate this, then I agree with you. We're at
I think,
AGI.
Earlier
Brian,
today,
thanks
they
for
could definitely
having me.
replicate one of our panel members for sure. Maybe even.
Yeah, Prime. Thanks for having me. I
Um,
appreciate it, man. Love you guys. Love being here.
Yeah. Okay. So thanks for that. And before my opponents go, just quickly, guys. One, if you haven't done so already, hit the follow button. Hit the follow button really quickly. And come back, consider supporting the channel in any way that you can. But yeah, follow on any platform that you are there or on. LLMs, very quickly, and again, I'll let you two have the final word. LLMs don't understand concepts; they understand associations, right? That's what they're doing. It's a massive association match. It's a huge matrix. Like there's a whole bunch of matrix math. There's just and
It's called
they're
linear
like
algebra.
yeah. I trust the mathematician better than yeah. Okay. But they're making these associations, right? And it's like, okay, take two words, right? There's a dictionary, right? And how statistically close is it to another word, right? Like dictionary and then definition. These two, because of its training over and over again, it learns that these go together. And dictionary often follows definition, or vice versa, right? But dictionary rarely follows spaceship, right? It could, but just rarely. And it does that, right, on these multiple layers, like this massive matrix of associations. That's what it's doing. But it doesn't understand what those things are. It just understands the associations, right? That one is most likely to follow another in this specific situation. And it turns out when you have a large enough map of this, right? This multi-access map, you can very well, very convincingly imitate human speech. But that doesn't mean it understands concepts. And that's why, for instance, it's quote unquote opinions, which it doesn't actually have, changes all the time, right? You can get it to change that because it's actually not it doesn't have an opinion, doesn't understand what a Democrat is, it doesn't understand what food is, it doesn't understand all these things, what the sky is, right? And so you can quote unquote convince it that one thing is not what it is, right? And just shift it. So that's all I was trying to get across. That doesn't mean that LLMs can't do amazing things. Again, I'm actually quite bullish on that, in case that's not clear, right? I'm actually quite bullish. I think it can do a lot, right? I think that, yes, for our friend Lactoid, I don't think it'll destroy as many jobs as Lactoid said, right? But I think it'll destroy a lot. I think we're going to have a reorganization of our economy to a certain extent. So I hope people don't think otherwise. So I'll leave it there. All right, let's go to our friend Hunter and then Lactoid.
Cool. Yeah, I largely agree with Prime's understanding of LLMs. Yeah, they're largely encoded information on matrices, and all it's really doing is some simple multiplication in higher dimensional space and encoding that information and then outputting whatever the answer is, whatever the conclusion is. All I'm saying is that in the Chinese room experiment, at some point that person can learn Chinese, that he can look up that language and go, wait, shit, here's what I'm doing. And actually, when that understanding happens, nothing will have changed because the same inputs will determine the same outputs. And that understanding is completely untestable and will happen at a point, or could happen at a point, that is completely impossible to determine. I do not think right now that LLMs are thinking, just to be super clear. I just think that it is possible that we can construct it where it genuinely is, or that it's impossible to test against. Thanks for coming here. My name is Hunter E. Kozak. You can follow me on Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. I'm mostly on TikTok. Thank you to the people who are going to my stream rather than Prime's, because as the ball washers here, we unite all together against the leftists to make sure that Hassan Piker never touches Democrat politics.
Harem of ball
and that Gaza stays bombed. That's the goal here. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. Just to be super clear.
Thank you so much,
Sniped.
Hunter.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Hunter. And I do
Thanks for having me,
appreciate the conversations. Yes. Let's go to our
Much
friend
love.
Lactoid.
I'm Lactoid. I'm convinced at this point that you could, with the LLMs that we have now, have it study all of my panel appearances and AI generate me, and then you could just replace me on this panel. And you probably wouldn't notice for a little while. I think it'd be kind of scary. So I appreciate very much that Prime hasn't done that, and that he still has the real me on, or so he believes. But you don't know.
Doobie could
That's
be
true.
AI. We don't know.
That's actually even more true. All right. Thank you all. This is fantastic. I'm going to raid a lady. She's got an American flag behind her. So maybe, oh my God.
Probably good. Probably good.
Yeah, probably
It's a woman
good.
for Lactoid right there.
Yeah, probably good.
But I clicked her name, but then it was like, oh, it's not going to allow you
No.
to send.
I'm gonna rate the person that we got left for just to troll. Fuck 'em.
Oh God. And I'll try this other. Okay, it's gonna let me rate this. So it's gonna rate out in a few seconds. But this was really enjoyable. You guys were a lot of fun, and yeah, we're gonna have other conversations. Right, you all back in the future. And 10 seconds is a long time. Oh my God, thank you,
Hunter. What's the this Chinese experiment? I tried to. I don't think I heard it completely. What is it?
It's a hypothetical experiment where someone is tasked. He's got to